The story kicks off with the MC waking up totally dazed in a trashed hotel bed, with a random woman fast asleep right next to him. Holding his head, he tries hard to piece together the crazy events that just went down. He sits up on the mattress, completely lost, asking himself how on earth he ended up there. Glancing at the blonde, he realizes he just had a wild night with a total stranger. Just then, his phone buzzes on the nightstand, and he spots a bunch of texts from some girl named Jilagia. Reading her demanding texts on the screen, he remembers she totally curved him right at the start of college. Confused about why she's hitting him up, he wonders why she's acting like they're still a thing. He checks his phone's calendar and it finally hits him. The date is from way back in the past. Eyes wide, Jiang Cheng realizes he literally respawned and traveled back in time. A painful memory bubbles up, showing his ex-girlfriend flexing with some rich dude, totally trashing him for being broke and useless. Disappointed in his past self, he scratches his head, cringing at how naive he was to simp for her like that. Looking at the app again, he notices she's using the same old mind games to try and squeeze cash out of him. He lets out a sarcastic laugh, finding it unbelievable how blind he was to her shameless vibe. Having made up his mind, he shoots back a text ending things right then and there, cutting off the girl's toxic excuses. He tosses the phone aside, completely done and determined never to get played for a fool again. Suddenly, a virtual screen pops up, congratulating the guy for unlocking the tycoon system. Mind blown by this feature, he thinks about how rough his past life was and realizes he just hit the absolute jackpot. The dashboard drops his stats and a passive income rate, making him realize he's about to rake in an insane amount of cash with zero effort. The AI drops a starter pack, and he immediately orders it to open. A bunch of rewards pop up on the screen, including 10 million bucks in his account, an exclusive vehicle card, and an affinity tracker. Hyped about the massive bag and the luxury key, he wonders what the heck that last skill actually does. The girl next to him shifts under the blankets, mumbling something in her sleep. Taking the chance, he decides to test the new tool out on her. The scan drops her stats, revealing her name is Yu Xiaoxiao, along with her privacy and friendship levels. Getting the gist of it, he taps the screen to figure out what the privacy score actually means. The breakdown leaves him shook when he realizes he was her very first. A memory flashes back to last night, when his ex was dodging his calls while he was going through it. He remembers going to a bar to drown his sorrows, where he bumped into Xiaoxiao drinking at the counter. With a sigh, he puts it together she was also going through some stuff and drank until she blacked out. It definitely wasn't love at first sight. Right then, the blonde wakes up startled, suddenly realizing what kind of situation she's in. Sighing bitterly, she mentions he really gives off natural player vibes. Jiang Cheng just stares back at her, totally chill. Leaning in, he tells her he wasn't dwelling on the past and asks why she's acting so down. With his face super close to hers, he turns on the charm, leaving the girl totally flustered by his boldness. A notification dings, and the system hits him with a special buff to level up his smooth, talking and kissing skills. Impressed by the alert, he thinks it's wild that the virtual panel actually comes in handy even for intimate moments. Wasting no time, he activates the skill and goes in for a passionate kiss. Xiaoxiao pulls back slightly, breathless and totally amazed by his sudden shift in energy. Oozing confidence, the MC warns her that the real fun is just getting started. The girl ends up just going with the flow under the covers. The next day, the MC wakes up solo and checks out the room, trying to process what happened. Stretching out, he spots a fat stack of cash left on the pillow next to him. He picks up a sticky note where she thanks him for the hospitality, claiming the cash is payback for what went down. Throwing his shirt on, he finds it hilarious that he just got tipped after taking her V card, regretting that he didn't grab her digits. Looking out the window at the city, he checks his bonus card and plots how to use it to score a multi-million-dollar cash back. Walking down the streets, he makes a promise to himself that he'll use this second chance to build a literal empire. His game plan starts with stacking up massive capital to invest in future tech giants before they blow up. Unlocking his new yellow sports car, he plans to use the system's perks to snatch up some real estate. A fancy-looking woman leaning on the car calls out to him with a flirty tone, asking if the ride is his. After confirming he's the owner, he asks what she wants. Turning on the charm, the random woman asks for a ride, using a burst pipe at her place as an excuse. Scanning her with the tracker, he notices her intimacy level is way too high for someone he just met. Reading her privacy score, he gets totally grossed out by her incredibly busy track record. He curves her without a second thought, straight up telling her he has zero interest in sharing space with the dozens of guys she's already been with. He revs the engine and dips, leaving the gold digger stranded on the curb. Completely shook, she stutters, trying to wrap her head around how he knew her exact body count. Soon after, an older repairman walks up and checks her out. The guy offers to fix her plumbing issue since the pretty boy just ditched her. Annoyed by the interaction, she starts thrashing the worker, who gets confused by her toxic attitude and defends his hustle. Losing his patience, the plumber spits on the ground, roasting her and telling her to get lost. The girl stomps off while the random pedestrians on the street burst out laughing. One of the bystanders clues the old man in on what she actually meant by burst pipes. Surprised by the tea, the worker finally gets the hidden agenda of today's youth. Walking away furious, the gold digger complains about her terrible luck missing out on a ride in a luxury whip. Pulling up to a real estate agency in his flashy car, the MC gets greeted out front. The veteran realtors inside clown him, figuring he's just some young clout chaser, and push the new girl to deal with him. A bit hesitant about flying solo, the rookie gets hyped up by a coworker to treat it like a training run. Introducing herself politely, she asks how she can help him hunt for a place. Cutting to the chase, he asks for help finding a top-tier house and waits for the options. Watching from a distance, the older realtor takes a smoke break, convinced the rookie is wasting time on a broke kid. Sitting at the desk, the agent tries showing him budget-friendly spots, but he demands she pull up the high-roller listings. Startled by the massive budget, the rookie nods instantly and gets back to swiping on her tablet. A few minutes later, she asks if he has any specific location vibes in mind. He explains he wants high-demand rental areas, noticing from her nervous body language that she's totally green in the game. Using his reading skill, he sees she's a hard worker and respects her honesty way more than greasy sales tactics. Checking the options, she pulls up properties near the commercial hub. The price tags bounce between $800,000 and over $1 million. Right then, the MC does the math and realizes his bonus card has a hard cap of exactly $1 million. Sensing his hesitation, the girl quickly suggests some cheaper spots. But he shoots that down, knowing he'd be throwing away a chance to multiply a massive bag. Straight up, he asks if she can drop the price of the pricier houses to exactly $1 million each. Getting a yes, he drops the bomb that he's buying all 5 properties in straight cash. Xiaoxia is left completely speechless by the insane flex. Sealing the deal, the guy tells her he's leaving the properties in her hands to manage the rentals. Calculating that massive commission, she swears she'll hit that quota no matter what. Outside, the veteran manager eavesdrops and instantly feels a wave of heavy regret. Realizing his massive fumble, he wants to punch the wall for judging the kid so wrong. An hour later, the guy swallows his pride and hands over the transfer paperwork, hyping up the client. Jiang Cheng signs the docs, completely ghosting the manager and stating he only trusts the rookie's hustle. While the girl daydreams about the bag she's making, system notifications spam the MC's vision. Using the card was an absolute W, generating crazy multipliers for every single property he snagged. Chilling now that his strat worked, he realizes he would've lost a ton of cash if he had taken the discounts. With the bonus locked in, his level grinds up and his passive income skyrockets. Mind blown by the numbers, he decides Xiaoxia is literally his lucky charm. Her commission play resulted in a return of $250 million dropping straight into his account. With his future set, he decides he's going to live that rich lifestyle and enjoy every second without sweating it. Pulling the rookie aside, the boss tells her to take the guy out to dinner and get a little closer to him. The girl gets super awkward at her boss's aggressive push. Fantasizing about spicy moments with the rich client, she stutters trying to form a sentence. Shutting it down, the MC rejects the dinner date for now. Suggesting they just get to know each other first, he asks for her bank details. Totally confused, the agent has no clue why he'd send her money. Explaining she brought him major luck, he says he just wants to show some appreciation and hopes to run into her down the road. Unable to process it, the girl's brain just slowly reboots. A few minutes later, she almost has a panic attack seeing $350,000 credited to her balance. Fixing his hair, Jiang Cheng feels like a boss, knowing it's totally fine to drop some cash for good karma. Hyped about the financial gift, she begs to add him on socials and insists on treating him to a meal sometime. Checking the panel, he notices her friendship meter just spiked off the charts thanks to the power of a fat wallet. Swapping contacts, she finally notices up close just how good-looking the guy really is. Saying a polite goodbye, the girl thanks him for the hard work as he hops into his yellow whip. She runs along waving until the car vanishes down the block. Seeing him pull away, the girl feels this weird emptiness hit her chest. 20 minutes later, the MC pulls up to his place and gives his mom a heads up. Welcomed with some cold watermelon, he brings up his upcoming trip to check out Modu University. His dad greenlights it instantly and promises to wire the funds to cover the trip. His mom immediately roasts her husband, claiming he's spoiling the kid way too much. Snacking on the fruit, the guy promises himself he's going to bring home a top-tier daughter-in-law for the family. The next day, chilling on the plane, he instantly regrets booking an economy ticket at the last minute. Squeezing through the tiny aisle, he asks a passenger to excuse him. The woman stands up, and he immediately recognizes her as Jo Ying. Some random dude tries to steal the seat, but she snaps that it's already taken. Thanking her for having his back, Jiang Cheng takes his spot. Flirting shamelessly with her, the obnoxious guy offers to swap seats to get closer. Shutting the creep down, the MC steps in, claiming they're together and don't need his permission. The dude backs off fixing his glasses, while Jiang Cheng asks his old acquaintance what's up with her trip. Straight up, she tells him she's flying out to handle some business stuff. He mentions he was bored out of his mind at home and decided to take a little vacation. Right then, the annoying guy next to them butts in again, introducing himself as Chuan Shen and trying to flex. Offering a ride in his dad's car, the arrogant bro tries to trash-talk the airport taxis. Ignoring the bait, the MC turns him down, casually dropping that his hotel already sent a private ride. Calling cap on that, the dude asks in a mocking tone what kind of luxury spot that's supposed to be. Hearing the name Aminianjian, the guy's eyes pop out, fully aware that it's a resort for literal billionaires. Trying desperately to save his ego, he claims the standard rooms there don't even include a shuttle. Keeping his cool, Jiang Cheng casually drops that he rented a private villa with its own outdoor space. Jo Ying is shook by the $80,000 a night price tag, joking that he was hiding his true baller status. The guy flashes back to high school, when she was the rich, popular girl who rolled up with a chauffeur and imported cars. Even with all that cash, she was never a snob and always grinded hard on her studies. But her family went bankrupt sophomore year, forcing her to completely flip her lifestyle. Bringing it up, she casually mentions she's not a rich girl anymore. Realizing he hit a sore spot, he changes the subject fast to kill the awkward vibes. The two of them start swapping funny high school stories, laughing it up. Writing the good vibes, the system pops up showing her friendship level is at a normal standard for old classmates. Taking a sip of water, he wonders if she even noticed him back in the day. With time flying by, they finally touch down at the airport. An absolute 10 out of 10 woman in a sharp suit is holding a sign waiting for the MC. Introducing herself as Wang Yoyan, she lets him know she's the exclusive butler for his villa. Before bouncing, he asks where his old classmate is staying. Finding out her spot is on the way, he insists on offering her a ride in the luxury car. She takes him up on it instantly, leaving the arrogant plain dude in the dust. Watching them with intense jealousy, the guy prays she doesn't fall for the rich kid's flex. 25 minutes later, the girl hops out thanking him for the lift and swears she'll treat him to a meal soon. Taking the deal, he tells her not to flake on him as they say their goodbyes. She walks away hoping their paths cross again. Watching from a distance, the suit guy from the flight is furious about fumbling a baddie and complains about his ruined night. Half an hour later, settling into the insane villa, the MC realizes dropping a bag on this resort was 100% worth it. Right then, the butler lets him know his bath is drawn, and he decides to go chill in the hot water. Startled by how close she gets, the guy asks if undressing him is part of the package too. She says yes, but keeps it professional, telling him he's got to handle his own underwear. Walking to the heated pool, he slips into the water while she asks him to hold on a sec. Towel in hand, she clarifies that scrubbing the guest's back is also part of the VIP treatment. Getting the message, he completely zones out, feeling like the service is top tier. Checking out how gorgeous she is, he imagines a special treatment would be epic, while she mentions she's only doing this because they caught a vibe. Noticing his skin is running hot, she asks with concern if the water is boiling him alive. Totally embarrassed by the timing, he tries to force the spicy thoughts out of his head. 5 minutes later, she wraps up the message and invites him to a private event, making him super curious about the party. The butler explains it's an exclusive jewelry auction hosted by the resort's heavy hitters. Wondering about the dress code, he's relieved to hear it's a casual flex with no strict rules. Dressed and strolling through the lavish hall, the MC gets politely waved in by security after flashing his VIP pass. Seeing him off at the door, the butler tells him to go crazy and enjoy the night. Hearing the host lock in a $5 million sale, he realizes the night is already going hard. The auctioneer drops the next item, a crazy rare watch, only 10 in the world, with bids starting in the millions. The picture of the exclusive piece grabs the attention of every millionaire in the room. Hyping the crowd, the host officially kicks off the bidding war. Checking the market value on his phone, he notices the price is way under market and decides to secure the bag on this perfect flip. The second a guy in a suit drops $15.5 million, the MC raises his paddle, topping it without a blink. Flexing absolute confidence, he holds his number up, waiting for the haters to respond. The whole room is shook by the intense bidding, amazed by the kid's guts to pump the numbers up. After a quick shootout of heavy bids, the item gets snatched up for $18 million by another buyer. A bit later, two local rich kids roll up to chat, introducing themselves to him with good energy. One of them brings up his crazy bids and asks if he's some kind of famous collector. Giving them the rundown, the MC admits he's no expert and just moved to the city for college. Finding that hilarious, the rich kid hypes up his guts for blowing millions while being such a rookie. The blonde dude openly admits that at his age, he'd never have the nerve to make such a reckless play at an event like this. Respecting the freshman's energy, the rich kid invites him to hang out and party sometime. As they walk away, a system alert pops up showing his passive income just spiked insanely hard because of his new level. Walking down the stairs, he gets distracted hearing a very familiar name being shouted out nearby. Looking over at the drama, he locks eyes with the blonde from the other night, who is staring at him in pure shock. Walking up smooth as hell, he tilts her chin up, bringing up the epic night they had and the surprise tip she left him. Completely flustered, she admits she thought he was just a broke college kid, while he's already inviting her back to his private villa. She takes the bait instantly, saying she's already had a bit too much to drink, but flirts by telling him to put in more effort this time. Ruining the vibe, the girl's ex-fiancé storms over furious, grabbing her arm and demanding answers. Losing his mind, the guy calls her shameless for flirting with other dudes when she has a wedding coming up. Yanking her arm back, she snaps that the engagement party was a sham and she doesn't give a crap about his rules. Pulling no punches, she calls him repulsive and exposes that he just wants to use her as a cover-up for his own cheating. During the intense standoff, the virtual UI pops up offering massive rewards if the guy decides to teach the frat bro a lesson. Looking at the screen, the MC laughs at the options and wonders if he really looks like the kind of coward who ducks a fight. Checking the loot, he sees the physical stat boost upgrades his whole build and gets super interested. Moving fast, the kid slaps the ex-fiancé right across the face, telling him he despises scumbags. The slap hits so hard the preppy kid hits the floor crying and starts screaming frantically for security. The millionaires in the room freak out over the knockdown and start whispering about calling the cops to handle the assault. Playing the crowd, the guy on the floor points a finger promising to ruin both their lives with a massive lawsuit. Pulling the blonde close, the MC hears her promise to lie and say she was harassed just to keep him out of trouble. Standing up furious, the ex-fiancé announces the place is packed with cameras and he'll prove the truth with the tapes. Right then, an absolute lunatic storms into the hall waving a knife, screaming that his wife cheated on him in there. Panic instantly spreads as a guest screams in terror, warning everyone about the danger. Pointing the blade at the crowd, the intruder threatens to start slashing if they don't hand over the couple who ruined his marriage. Terrified, the coward screams for the guards to do whatever the armed guy wants right now. Seeing the total chaos, the MC gets a new system ping offering fat loot for playing the hero. Thinking about the safety of the room, he makes the risky call to face the intruder head on. Before anything else, he pops the physical upgrade card to make sure he walks out of this mess in one piece. Feeling an insane surge of power rush through him, the kid sighs, amazed by the raw strength he just unlocked. Using his buffed speed, he blitzes the criminal like lightning before anyone can even blink. Giving him zero time to react, he lands a precision strike, pinning the guy in the middle of the hall effortlessly. Fluid motion, he slams the dude into the marble floor, neutralizing the threat in seconds. Watching the crazy scene, the blonde is stunned realizing the kid is also a top-tier fighter. Shivering in the corner, the ex-fiancé gulps, sweating bullets as he realizes how close he came to getting destroyed by the MC. With the drama handled, the guy casually brushes his hands off, acting like taking down a knife-wielding maniac is just a regular Tuesday. The crowd starts whispering praises, shook by the kid's bravery and efficiency in saving everyone's lives. A few minutes later, the cops roll in and an officer drops some heavy gratitude for the heroic move that stopped a tragedy. Riding the police arrival, the coward jumps up desperate, accusing the kid of assault and demanding he gets locked up. Keeping it strictly professional, the cop turns to the hero of the night and asks if the suit guy's story checks out. Stepping up, the blonde woman defends the MC, accusing her ex of trying to pull a financial scam through their marriage. Noticing her affection meter spiked in the system, the guy gives a slight smirk, hyped about the outcome. Wrapping an arm around her, he plays the protector, warning that he'll never let that trash hurt his girl. Convinced by their story, the officer writes the whole thing off as a misunderstanding, leaving the accuser screaming into the void about camera footage. Annoyed by the audacity of the guy who hurt Yu Xiaoxiao, Jiang Cheng uses the system to pop a bad luck card. Instantly the UI flashes, dropping the bad luck debuff right onto the scumbag. Seconds later, the ex-fiancé's phone blows up with a bank fraud alert showing a withdrawal of 200,000. Then, a staff member comes running to let him know a tree just collapsed and crushed his luxury whip. Freaking out over the sudden disaster, the guy ignores the cops and sprints off to try and fix his life. Feeling vindicated, Jiang Cheng jokes about the power of karma and decides to bounce with Yu Xiaoxiu. Back in the room, the girl sweetly asks to check if he caught any injuries in the brawl. Totally chill, he tells her a loser like that could never leave a scratch on him. Even so, she insists on doing a full body inspection just to be absolutely sure everything is solid. A bit hesitant, she asks if he cares that she had a whole relationship before they met up. Clearing the air, she explains the engagement was forced by her sick grandpa and that the guy was a serial cheater. Looking him in the eyes, she asks if he really wants to keep doing this without putting a label on it. He swears he doesn't care at all and promises to take top-tier care of her from now on. Relieved by his honesty, she fully gives in to the vibes in his arms once again. The next morning, the cleaning crew walks into the wrecked room giggling about the insane energy the couple must have had. Jealous of the guests' wild night, the maids complain about their own lazy husbands back home. Later on, Jiang Cheng and his girl enjoy a chill lunch while chatting about random stuff. Scrolling his phone, the guy notices a bunch of mutuals flexing expensive birthday gifts on social media. Right then, he asks to snap a pic of her amazing legs to make a casual birthday flex post too. Surprised by the weird request, she plays along and gives him the green light to take the shot. She strikes a high-class pose, propping her legs up on the restaurant window to get the perfect angle. In the caption, he types that his gift isn't an imported car, but promises the ride is incredibly fast. The spicy pic goes live instantly on the MC's personal feed. Checking out the update, his old high school classmates lose their minds, completely consumed by jealousy. Other friends also curse their own luck when they compare their basic gifts to his massive W. Rolling up to the luxury Ferrari dealership, Jiang Cheng gets a super polite greeting from a receptionist. Stating his business, he asks to check out the sports models they have in stock. Nearby, an older businessman is trying to sugar daddy a young actress by offering to buy her a crazy expensive car. He keeps pushing the gift, while the girl tries to keep it professional despite his aggressive creeping. Watching from a distance, the MC notices the drama and finds the girl's awkward situation kind of funny. Turns out, the gorgeous Suwon is an up-and-coming talent in the country's entertainment scene. But the rich boomer starts harassing her, demanding she go on a date him the second the car is paid for. Pissed off by her rejecting him, the investor threatens to pull her funding and ruin her career permanently. Standing her ground, the woman says she won't sell out to his creepy demands just for a bag. At that moment, the virtual UI pops up dropping a special new quest for the kid. The goal is to bail the actress out of this toxic mess in exchange for some insane rewards hitting his account. To pull focus, Jiang Cheng loudly asks what the requirements are to buy an exclusive model. The kid asks if by any chance he meets the specs to close a deal right this second. The sales rep explains that a purchase is doable if someone in the queue drops out, as long as the cash is right. Cutting the fluff, he guarantees he's ready to drop the full amount in cash to secure the whip. Completely blindsided, the employee stammers hearing an offer to drop a fortune in straight cash. Watching it go down, the arrogant boomer assumes the kid is just capping for attention. Suwon is amazed watching someone so young negotiate astronomical numbers without breaking a sweat. The rep warns him that the final tag with all the add-ons could easily blow past 40 million. Without flinching, he accepts the terms on the spot, sending the rep sprinting to get the manager. Right then, the boss rolls up alongside a rich hare who immediately recognizes the MC. Jiang Cheng calmly explains he just moved and wants a simple ride to get around town. His rich buddy is mind blown by the fake humility of a guy about to drop an absolute fortune. The hare then leaks to the manager that this kid snagged a multi-million-dollar watch at yesterday's auction. The MC just watches their reactions, keeping a totally confident boss aura in the showroom. Checking out the client's wrist, the manager recognizes the flex piece and realizes the sheer scale of his bank account. The boss bypasses all the bank red tape and starts filling out the purchase paperwork right then and there. Feeling humiliated, the older businessman realizes the kid is on a wealth tier he can't even touch. Frustrated by his own irrelevance, the guy gives up on buying the cheaper model and decides to bounce. Taking the out, the young actress says she needs to rush back for a work thing. Keeping his voice low, the arrogant investor whispers more threats, ordering her to fall in line. But a familiar voice cuts through the tension, grabbing the girl's attention. Jiang Cheng introduces himself to Suwon and offers to fund her project with zero strings attached. Shook by her generous savior, she realizes he is way out of the old investors' league. The guy suggests swapping socials to iron out the sponsorship details tomorrow. The artist adds her savior, hyped to lock in a massive partnership the next day. Then, the kid asks about the car's delivery timeline and gets annoyed hearing there's a 1-year waitlist. Finding that way too slow, he starts looking for a faster route so he can start driving ASAP. His rich buddy suggests hitting up a city auto expo to buy a car and drive it off the lot today. At the spot they agreed on, Yu Xiaoxiao shows up looking stunning in a party dress, waiting for the MC. Settled at the table, she super enthusiastically hypes up the best local dishes on the menu. The girl breaks down the restaurant's specials while he just stares at her, completely captivated. Getting bold, he pulls her in close and whispers that the only thing on the menu he really wants is her. Blushing hard, she playfully complains that she's still exhausted from the crazy night they had. He accepts the excuse but jokingly demands a cuter nickname as a reward. Giving in to his charm, she calls him hubby, earning herself a little extra recovery time. The MC brings up the car dealership and asks if she knows who the actress Soo-won is. Getting jealous over the random question, his girl asks if he's low-key trying to get with the other woman. He explains it was just a random run-in with zero bad intentions and just wants her take on the artist's potential. Xiaoxiao admits the actress actually has serious talent, even though her current agency treats her like garbage. To chill him out, Yu Xiaoxiao promises she can help out if he seriously wants to invest in the actress, swearing she won't start drama over it. With a sweet gesture, Jiang Cheng holds her hand, telling her not to stress and declaring he'll always treat the women by his side like queens. Confirming the investment plan, he mentions he'll need to eat a massive penalty fee to break her contract and launch a brand new talent agency. The guy then announces he's dropping the initial bag and putting the realtor in full control of the company, trusting the infinite glitch money from his system. Freaked out by the massive offer, the blonde turns down the partnership, asking for just a solid salary since running a whole company is already a crazy life upgrade. Finding her humble answer cute, he claps back saying she's being silly, and there's no need to be so formal with him. Right then, the girl admits her life used to be empty and entirely focused on getting married off, confessing with her face super close to his that he made her feel the real joy of actually liking someone. The romantic vibes take over the spot as the two just enjoy their private moment post-dinner. Suddenly, the MC's phone lights up with a text from the artist trying to lock in the time and place, making him realize she is desperate to close the deal. The next day, Soo-won walks up to the yellow sports car on the street and greets her new sugar investor super politely. Speeding through the city, the guy asks where they're heading, and she points out a famous spot in the commercial district. Settled at their table, the redhead admits the project isn't some multi-million-dollar blockbuster and jokes she'd never land the lead in a major production anyway. Instantly losing interest when he hears it's low budget, he questions the quality, but the actress defends that indie projects bring fast returns and begs him to read the script. Having zero patience for red tape, Jiang Cheng refuses to read it and firmly declares he's just going to fund the entire series. Shook by his impulsive energy on literally date 2, the girl freezes as he offers to wire the cash right then and there, totally breaking industry norms. Dropping his one condition, the MC states she has to join his upcoming agency as an exclusive talent. Getting super awkward about the wild offer, the redhead says she's not born yesterday and knows exactly what these deals usually cost. Battling her own thoughts, she admits the guy is incredibly hot and it wouldn't be the worst thing, but she quickly checks herself, so she doesn't sell out her morals after grinding for so long. Getting her cool back, Soo-won asks if this agency actually exists and gets a promise that the paperwork will be filed the second she says yes. The backer promises to handle her toxic contract buyout and swears the new company will be 100% dedicated to pushing her career. Glancing at the UI, the kid notices the actress's friendship meter ticking up while she suspiciously asks if he has any hidden freaky demands behind the cash. Flashing a confident smirk, he swears he'll never force her to do anything inappropriate with anyone, except maybe her own boss, throwing out a shameless flirt right after. Totally sold on the chance to get funding without being exploited, she realizes she has zero reasons to say no and asks when she should start calling him boss. Suggesting a more casual vibe, the kid asks her to call him Big Brother, leaving the artist confused since she's definitely older than him. Catching the vibe, Soo-won laughs, pointing out he just started college and definitely isn't old enough to play the big bro card. Faking shock, the MC smirks and says he was talking about a different kind of size, making the girl turn red and immediately call him a pervert. To show her appreciation, the artist insists on covering the check while listening to the kid lecture her to act her heart out so he gets his return on investment. A system alert randomly pops up saying the quest is complete, handing him the perfect excuse to explain his sudden wealth to his family. Using the AI's timing, the guy decides to call his parents right then to clear the air before heading home. Spinning a solid lie, he tells his dad he followed his old advice and dumped money into a hot startup, claiming he's now pulling massive monthly dividends. Beaming with pride on the call, his dad calculates the kid's new income and tries to act tough, even though his wife immediately calls him out. Listening to his dad preach about staying humble and not letting the money go to his head, the MC respectfully agrees and asks if they want any souvenirs from the city. Wrapping up the call smoothly, he realizes it's still early and asks the redhead if she wants to hang out a bit longer, getting an excited yes from his new partner. Using the excuse of needing new fits, the kid suggests hitting up the luxury mall, and the actress agrees without missing a beat right after they eat. Arriving at the high-end watch boutique, the girl realizes just how loaded he is as an elegant sales rep walks up to confirm their VIP appointment. Strolling through the fancy store, the duo gets interrupted by a familiar female voice calling out to the artist with a tone dripping in fake sweetness and shade. Trying to hide her annoyance at the run-in, Soo-won hesitates to call him boss and just introduces him as a friend who came to browse. Flanked by a much older sugar daddy, the coworker scans the MC up and down, silently judging if his face makes up for his presumed lack of funds. Instantly popping the system scan, Jiang Cheng uncovers the woman's dirty past and sees exactly what kind of shady shortcuts she took to get famous. With a creepy hand on the veteran actress's waist, the old guy asks who the newbie is, listening as the woman trashes the redhead, calling her a basic extra from some old soap opera. Trying to fish for a new victim, the rich boomer arrogantly introduces himself and tries to hand Soo-won a business card, hinting he wants to sponsor her next. Watching the mess with disgust, the famous actress judges the rookie for being in the same boat, assuming the redhead also has to sleep with the kid for perks. Knowing exactly how toxic this industry is and seeing right through the fake networking, Soo-won politely turns down the offer and shuts the conversation down. Ignoring the haters, the kid gets back to the sales rep, asking what watches they have in the back that he can walk out with today. Saying the gift is for his mom, he straight up asks for the absolute most expensive women's pieces. They have over $500,000, making the employee hyped for the commission. Hearing that massive price tag, the old sponsor swallows hard, while the jealous actress bets the kid is just a broke liar trying to flex for the store. Unbothered by the side eyes, the future star chills on the plush sofa and flips through a random magazine waiting for the guy to swipe his card. Walking over totally relaxed, the MC asks if she liked any of the models and hears her say she was just looking at stuff she could never afford. Right then, the system drops a surprise quest to gift the girl something, and he jumps at the chance, knowing a flex like this will max out her loyalty. Turning down the expensive gift instantly, the artist sticks to her morals, swearing she'll buy her own luxury gear with her own grind in the future. Watching the interaction from afar, the gossiping rival is 100% sure the kid is broke, and gets ready to laugh at the embarrassing card decline. Cutting into their moment, the rep comes back with a tray full of exclusive pieces and pushes the rich kid to try them on his wrist. Clasping a luxury watch, the guy checks the weight of the piece while the rep glazes him up, swearing the model looks flawless on him. Agreeing with the pro's take, Soo-won hypes the choice and approves the heavy boss energy the jewelry gives off. Complaining that the band is a bit loose, he watches his partner lean in close to delicately adjust the clasp on his wrist. Letting a double-meaning joke slip out by accident, the redhead catches it and blushes hard, wondering if this 18-year-old is spitting game on purpose. Refocusing on the watches, Jiang Cheng drops everyone's jaw by asking to box up the two most expensive men's models without flinching, making the girl like him even more. The sales rep's eyes bug out in total shock, having to double-check if she heard the massive order right. Watching the transaction, the arrogant investor sweats bullets seeing absolute fortunes being dropped casually, while his date loses all her smug energy. Wrap it up, the kid asks for Soo-won's honest take to pick between two women's pieces he plans to send to his mom. Breaking down the specs with hype, the rep points out the gems on a piece priced at nearly $880,000, pulling out a second classy option. Slipping the elegant piece onto her wrist, the artist is mesmerized by the shine and the flawless fit of the watch. Across the store, the jealous duo watches the scene with a mix of fury and humiliation, realizing they tried to flex on the wrong guy. Pulling out his black credit card, the MC casually tells the employee to ring up all four pieces at once. When the redhead tries to take the watch off to give it back, the guy gently grabs her hand and says the accessory has already found its owner. Absolutely terrified by the insane price tag, she rejects it again, saying it's madness to accept something so crazy expensive from a guy she just met. Keeping it friendly, he swears it's just a token of appreciation with zero strings attached and drops the bomb that the payment already went through, so no returns allowed. Desperate, the girl begs him to just send it all to his mom, but the kid argues the modern vibe wouldn't suit her anyway and officially declares it her welcome to the team bonus. Playfully applying some psychological pressure, he asks if she seriously has the guts to disrespect him by rejecting her future boss's very first gift. Realizing it'd be a bad look to reject his kindness in front of the haters, the actress finally caves and says thanks, making her affection meter spike instantly. Handing over receipts totaling over 4 million, the rep thanks him profusely for the massive drop and tells them to enjoy the gear. Biting her lip in pure jealousy, the veteran actress loses her mind internally, seeing the Hextra walk away with a gift way more expensive and classy than hers. Trying to salvage her bruised ego, the jealous woman yanks the rich guy's arm demanding a matching gift, but gets shut down by the rep who says they're out of stock. Suffering the biggest L of his life, the old sugar daddy turns around and storms out pissed, complaining that the kid completely ruined the vibe of their fancy date. Chasing after him so she doesn't lose her bag, the woman tries to spark a conversation again, but gets aggressively shut down by the investor who ends the night right there, ruining all her plans. Checking his virtual UI, the MC is hyped to see the quest completed successfully, dropping an unbelievable bonus. The system says the reward is a cash-back multiplier of up to 3 times what he just spent. Seconds later, a notification hits his screen crediting over 13 million straight into his bank account. Doing the math on his phone, the kid realizes he just made a clean profit of almost 9 million and decides he absolutely needs to buy Suwon more stuff to farm intimacy points. Strolling through the mall, he casually asks what brand of bags the artist is into. Super embarrassed, the redhead waves her hands begging her boss to stop burning money on her. Ignoring her, the two walk into a designer boutique where the rep immediately pulls out the most hyped bags of the season. Without even glancing at the price tags, the kid just holds up his credit card and tells them to ring it up. The employee says the total is 120,000, congratulating the store's newest VIP while the girl watches the whole thing facing the other way. Blushing, the artist is blown away by the guy's dominant energy and thinks the way he handles his ridiculous wealth is incredibly hot. Later on, sitting in the yellow sports car, the girl asks him to come up to her apartment for a drink as a thank you, faking innocence. Jiang Cheng asks if she's just going to offer him tap water. Playing along, Suwon says alcohol is on the table too. The MC then rejects the invite, claiming a man has to protect himself so women don't take advantage of him, getting a loud laugh out of his partner. Getting serious, he tells the girl to get some solid rest and genuinely thanks her for hanging out with him during the shopping spree. Standing on the sidewalk, the redhead thinks about how respectful the guy is, deciding he's actually a really solid dude who didn't try to force anything sketchy. Checking the dashboard in his car, the kid sees her friendship level hit 80 points, meaning she's already catching feelings. Full of confidence, the investor knows it's only a matter of time before he wins her over completely. Pulling into the luxury resort, the kid gets greeted by butler Wang Yoyan, who tells him his bath is drawn. He says he wants to hit the pool first and orders a bottle of champagne. Walking right behind him, the employee thinks about how elite this guest is and vows to deliver the absolute best service to keep him happy. Chilling in the heated water, the MC asks the manager if the resort has any crazy expensive, exclusive dishes. Fixing her posture, the woman lists the fine dining options and pushes a special white truffle fish from the Italian spot. Knowing these meals cost an absolute fortune, the kid remembers he has a system discount card, which is perfect for burning cash like this. Stepping out of the pool, he grabs a towel from the butler and takes the chance to ask her to book him a massage. Flashing a helpful smile, Wang Yun agrees instantly and walks him back to the comfort of the suite. Lying on the bed, the kid gets all the attention from the employee, who starts the treatment with total dedication. Feeling her hands on his back, he lets his muscles melt under the smooth pressure of the massage. With the vibe getting super relaxing, the kid thinks it's weird she's using aromatic oils, since he was just expecting a basic sports massage to chill out. Leaning over him, the employee tells her guest to close his eyes and vibe out, claiming this spa treatment is the resort's signature move. As the session goes on, it feels so ridiculously good that he completely surrenders to the pro's hands. The manager keeps working, staying super close and keeping her voice soft and calm the whole time. Loving the amazing feeling, Jiang Cheng gets so relaxed he starts wondering if they're crossing the line of professionalism. The next morning, sitting on the bed while Yoyan sorts his clothes, he realizes nothing crazy actually happened, and he was just imagining things, confirming the butler is going to drive him to the auto show. At the City Expo Center, a massive crowd is swarming the imported cars and the models at the auto fair. Walking the floor, the millionaire checks out the global drops, but gets annoyed seeing the most expensive whip is only a little over $1 million. Way too cheap to scratch his itch to spend. Walking through a packed aisle, the MC catches the eye of some people who recognize him from a distance. His old classmates spot him and get super confused seeing him wandering around the expo. Nearby, his old friend Jo Ying is turning heads working as an auto model in a stunning red dress up on a stage. A quick flashback shows these exact same classmates used to ice out the rich girl at prom because they thought she was too snobby to hang with them. Rolling up on the kid in the middle of the event, the group fakes being surprised and starts asking what he's doing there. Keeping it real, Jiang Cheng calls out their tone, saying it looks like they planned a squad link up and ghosted him on purpose. Swallowing hard, the group's leader looks away, totally embarrassed about getting caught leaving him out. Trying to fix the awkward vibes, the fake friend lets out a nervous laugh and tries to change the subject playing nice. Right then, the girl with pigtails says the MC is looking way hotter and shamelessly asks if he traveled just to get plastic surgery. The other guy nods, saying even his voice sounds different, and then asks if the kid came to cop a new ride. Laughing mockingly, the jealous girl says they could never afford that and mentions they also ran into Jo Ying posing for a bunch of photographers. Popping the system tracker instantly, the kid scans the gossiper and finds out from her low privacy score that she belongs to the streets. Blown away by the UI stats, he realizes the other quiet girl has a crazy high friendship level with him, even though they barely talked in high school. The silence, the fake friend asks again what the MC's plans are in the big city. Having zero patience for fake people, Jiang Cheng just pats the dude on the shoulder, tells him to take care, and leaves him totally confused. Walking up to the main stage, the MC greets his friend, hyping her up and saying she looks even better than when they met on the plane. Flashing a sweet smile back, the model asks if he came to check out the car event, hearing the kid confirm he's just browsing. Butting into the conversation uninvited, the arrogant ex-classmate asks in a sarcastic tone if the school goddess is planning to buy a car. Pointing at the sports car on the stage, the annoying guy brags that it's the brand's first all-wheel drive drop, priced at a ridiculous $8 million. Trying to embarrass the MC in front of the crowd, the preppy kid says there's no point knowing about cars if you don't have the bag to take one home. Clearly uncomfortable with the drama, Jo Ying apologizes to the group and says she's on the clock, asking them not to cause a scene. Thinking Jiang Cheng is just trying to flex, the hater lies, claiming his family gave him a fortune for good grades and that he's actually going to buy the car. Super politely, the girl says she doesn't know the technical sales specs and tells the guy to go find a rep. Being totally obnoxious, the preppy kid argues he'd rather talk to old friends, while his buddy laughs, calling him out for just using it as an excuse to hit on her. Done with the clown show, Jiang Cheng stares the guy down and asks what his problem is. Then, he dares the rich kid to buy the car right now and turns to the model, asking if she comes included with the vehicle. Blushing at his boldness, the girl smiles saying she didn't know he was so funny, but the kid warns her he's dead serious. Furious, the hater tells him to stop flexing and get lost. Breaking up the argument, the brand manager Speed walks over looking mad serious, demanding to know what the problem is. With zero respect, the boss rips into Jo Ying, accusing her of slacking on the clock and threatening her paycheck, forcing the girl to apologize with her head down. Taking the opening, the ex-classmate blames the MC for getting the model yelled at and demands again that he show some cash if he's going to buy something. Ignoring the loser next to him, Jiang Cheng says out loud that the car's price is fair, but his friend's presence elevates the machine to another tier, repeating his question about the bonus to the manager. Catching a glimpse of the MC's multi-million-dollar watch, the manager flips his attitude instantly and promises with a smile that the model will absolutely be part of the handover if the deal closes. Hyped by the confirmation, the kid pulls out his exclusive black card and tells him to charge the full amount in cash without even blinking. The little friend group goes into absolute shock, remembering that the fully loaded version of that car costs over $8 million. Shaking with shock, the jealous girl's eyes pop out, unable to believe the broke kid from high school can drop a fortune like that in a second. Desperate to save face, the preppy kid tells guy to stop capping before he gets the model fired. Laughing at his panic, Jiang Cheng calls the guy an idiot and tells the manager to confirm the sale will only benefit the girl. Sweating from nerves and hype, the boss quickly agrees that the massive sales commission will go straight into Jo Ying's pocket. Watching his friend's affection level tick up on the system screen, the rich kid is satisfied and holds the manager to his promise about including the model in the final package. Grinding his teeth in rage, the loser prays desperately for the car to decline so he can prove this is all just a massive lie to impress the girl. Cutting the fluff, the MC asks if the car is ready to drive off the lot right now, hearing the employee say yes and invite him to the VIP lounge. The card reader beeps fast, confirming the multi-million-dollar transaction was approved flawlessly. Handing over the massive receipt with both hands, the manager practically bows in respect and tells the model to take top-tier care of the young master. Getting hit by reality, the arrogant ex-classmate drops his head, totally crushed, realizing he just took the biggest L of his life, trying to humiliate a literal millionaire. Switching sides instantly, the other fake friends start glazing the kid, hoping to score a ride in the brand new supercar. The girl with glasses takes the chance to humiliate her own boyfriend, pointing out that the sports car only has 2 seats and was bought exclusively for Zhou Ying. Dying of jealousy and trying to steal the millionaire's attention, the gold digger plays dirty, claiming she's taking shotgun and maliciously implying the model is used to sleeping around for work. Chilling on the sofa, the kid is totally confused as to why the gold digger's affection meter randomly spiked. Sliding closer with an agenda, the woman agrees the car would look perfect with the model. Being super toxic, she casually drops a comment about his breakup with his ex, determined to ruin the vibe if she can't get a piece of the pie. Hearing the gossip, the girl with pigtails is shocked they broke up, remembering how well he used to treat his old girl. Standing up instantly, Jiang Cheng kills the fake friendly vibe, telling the woman his personal life is none of her business. Blown away by the flex, the old rival stares at the MC's $1,000,000 watch and realizes the kid was just pretending to be broke the whole time in high school. Fixing his collar calmly, the rich kid lies, saying he just got a bonus from his family for acing his exams. Bummed out by the heavy tension, the girl with pigtails suggests the group go grab dinner now to beat the city traffic. Flipping her attitude, the girl quickly invites the millionaire to eat and walk around the mall with them. Rejecting the invite immediately, the guy says he's already booked for the night and pushes the hangout to another time. Keeping her cool, the classmate nods enthusiastically and asks him to stay in touch when he visits their hometown. With the annoying group gone, he turns to Zhou Ying and tells her he's going to take another lap around the event while she finishes her shift. The model thanks him for having her back in a super sweet way and promises they'll see each other again soon. Jumping on the VIP client, the sales rep immediately pitches more new drops, pointing at a flashy sports car on the floor. Checking out the luxury model, the kid remembers Yu Xiaoxiao and instantly realizes the whip would match her aesthetic perfectly. Straight up, he asks for the price, and the employee tells him the fully loaded version runs over 9 million. Without hesitating for a second, the MC holds out his black card and tells them to run it for the full amount in cash. Putting his wallet away, he asks if the dealership has a delivery service for the $1,000,000 car he just bought. The manager says yes enthusiastically, but he refuses to wait on the sofa, saying he'll just text them the address of the person getting the gift. Nearby influencer is live streaming, hyping up the exact same pink sports car to her chat. Sitting at the booth, the rich kid hears the girl telling her viewers that any woman would lose her mind over a gift like that. Phone in hand, the pink-haired girl challenges her chat to hit a like goal so she can go interview him. Smashing the goal fast, she walks up with her camera, asking if the handsome client is about to cop a machine. Leaning in, the streamer waits for his answer while her viewers start flaming the kid in the chat. Reading the toxic comments on her screen, he sees the chat demanding he prove he actually has the bag to be at such a high-end expo. A bit embarrassed by her chat being out of pocket, the influencer apologizes and explains her followers are doubting his bank account. Totally shook by the timing, the girl is left speechless seeing the sales rep walk up to finalize the paperwork for the purchase. Watching from afar, Zhou Ying is amazed seeing her friend blow tens of millions in under 30 minutes. Sighing in admiration, the model thinks that even at the absolute peak of her family's wealth, they wouldn't have had the guts to burn through that much cash. 2 hours later, the MC stretches out as the manager lets him know the pink car has already been shipped to the lucky girl. Handing over the keys to the first sports car, the employee asks how the client wants to handle the license plate situation. Right then, the virtual system steps in and solves it, dropping an exclusive custom plate as a bonus, leaving the kid relieved by how easy it was. An assistant sprints over out of breath, handing the manager a sealed envelope with the car registration docs. Tearing the package open, the salesman's eyes bug out seeing the special plate has the MC's exact initials. Sweating, the guy figures the kid must belong to an insanely powerful family to pull strings for something that exclusive. Keeping it low-key, the rich kid gives a chill smile and lies, saying he just ordered the plate way in advance. Absolutely amazed, the manager glazes the young master's luck, saying his taste is top tier. A few minutes later, the pit crew finishes bolting the exclusive plate onto the car's bumper. Strolling through the pavilion, the MC realizes the system doesn't just drop cash, it also hands him massive social clout. Clocking out, Zhou Ying walks up with a sweet smile and thanks him again for everything he did for her. To pay him back for the $1,000,000 favor, the model immediately offers to treat him to a high end dinner that very night. The good vibes are killed when the kid's phone starts ringing like crazy in his pocket. Taking the call with no rush, he hears loud screaming coming from the other end. An old buddy is crying non-stop by the river, saying he just got curved and begging to grab drinks with the MC. Hearing the meltdown on speaker, Jiang Cheng and the model exchange confused looks over the dumped guy's drama. Putting his phone away, the kid apologizes to the model, explains the emergency, and promises to buy dinner tomorrow. Totally getting the bro code emergency, Zhou Ying smiles nicely and says goodbye. Rolling up to the bar, the MC finds his buddy chugging drinks and tells the guy to stop making a scene in the spot. Downing his glass, the kid cries about being treated like a backup option his whole life, feeling like a total loser. Spilling his guts, he explains the girl always treated him like garbage but acted like a simp for some other dude. With zero patience for drunk rants, Jiang Cheng crosses his arms and tells his buddy to get straight to the point. In a fit of rage, the heartbroken guy confesses he stalked the couple and caught them making out, which shattered him. Sipping his drink calmly, the millionaire finds it hilarious and asks how he can be heartbroken if they weren't even dating. Dropping some friendly advice, he tells his buddy to forget her and let the girl be a headache for the other idiot. So flashing a slight smirk, the MC reminds him the girl belongs to the streets and that he had already warned him about it before. Even while sobbing, the rejected guy admits he was blinded by love and decides to just focus on emptying the bottles in front of him. An hour later, the rich kid stuffs his completely wasted buddy into a cab and tells the driver to drop him at his place. Standing alone on the dim street, he opens his phone app to order a designated driver for his new sports car. Walking up to his ride, he finds some girl leaning on the hood, demanding he back away from what is supposedly her boyfriend's car. Completely baffled by the audacity, the kid fires back sarcastically, asking how she managed to mistake him for a boyfriend who doesn't exist. Trying not to lose face, the girl changes the subject and tells him he's definitely not her type anyway. Relying heavily on her charm, she compliments the millionaire's voice and flirtatiously asks if he can drive using just one hand. Acting super provocative, the girl licks her lips and swears she knows a bunch of ways to win a shooting game. Uninterested in the trashy approach, Jiang Cheng shuts down her hype, stating he only plays mobile games on his phone. Right then, the pink-haired influencer from the Auto Expo comes running up, asking if he's the one who ordered the app driver. Holding her streaming setup, the girl introduces herself awkwardly and quickly recognizes the handsome guy from the car show. Noticing he's on camera, the MC smirks arrogantly and jokes that he's gonna charge for screen time because he's way too good looking. Dying of embarrassment over the slip-up, the streamer apologizes to her chat, saying the camera was facing the wrong way. Curious about her double life, he listens as the girl explains she drives during the day and asks for permission to feature his car on her stream. The second she lays eyes on the machine, the streamer jumps for joy and tells her chat it's the fastest model on the market. Totally obsessed with the car's aesthetic, she can't take her eyes off the shiny red body. Jealous that she lost his attention, the bold woman butts in and offers to be the millionaire's driver for free. Without touching her, the kid waves her off, coldly stating that free stuff only brings headaches. After curving the gold digger, he turns to the driver he hired and asks if she actually has the skills to handle a beast like that. Pounding her chest, the girl promises she's got plenty of experience behind the wheel since she used to test drive luxury whips. Once inside the luxury ride, the driver says the camera will only show her and asks if the passenger minds the live feed. Jiang Cheng shakes his head no and asks if she grinds like this every day to pay the bills. Glad to hear she just does it as a side hustle for extra cash, the rich kid tells her to start the engine, and the girl nods hyped while setting up her phone on the dash. Chatting with her audience through the rearview mirror, the influencer says breathlessly that she never thought she'd pilot a car with this much horsepower, admitting she's nervous and needs to focus 100% on the road. Loki scanning her profile on his own phone, the kid finds out her streamer name is Kiao Mei and realizes her outgoing vibe hides a way more chill past than it seems. Casually checking her channel stats, the millionaire figures her engagement is decent for a smaller creator, but thinks it's a bummer that her top donator today only dropped 300 yuan. Looking at her revenue dashboard, the MC sees her daily payout is garbage after the app takes all its mandatory cuts. Rubbing the back of his neck, the guy thinks it's a total waste to have over 10,000 concurrent viewers and make zero money, concluding she'd secure a way bigger bag if she just stuck to driving full time. Cruising down the lit streets, Kiao Mei vents to her chat, admitting she's not built to simp for rich donators, preferring to just stream city traffic and hope someone catches the vibe. Right then, the driver says out loud that she's dying to know why the car dealership manager treated the kid like absolute royalty, considering she couldn't even get past the door. suddenly putting the pieces together mid-thought. Her eyes bug out and she turns her head in shock, straight up asking if he really just bought that $1 million machine in straight cash. The car keeps gliding smoothly down the streets while the stream broadcasts his luxury lifestyle, making the viewers joke in the chat about the massive wealth gap between the car owner and regular people. Finally reaching the drop-off, Kiao Mei hands the keys back to the real owner, and the MC praises her smooth driving, promising to book her again next time he needs a ride. Flashing a winning confident smile, the girl thanks her rich boss for the compliment and says she's always ready to take on more gigs. Taking the opening before he gets out, the MC casually asks what kind of stream she watches, leaving the girl shook when he admits he only watches hot girls channels. Super flustered by the direct hint, she asks with a blushing face if he thinks she's pretty and uses her charm to ask him to drop a donation on her channel sometime. Flashing a sarcastic smirk, Jiang Cheng casually shows her his screen, telling her straight up that he only uses a free account to lurk and never spends real money on virtual gifts. Switching up her strat instantly, the girl bites her lip and suggests he invite her inside the villa for a drink, swearing that kind of IRL support would be more than enough for her. Walking toward the door of the luxury resort, the kid asks what she wants to drink, immediately clocking that the streamer is just looking for an excuse to film content inside the VIP spot. Flashing a tense smile, Kiao Mei says breathlessly that, based on TV shows and movies, there are only two ways the night ends: when a guy invites a girl in for a late-night drink. Calmly shutting down her expectations, the rich kid denies her entry, making up an excuse that the hotel water is dirty and promising to buy her a basic tea next time, leaving the girl stranded outside. Gripping her streaming setup in frustration, the content creator mutters under her breath, calling the kid a player, completely confused how a guy who flirted with her so hard in the car could curve her with zero guilt. As the girl walks away waving bye to her chat, the MC sees on the system that her friendship level just randomly spiked, finding the reaction weirdly funny and considering taking her out for street food later. Stepping into the resort's lavish lobby, Jiang Cheng checks his phone and thinks about how he's going to have to deal with a ton of networking now that he's studying in Shanghai, deciding to use tonight as a warm-up run. Manager Wang Yuan greets him politely and with total hospitality. The kid firmly tells her he's having guests over later and orders the chef to whip up the most expensive dishes the restaurant has. Keeping it strictly professional, the employee recommends two extremely rare fish that go for about $1 million each, politely asking if that crazy price tag is okay. Without sweating the ridiculous cost at all, the millionaire agrees instantly with a confident smile and hands off all the bank details to the manager's expertise. Later during dinner, his old classmates show up to the spot and are absolutely floored by the insane flex already sitting on the main table. One of the girls leans in mesmerized, pointing out that those two fish could easily buy a brand new car off the lot, leaving the other friend speechless at the host's wealth. Serving the crew with top-tier elegance, the manager patiently explains that the dish is one of the rarest and most expensive seafoods on the planet. Wrapping up the presentation with a fancy Italian white truffle dish, the employee casually drops that the entire spread blew past the $3 million mark. Jumping out of her chair spooked by the price tag, the girl with pigtails screams in shock that the cost of this one meal could buy a massive apartment back in their hometown. Playing the humble host at the head of the table, the MC tells the squad not to be shy and tells everyone to dig in, taking all the hype thanks from the group of freeloaders. Stuffed, the fake friend suggests hitting a local bar for drinks, but the kid politely turns it down, lying that he drank too much earlier and wants to save the partying for another time. Buying the excuse no questions asked, the preppy guy promises to book a VIP section at a super famous club tomorrow so they can go crazy, saying a friendly goodbye to everyone. Escorting the VIP client down the halls, manager Wang lets him know the hotel threw in an exclusive discount because of the massive tab, closing the insane bill at slightly under the projected $3 million. Right then, the blue system UI pops up floating in mid-air, confirming the use of the special bonus card on the meal, hitting a massive multiplier and dropping a cash back of over 140 million yuan straight into his account. Flashing a smile of pure relief and hype, the kid realizes dinner was his best play of the night, since he just farmed an absolute fortune simply by feeding some hungry clout chasers. Processing the payment on the terminal, the employee wishes the young master at night's sleep and makes herself fully available to handle any issues he might have during the AIM hours. Chilling in bed at his private spot, the rich kid opens the streaming app and drops a message in the driver's chat saying he made it home safe after a long, exhausting day of grinding. Watching the video of the girl fixing her top on screen, he checks out her features better under that lighting and is surprised to see the influencer's beauty stat is insanely high. Suddenly, the AI flags that his digital wallet is empty and grants the user 3 million virtual coins to blow however he wants. Hyped about the boost that instantly boosted him to level 65 on the app, Jiang Cheng decides to change his username to something flashier to demand respect in the chat. Chilling in her bedroom during her usual dead stream, Qiao Mei nearly has a heart attack and loses her breath seeing a super high-level user randomly pop into her forgotten live room. With a spark of hope in her eyes, the creator hypes up the arrival of the powerful millionaire, explaining she decided to stay in tonight just to clear an app quest. Right after she says that, the phone screen splits, starting an official donation battle against another known streamer, which means their chats have to drop cash to crown a winner. Using the system's deep scan on the split-screen rival, the MC checks her full stats and notices her looks and personality scores are pretty mid. Holding his phone steady, he compares both girls and figures the driver should easily sweep the popularity contest since she's leagues better looking. On the other half of the stream, the fake rival acts sarcastic, pretending to be surprised by the random matchup and maliciously tells the rookie not to try too hard, saying she'll help her advance without stressing. Looking down, completely hopeless, the pink-haired streamer sighs accepting the incoming L, complaining out loud that she has zero talent for keeping an audience engaged in these pay-to-win battles. Trying hard to keep some charisma going for her viewers, Qiao Mei greets her opponent politely and begs with a nervous smile for the rich sugar daddies on the other side not to destroy her score too badly. Winking at the lens fake as hell, the rival says sarcastically she'll ask her chat to go easy in the first round just to spare the newbie from total humiliation. At that exact second, the virtual panel drops a mandatory quest, ordering him to make Qiao Mei win the entire tournament in exchange for a colossal multiplier on his bank account. Ready to grind for the bag, the driver sits up, adjusting her miniskirt boldly, and asks in a flirty voice if her new sponsor has any special requests for tournament night. Jiang Cheng smirks in satisfaction seeing her spicy attitude on screen, realizing the girl is totally ready to do whatever the richest guy in the room wants just to avoid getting wiped out. Making a pathetic puppy dog face, the girl begs for literally any donation so she doesn't get humiliated in round one, shamelessly asking the rich newcomer to bail her out with a tip. Reading her own chat calling her ugly, the girl fixes her hair and tries to keep her energy up while dealing with the toxic trolls refusing to drop a dime. Finding the influencers desperate, sad situation hilarious, the MC decides to play the apps game, sending 5 absolute cheap gifts just to bait a reaction out of her. Showing gratitude for the pennies she got without breaking character, the girl forces a totally fake smile for the camera as the worthless gifts spam the corner of her screen. Seconds later, she loses it and rants, furious that such a high-level user had the nerve to drop a single coin on her channel, asking if she's some kind of money repellent. While the girl throws a tantrum over the pennies, the rival's point bar skyrockets in seconds, totally annihilating the pink-haired girl's low score on the top meter. Quickly snapping back at a troll message from the millionaire, the driver swears on everything she'll be his free personal driver for as long as he wants if he guarantees her the tournament dollars. Locking in his end of the deal instantly, Jiang Cheng drops 3 of the app's most expensive missiles at once, making the girl cover her mouth in absolute shock as $1 million value explodes across her screen. Jumping around her room, losing her mind with hype, Qiao Mei desperately thanks him for the insane carry and tearfully offers to do literally any performance the mystery sugar daddy wants. Watching the pop off on the other side of the split screen, the rival swallows hard, totally shook realizing a billionaire just randomly showed up to boost the loser who was about to get eliminated. Trying to dodge the live humiliation, the other girl switches to a whiny voice, desperately begging her biggest sponsor to drop heavy gifts and close the gap on the scoreboard. Grabbing a plastic mic and striking a pose, the pink-haired girl makes up a horrifyingly off-key song to say thanks, admitting on the mic she has zero talent for spicy dancing. Chilling in his luxury bed, the MC finds the girl's disastrous lack of musical talent hilarious and tells her to keep singing and doing whatever goofy stuff she wants on the virtual stage. Watching her score vanish, the rival resorts to fake soap opera tears, rubbing her eyes to guilt Tripper veteran fans into opening their wallets for the upcoming clash. A dramatic alert flashes in the middle of the split screen, officially announcing that the final donation war between the streamers has begun. Jumping up and blowing kisses, the manipulative girl hypes up the barrage of expensive missiles her top donator just dropped to try and steal the win at the buzzer. Unfazed by the opponent's over, the top reaction, Jiang Cheng flashes a super competitive smirk in the dark room and decides to spam the heavy donation button again without caring about his own cash. Seeing the intense battle spiral out of control, the rival streamer screams in hype, crying that her other rich simps also decided to drop the bag so they wouldn't take the L. Throwing up hand hearts to the camera through a storm of VFX, the woman thanks them for the spam of expensive gifts, demanding her whole chat praise the guy carrying her. Thinking this little flex is weak, the rich kid starts machine gunning his screen, tapping frantically to drop dozens of back-to-back gifts just to ruthlessly humiliate the other side. Getting bombarded by more animations and rockets flying across her screen than she's ever seen in her life, the driver freezes, thinking her stream literally crashed from sensory overload. Completely shook by the flood of virtual gifts, Qiao Mei can barely breathe from the hype. On the other side of the stream, the manipulative rival goes dead silent watching herself take the L. The driver thanks Jiang Cheng for the 20 missiles, realizing the rival has straight up given up on fighting back. Sweating cold and getting humiliated, the loser tries to poach the millionaire sponsor by offering him exclusive dances on her channel. At that moment, the viewer count spikes insanely hard, breaking 10,000 concurrents. Bowing respectfully, the influencer asks what the young master wants her to do to show her thanks. Resting his chin on his hand, the MC chimes in telling the girl to turn off the app's beauty filter. Insecure about the weird request, the streamer warns him that her real face might scare the rich guy away. Not having much of a choice given the bag he dropped, she switches the settings and kills all the face edits. Shocking everyone, the girl's real face actually looks even more gorgeous and flawless without the virtual tweaks. The chat goes wild hyping up her natural beauty, while new fans keep flooding in non-stop. Riding the momentum, Qiao Mei clasps her hands and begs the rich guy to carry her through another round of the tournament. Right after, the platform cues up the next opponent, and a girl in a schoolgirl outfit pops up on screen. Shamelessly flirting, the newbie blows kisses and tries to poach the billionaire to check out her stream. Clearly annoyed by the disrespect, the driver cuts her off and tells the rival to just start the battle already. The cosplaying rival quickly gets 5 missiles from her own simp and celebrates by blowing kisses to the camera. Finding that amount completely pathetic, the MC cues up a massive donation combo without even trying. Jumping for joy, Qiao Mei praises the flood of super missiles that instantly nuked the rival's score. Completely baffled, the schoolgirl tries to summon her sugar daddy, begging for a bailout. Across the city, the dude paying for the newbie spits his drink out, unable to believe his opponent's financial firepower. Sweeping easily, the influencer makes it to the final stage and faces off against a super spicy-looking woman. Swallowing hard, the driver recognizes the veteran as one of the top 3 biggest stars on the entire app. Faking modesty, the rival claims she can't sing or dance and suggests they just start the point battle right away. Breaking her own word a second later, the woman gets out of her chair and starts throwing it back with a highly explicit dance routine. Finishing her borderline TOS performance, the veteran works her charm blowing a kiss straight to the whales in the chat. Chilling against his pillows, Jiang Cheng watches calmly, while the chat glazes the rival's skills. Feeling threatened, Qiao Mei pouts and begs the MC not to leave her hanging in this tough final round. A sketchy spike in activity happens on the veteran's stream, suddenly grabbing everyone's attention. The experienced streamer takes advantage of the camera angle to flash her assets, without any shame. Panicking over the shameless strat, the driver warns him the rival is already past 800,000 points. Flexing her ego, the veteran tells the MC that her sponsors are the real bosses of the app. Backing up the trash talk, 3 virtual whales drop crazy expensive rockets, inflating the woman's bar in the blink of an eye. Gutted by the live humiliation, Qiao Mei tries to think of a quick out so she doesn't lose her dignity. Reading the hate in the chat, the rich kid laughs at the trolls calling him broke and scared. Checking his $1 million system balance, he decides it's time to teach these clout chasers a lesson. Suddenly, the rookie influencer stream starts lagging from the sheer amount of visual effects spamming the screen. The kid rapid fires another 20 super missiles, making the driver almost drop her phone in shock. On the flip side, the veteran's eyes pop out seeing the cash war reach a terrifying level. Trying to keep her cool, the woman forces a smile and talks trash about the donations, baiting her own simps to spend more. The rival's point meter starts climbing fast again in a desperate attempt to hold the lead. Full of herself, the veteran star is dead certain she's going to clutch the EU no matter what. Showing absolutely zero mercy, the MC keeps nuking the screen with non-stop massive transactions. Crying tears of joy, Qiao Mei can't believe her savior just dumped over $1 million on her channel. Seeing she's about to take the L, the veteran panics and starts screaming, begging her simps to keep dropping gifts. But the woman's top sponsor just taps out of the war in chat and leaves, utterly destroying the arrogant streamer. With the BU secured, Jiang Cheng drops a casual message in chat saying they finally bagged the tournament. Crying happy tears, the influencer takes the crown, absolutely crushing her rival with an unbelievable score. Bowing to the camera, the driver thanks him profusely and begs to add the rich kid on her private socials. Reading her request to be his personal driver, The MC goes with it and drops his number. The chat connects the dots and freaks out, realizing the sponsor is the same billionaire from the auto show. Absolutely thrilled, the girl flashes a bright smile, feeling lucky to have landed a boss like him. Overthinking it, she wonders why he's being so nice, but feels relieved to finally have the guy's direct contact. Chilling on the edge of the bed, the kid checks the girl's affinity level and sees it hit 85. Right then, the system UI pops up confirming the quest was a success and announcing an insane prize of over 2 billion. Resting his chin on his hand, he smirks thinking about how stupidly easy it is to multiply money in this world. The next morning, his phone buzzes, waking him up with a text from the driver saying she's on standby. Reading the text, he finds it funny how desperate the influencer is to please him first thing in the morning. Sitting on her bed hugging her knees, Kiao Mei anxiously waits for a reply after pulling an all-nighter. Stepping out of a hot shower, the millionaire decides he's definitely going to need a driver to take him to the party he planned with his crew. Across town, the girl screams in excitement when she gets the green light, falling back on her bed in relief. Hugging her pillow, she tries to force herself to sleep, reasoning that she needs to be fully rested to drive tonight. Tossing and turning, she freaks out from the hype, admitting she's not going to be able to close her eyes. At 8 p.m. sharp, the MC finds the girl waiting for him right on time, leaning against the door of the supercar. Pulling up to the famous club, the kid praises the driver for knowing all the most hyped and expensive spots in the area. The women standing outside instantly notice the rich kid's looks and start gossiping with interest. Walking through the VIP entrance, he's surrounded by dozens of girls in spicy outfits, pulling everyone's attention. A girl in a costume slides up turning on the charm and asks to add the rich kid on socials. Taking advantage of the distraction, another gold digger fakes a stumble, falling right into the millionaire's arms. Faking innocence, the bold girl apologizes for tripping while the MC holds her by the waist. Two more girls join the mob, pushing the kid to follow them into an exclusive VIP section inside. Standing by the car, Kiao Mei watches the whole thing, fuming with rage seeing her boss swarmed by fake clout chasers. Completely losing it, the driver charges the group, demanding the women step back right now. Feeling a weird ache in her chest, the girl realizes she's insanely jealous over her own sponsor. Shoving the gold diggers with zero respect, the driver forces her way through, telling them all to back off. Without hesitating, she grabs the MC's hand tight, determined to drag him out of that sea of fake girls. Seeing Kiao Mei pull the rich kid away, the girls at the door complain that he's already taken and ask why she didn't say so. Ignoring them, the driver pulls her boss away, saying the vibe is dead and telling the group to go find a new mark. Pulling the girl by her waist with ulterior motives, Jiang Cheng finds it funny and asks if he really is taken. Totally embarrassed, she pushes him away gently, lying that she only helped him ditch the gold diggers to save him a headache. The kid tells her she won't need to stress about it next time, joking that the girls from earlier actually look pretty fun. Walking through the club, his rich old classmate says he was wondering what VIP was causing all that chaos at the door. Laughing, the frat bro notices the other girls aren't even trying to approach anymore and immediately asks who the stunning plus one is. Keeping it casual, the MC introduces Kiao Mei as just his personal driver who's partying with them tonight. The buddy praises the rich kid's flex, declaring that a real boss always plans ahead, so the night goes perfectly. Just then, an employee in a bunny suit walks by, grabbing the group's attention in the middle of the luxury club. Hyped for the party, the fake friend invites the MC to join the section he booked. A classy manager walks up with several gorgeous women and greets the young master very politely. Waving at the girls, the frat bro thanks her for the hospitality, saying the setup is absolutely perfect for the vibe. He asks the manager to bring out 2 insanely expensive bottle service combos to get the party going, and she agrees instantly. Spooked by the massive order, the driver whispers to her boss that she's only ever seen that famous liquor on the internet. One of the guys thanks his friend for flexing, who immediately responds by hyping up the $1 million dinner the MC sponsored last night. Trying to impress the girls, the rich kid asks if they knew Jiang Cheng dropped 3 million just on fish dishes. The girls' jaws drop at the flex, right as the costumed waitresses arrive carrying the luxury bottles. With crazy skills, the manager starts filling everyone's glasses with the liquor that literally costs a fortune. One of the guests in a dark dress raises her glass suggestively, saying it's an honor to share the night with the millionaire. Using the system scan Loki, Jiang Cheng checks the girl's stats to see her intimacy score. Disappointed by her extremely low privacy score, he figures the girl is just makeup in a super messy past. Annoyed by the flirting, Kiao Mei downs her drink, trying hard to swallow the jealousy she's feeling over the plus one. Gripping her glass tight, the driver notices that painful full squeeze in her chest is back in full force. Totally confused, she wonders what her boss actually wants, since he dropped a fortune on her, but is now flirting with other people. Breaking the awkward silence, the millionaire turns to his driver and suggests a toast dedicated to his biggest fan on the internet. Noticing the girl is tense, the kid asks what she's drinking and tells her to chill out and enjoy the party. Stuttering a bit, the streamer refuses more alcohol, reminding him she needs to drive and swearing she's still totally fine. With a bold smile, the pink-haired girl leans in and asks if he wants to get a closer look to prove she's sober. Checking the driver out, the MC decides to focus entirely on Kiao Mei and ignore the other gold digger +1. Jiang Cheng takes advantage of the other girls being distracted and locks his focus on Kiao Mei to build their connection. The driver feels shy but is clearly thrilled that the MC is giving her exclusive attention in the middle of the club. Right then, the pink-haired girl asks why someone with a tycoon reputation is being so low-key. The MC fires back sarcastically, asking if she's mad and thinks he should be acting a little more out of pocket. Kiao Mei, amazed by the direct response, tries to process the guy's tone while things heat up between them. The driver realizes she wants to be there more and more, even though she's trying hard to keep up the just an employee act. The MC notices the effect he's having on the girl, keeping his calculated charm going to make sure she stays hooked. Out on the dance floor, another girl slides up, hyping up Jiang Cheng's dance moves and his heavy presence in the room. The girl in the red dress asks how it feels to be the main character of such a crazy party tonight. Jiang answers chill as ever, faking humility while noticing how starstruck the random girl is. The club vibe stays high with the loud music, making the MC feel even more at home in his boss aura. The dressed girl sees the kid has a magnetic vibe and keeps throwing compliments his way. The MC, feeling himself, asks what she thinks of his dance skills, getting a super hyped response. Kiao Mei watches from afar, catching another wave of jealousy while the other girl shamelessly glazes her boss. The girl in the red dress claims she was blown away and that even her own brother liked his performance. Jiang Cheng realizes the red dress girl still wants to chat and asks out of curiosity who this brother is. The woman hints that they should all get to know each other better later, suggesting a friends meetup to keep the party going. The MC, thinking it sounds like a vibe, asks what she normally does when she isn't busy clubbing. The girl admits she's not huge on going out, preferring to chill at home watching good movies. The group gets carried away by the vibe, and the new girl suggests they all watch a movie together to make the night even more epic. Everyone is down for the idea, laughing as they plan to take the hangout to the next level of fun. Jiang Cheng mentions his sense of humor is unmatched, making the people around him in the club crack up. Right then, someone calls for a toast, and everyone raises their glasses to celebrate the start of a long, epic night out. The MC, keeping his boss energy, invites the guest to toast to his success and happiness. The vibe lightens up as the glasses clink, cementing Jiang Cheng's spot in the elite circle. Meanwhile, the girl in the red dress uses the proximity to show genuine interest in the kid's tastes. The MC assesses the scene with a smirk, realizing the conversations are going exactly according to his plan. The girl, wanting to be noticed, doubles down on the invite for a more private hangout, leaving the room full of anticipation. Jiang Cheng quickly checks his own limits as the woman gets closer and closer during their chat. The luxury space seems to work in the MC's favor as he sets up the perfect end to the event. Kiao Mei, watching everything up close, realizes she's completely out of patience for seeing other girls crowd Jiang Cheng. The MC notices the driver getting worked up, but decides to keep flirting to test the +1's limits. The content creator, feeling left out, asks if he seriously plans on ignoring her for the rest of the night over some new girls. Jiang Cheng catches her tone and smirks, finding it hilarious how she reacts when he gives other people attention. Kiao Mei, unable to take it anymore, snaps that she's not a fling and hates being treated like a backup option. The MC, playing it straight, asks her what she actually wants, leaving the girl totally lost in her own confusion. Right then, the girl realizes she's letting her feelings take over and tries hard to regain her composure in front of the millionaire. Jiang Cheng, seeing he has the perfect amount of control over her, decides to wrap up the chat and focus on the ride back. He notices the girl is clearly shaken, proving his goal of locking in her loyalty is almost complete. Finally, the kid decides to end the night at the club before anything goes off, script emotionally or financially. They leave the VIP section while the other clubbers watch, still amazed by the MC's insane flex of wealth. Jiang Cheng calls a cab for his buddies, making sure everyone gets back to their places safely across the city. Yamei, still holding on to her jealousy, watches her boss handle the logistics perfectly. The MC tells her to get in the car, noticing the driver seems to have dropped her defensive attitude from earlier. The pink-haired girl finally caves, admitting it might be sketchy to go back alone and taking Jiang Cheng up on his offer. Jiang Cheng pulls her onto his lap and tells her he won't force her to leave, letting her crash there for the night. Absolutely exhausted, Xiao Mei rests in the sheets, trying hard to get her energy back. The girl is still struggling to catch her breath after everything that went down between them. Completely in love, the influencer feels like she's floating on clouds. The next morning, Yu Xiaoxiao walks into her newly decorated office, politely excusing herself for interrupting. Su Won greets her warmly right away, telling the manager to take a seat and asking how she can help. Sitting on the sofa, the director drops Jiang Cheng's name, hearing the actress confirm they've already crossed paths. Hyped, the artist asks if the kid sent her over to sign the paperwork, getting a yes right after. Listening in, the agency partner is shook and asks if the ratehead seriously plans on putting in her notice. Flexing total confidence, the artist says yes, and that she's going to be the first major celebrity at the MC's new company. The partner tries to warn her about the risks, reminding her of all the grinding they did and questioning if this kid is actually legit. Ignoring the warning, Suwon states she trusts him blindly, even calling the manager sister, to build a bond. Right then, the desk phone rings and reception says there's a surprise delivery out front waiting for the exec's signature. Thinking it's just another creepy fan gift, the artist suggests rejecting the delivery entirely. In sweat, the delivery guy says it's impossible to reject a luxury car that's already been paid for in full cash. Both women jump out of their chairs at the same time, absolutely floored by the news about the whip. Heading down to the building's lobby, the group walks into a literal party with confetti raining down. The dealership employee politely asks the manager to pull the cover off the gift. As the tarp slides off, a stunning hot pink sports car is revealed, gleaming in the sun for everyone to see. Suwon's jaw drops at how beautiful the car is, admitting she's dying of jealousy over her partner's luck. Watching it happen, the bystanders start gossiping about how the exec's current boyfriend is ridiculously loaded. Keeping it professional, the rep hands the keys to the sports car over to the new owner. Completely lost, Yu Xiaoxiao asks who sent it and realizes it was an exclusive gift from Jiang Cheng. Blushing hard, she holds the car door, super emotional, realizing she's never been treated this well in her entire life. Miles away, the MC is chilling on the sofa while the system pings that the manager's loyalty has maxed out. The AI drops $1 billion cash back card, making the kid cringe a little at the weird name of the reward. Rubbing his chin, he figures he needs to treat his girls like absolute royalty to keep their satisfaction meters constantly maxed. A new alert pops up, handing him an investment firm valued at 500 million straight in the kid's name. Hyped about the loot, the guy realizes this company will guarantee him passive income without him having to lift a finger. Jumping up excited, the millionaire starts filling out the setup info for the new firm on the virtual UI. The investment firm is officially launched, headquartered in Shanghai with an absurdly massive starter fund. Kiao Mai steps out of the shower wrapped in a towel, asking a bit shyly if she ended up waking her boss with the noise. Wrapping his arms around her from behind, he checks her physical stats on the panel, thinking about burning his newly acquired bonus card. Saving the item for later, the kid decides to focus on the present and suggests they get a quick morning workout in. An hour later at breakfast, the content creator firmly demands he stop dropping cash on live streams. Finding it funny, the MC asks if she'd rather he blow his money on other women. Totally annoyed, she explains the app takes almost the entire cut, calling it a waste to burn a fortune for nothing. Walking in with some paperwork, the resort manager overhears the chat and is shook by the insane amount of money wasted for no reason. Staying chill, Jiang Cheng calms the driver down, saying it was just pocket change and didn't matter. Giving her full support, the kid encourages the girl to keep streaming, declaring he fully trusts her character. Calming down, Kiyome decides to rebrand her channel to focus only on food and chill daily vlogs. Squeezing her cheeks affectionately, he tells the girl to hit him up if anyone tries to bully her online. Changing the subject, the rich kid hands his credit card to the manager and orders her to extend his luxury suite booking for another 60 days. The employee's eyes go wide in pure shock, remembering he was only supposed to be passing through to tour the college. Swallowing hard, the driver does the math on the rent and is blown away by the massive pile of cash it's gonna cost. Being a tease, the kid says if he were the manager's boss, he'd be pretty pissed at her turning down such an easy deal. Embarrassed by the joke, the employee tries to explain herself, arguing that it feels like a waste to burn nearly 5 million like that. Eating a strawberry, the streamer notices the woman's vibe and gets suspicious about her being overly caring toward the boss. Curious about her concern, the millionaire uses his skill and is amazed by the manager's flawless physical traits. Looking at the digital panel, he's stunned to see the employee's affection score is already sky high without him even trying. Walking down the hall, the manager feels a bit exposed and tenses up, remembering the intense stare the guest just gave her. Her mind wanders, thinking about the drop, dead gorgeous women hanging around the rich kid, and the luxury lifestyle he treats as normal. Even knowing the rich guy is a total player, the woman admits to herself that she's getting more and more curious about him. A quick thought exposes how much she loves personally taking care of his room, just to please him as much as possible while he's at the hotel. Completely hooked, the manager smooths her skirt, wondering if she'd actually have the nerve to say yes if the kid made a bold move. Heading back to the room, the MC also thinks about the vibe, realizing he can't make a move right now since he's currently occupied. To handle the booking, he orders the employee to set up a new reservation fast and wraps up the chat. Snapping back into her model employee mode, the manager confirms the order instantly and walks out super hyped to sort the paperwork. Reaching the staff break room, a coworker notices her spacing out and asks if the millionaire guest is acting up. Fixing her hair to play it cool, the manager denies it immediately and swears the young master is the easiest person to serve. Jealous of her coworker's luck, the girl complains about her own lack of guests on shift and promises she's gonna grind to land a sick deal. The woman grumbles, pointing out it's practically impossible to find a VIP who'll pay for a luxury suite for a whole week straight. Flashing an empathetic smile, the manager tries to hype her coworker up, reminding her it's early in the month and things could flip at any second. Accepting the L, the coworker praises the manager's insane grind lately and tells her to go take a nap in the staff quarters. Walking fast, the manager declines the nap, stating she needs to find upper management ASAP to extend the client's stay for 60 days. Hearing the news, the coworker covers her face, absolutely shook by the ridiculous luxury extension. Calculating the massive commission, the girl scolds her friend for trying to score discounts for a guy who burns money for fun. The manager defends herself, arguing it'd be unethical to charge full price knowing the guest won't even sleep in the room the whole time. Thinking her morals are crazy, the coworker jokes about stealing the client and asks if the guy is really ecchi that hot. Seeing the manager's face turn beet red, just thinking about the kid's body, the coworker starts laughing, noticing her friend is totally down bad. Being bold, the coworker suggests a crazy deal where she'd handle serving the guest while the manager keeps the entire cash bonus. Shutting the joke down instantly, the woman warns her that that much wealth can pull whoever he wants and orders her to drop those shallow thoughts. Even after snapping at her, the manager takes a quiet, deep breath, asking herself what the rich kid actually thinks of her. Not wanting to drag out the awkward topic, she cuts the gossip and turns away, focused solely on finishing the boss's request. Up in the main office, the resort director almost has a heart attack from excitement and decides to call the company president to literally thank the kid on his knees. Chilling comfortably on his villa bed, Jiang Cheng checks his phone notifications and sees he scored $1 million reward. Suddenly, the door opens and executive director pops in, politely asking if the kid is around. Director Wang introduces his boss, who hands over a business card and makes himself completely available to the young master. The exec says he authorized a generous, permanent discount on all hotel services and rentals for the kid. The MC smiles politely, doing the math and realizing the discount actually made him lose out on a bigger cash back reward. He realizes the employee gave up her own cash bonus to help him out, starting to seriously respect her integrity. Faced with the kindness, President Wang suggests a handshake, proposing they become major business partners. He then orders the manager to give top priority and handle any request from the kid with the highest level of seriousness. Saying a friendly goodbye, the exec hopes the new client thoroughly enjoys renting the luxury property. Jiang Cheng says thanks while walking chill down the hall next to the dedicated resort employee. Back inside the room, streamer Qiao Mei hugs him, admitting in a cute voice she has zero desire to leave the place. However, the MC explains he has a ton of business stuff to handle today, telling her to keep chilling. Sad he's leaving, she reveals she already made plans with her friends, and the stay wouldn't be as magical without him. Because of that, the guy promises to hit her up as soon as he finishes his work, and the girl agrees, hyped for their meetup later. An hour later, the kid is strolling through the resort's outdoor area when he spots the gorgeous Yu Xiaoxiao walking up. Coming in super affectionate, Yu Xiaoxiao shows her gratitude to Jiang Cheng with a kiss, but the moment is ruined by shouting. Her jealous ex-boyfriend storms over, blinded by rage, insulting the girl in the most toxic way possible right in the middle of the street. Completely unhinged, the guy screams demanding she marry him, or else he'll jump into the river right then and there. Shook by the trespasser's audacity, Jiang Cheng asks his girl if she hadn't already handled this. The girl explains the guy keeps harassing her at work and causing drama, and she decided to keep him out of it. The dude accuses them of cheating and lying, venting all his built-up anger on the two of them. Yu Xiaoxiao tries to pull her partner away, begging him not to pay attention to the annoying guy who's just talking nonsense. But the ex keeps up the baseless blackmail, trying to pin the blame for his fake tragedy on them. Clearly exhausted by the performance and the non-stop insults, she just wants to escape the public embarrassment. Jiang Cheng decides to step in and firmly orders the nuisance to drop the act immediately. Being sarcastic, the MC walks up and asks the desperate guy why he doesn't just go ahead and jump in the river. He calls over the area security and offers a multi-million bounty if they help the guy take a dive. The young master lays out the plan, ordering them to fake a rescue but take long enough for the annoying guy to swallow some water. Zheng Yu goes pale at the boldness, screaming furiously that the millionaire is plotting a crime in broad daylight. The guards exchange confused looks, unsure if the VIP client is actually serious about this. Jiang Cheng assures the guards he'll pay up front and handle any legal fallout if things go south. Faced with an astronomical amount of cash that would change their lives, the staff agrees instantly, flashing greedy smiles. Boyfriend goes into full panic mode, realizing his blackmail just got real and extremely dangerous. Being ironic, the MC orders the liar to just jump in the water already and end this dramatic show once and for all. The coward tries to keep his tough guy act up, screaming he's not scared, but starts shaking under the millionaire kid's cold stare. To prove he's not capping, the kid wires a deposit on the spot as collateral into the guards' accounts. Without a second thought, the security guards rush the bold guy and start dragging him away by force. Worried about the scene, Yu Xiaoxiao grabs her partner's arm, asking him not to stoop to her ex's level. Flashing a calm smile, the MC reassures his girl, telling her she doesn't need to stress about a thing. The staff restrains the nuisance and swears to the exclusive guest that they'll handle it as quietly as possible. Jiang Cheng asks his partner to tell him everything from now on, swearing to permanently solve the problems in her life. The AI picks up on the user's annoyance and recommends immediately hiring pro bodyguards with encrypted comms. Hyped about the system's features, the kid turns to his girl and suggests they go check out the new firm's office. Still a bit awkward, the girl agrees, even though she thought he wouldn't want to deal with business today anymore. Swearing some random loser could never ruin his day, he confidently walks her to the imported whip. The couple arrives at the massive corporate building in the city where the newly founded talent agency will operate. Walking in, Jiang Cheng praises the modern, classy design, calling it perfect to kick things off. Yu Xiaoxiao nods excitedly, promising that with a few tweaks, they can move in immediately. With ulterior motives, the MC invites the girl to sit next to him for a sec. The woman walks slowly toward her partner, throwing him a look full of chemistry. Suddenly, she leans over seductively, totally dropping the corporate vibe of the room. The space seems to take on a different glow as the magnetism between them becomes obvious. Jiang Cheng smirks playfully and points out he only asked her to sit down normally. Blushing, the girl pretends to be mad and whines that she'll start ignoring him if he doesn't stop teasing. She turns on the bold charm and asks if he wouldn't prefer she just sit on his lap. The kid fires back smoothly that he's down for absolutely anything that makes her happy right now. Overwhelmed by her partner's affection, she lets herself get swept up in the spicy vibe taking over the new office. A while later at the hotel, manager Wang Yuan greets him, asking if he'd rather eat or take a bath first. Showing a lot of shyness, the dedicated employee offers to draw the water for a full body massage after. The MC chooses food first, leaving the employee shocked by the off-script answer. Waiting outside the room, the manager feels bad she didn't get to please the guest with the modern massage tricks she looked up online. Setting up the meal carefully, she hears the kid joke that her timing was off, but promises to give it a shot next time. The next morning, the MC rolls up to the packed luxury auto expo and spots his millionaire buddy already there. While walking, a drop-dead gorgeous model in a gold fit walks by, stealing everyone's attention at the fair. Hypes up the woman's spectacular body, swearing she has the aura of a TV star. Jiang Cheng instantly recognizes his old high school friend Zhou Ying, but notices from her face that she's super uncomfy. Nearby, a creepy photographer starts snapping invasive pics from a low angle, trying to shoot up the pro's dress. Noticing the harassment, the woman holds her dress and tells him to stop, but the creep snaps back, saying he films whoever he wants. Unable to stand the disrespect, Jiang Cheng rushes over and lands a precision kick, shattering the creep's phone. The harasser drops to his knees on the pavilion floor, crying that the device held all of his illegal work. Being super sarcastic, the MC notes that his foot just slipped and ironically asks if he's supposed to pay for the broken gear. Consumed by rage and embarrassment, the creep jumps up screaming insults and winds up to punch the millionaire kid. Thanks to his reaction speed, the rich kid dodges the sloppy punch effortlessly in the middle of the expo. He calmly announces the attacker threw the first punch and his response is strictly self-defense. Landing a punch with massive force and accuracy, the MC hits the guy in the face, knocking the creep out cold on the floor. Chilling on the sofa, Jiang Cheng checks his phone and sees only 3,800,000 was deducted, pulling in a return of 380 million in credits. Right then, manager Wang knocks on the door alongside the hotel chain owner and a staff member to do introductions. Introducing himself politely, President Wang thanks him for choosing their hotel and hands over his card, hyping up the young master's long stay. He then explains the manager managed to secure a super exclusive 20% discount on absolutely every service at the resort. The MC fakes being happy with the news, but mentally complains that the employee's good intentions just cost him 100 million in lost cash back. Still, he respects the woman's integrity for giving up her own bonus just to help him save a chunk of change. So the kid suggests they become major business partners given the president's generosity, which he accepts instantly. The boss then orders the manager to give absolute priority and handle any request from the kid with ultimate professionalism from now on. Saying a friendly goodbye, the director wishes his new business partner an excellent stay before leaving the room. Jiang Cheng says thanks while the attentive employee looks at him with a face full of admiration and awe. A while later inside the suite, streamer Kiao Mei hugs him cutely, admitting she doesn't want to leave at all. But the kid tells her he has some important stuff to handle today, recommending she just keep relaxing in the room. Sad he's leaving, the girl says she already made plans with her friends, and the vibe wouldn't be as fun without him. So, he swears to hit her up as soon as he finishes his business, and the girl agrees, hyped for their next meetup. An hour later, the MC is walking through the resort's outdoor area when he spots the gorgeous Yu Xiaoxiao approaching. Meeting up, Yu Xiaoxia shows her gratitude for the support with a sweet hug, but the romantic vibe is killed by shouting in the distance. The ex, Zhang Yu, comes sprinting over and insults the girl in the most toxic way right in the middle of the path. Completely unhinged, the guy demands they make the marriage official and blackmails her, saying he'll jump in the river right there if she leaves with someone else. Shook by the guy's audacity, the MC asks his partner if she hadn't already solved this annoying problem. The girl explains the guy keeps bothering her and causing scenes at work, and she hid it so she wouldn't stress her boyfriend out. But the trespasser keeps up the insults, calling them cheaters and fakes while pointing his finger at them. Clearly fed up with the act, the blonde asks Jiang Cheng to just ignore the fake and suggests they bounce immediately. Zhang Yu refuses to let them leave and threatens to expose the cheating online, swearing he'll drown himself to frame them. Right then, the guy rushes forward and tries to grab the woman by force, making her scream in terror in the middle of the street. Stopping the physical attack instantly, Jiang Cheng steps in front and orders the drama king to drop it right now. Using a super ironic tone, the MC grabs the guy and offers real help if he actually wants to jump in the river. He then calls over the venue's security and offers a 5 million bounty to each pro if they help the guy do what he promised. The kid outlines the terrifying plan to fake a botched rescue, ensuring the intruder actually falls and drowns in the water. Zhang Yu goes pale with fear, screaming furiously that the millionaire is openly orchestrating a crime in front of everyone. The guards exchange looks, sweating nervously, unsure if the VIP client is actually serious about that insane offer. To prove he means it, the MC swears to pay up front and guarantees defense from top-tier lawyers plus a massive extra payout for their families. With greed taking over, the pros figure the equivalent of a lifetime's wages easily makes up for any risk of doing time. The ex-boyfriend desperately tries to talk his way out of how serious this daylight stunt is getting, demanding everyone use common sense. With zero tolerance, Jiang Cheng orders the guy to just jump in the water already and end the show, making the coward run away in a panic. Laughing as he runs, the rich guy calls his opponent weak, saying he's nothing but a lying loudmouth with no guts to back up his words. With that, the kid immediately offers 100 grand to each guard, just to rough the annoying guy up, sending the wire transfer on the spot. Confirming the cash hit their phones, the guards rush the disrespectful guy with serious force. Worried about the intruder's safety, Yu Xiaoxiao grabs her partner's arm, begging him not to stoop to that level. Using a soothing tone, Jiang Cheng asks his girlfriend to chill, saying he has total control over what's happening. Soon after, the guards drag the troublemaker away and assure their generous boss that the nuisance was removed without leaving a trace. The kid asks his partner to tell him everything from now on, swearing to put a permanent end to the obstacles in her life. Right then, the panel's AI picks up on the user's annoyance and unlocks a private security team with encrypted comms. Hyped about the new virtual perks, the young master focuses on his girlfriend again, suggesting they go check out the firm's office. The blonde is surprised by his energy, thinking he'd have totally lost the vibe for business after the fight. Jiang Cheng swears a loser could never ruin his goals for success, walking his girlfriend to the luxury car. The pair arrives at the massive commercial building in the city, where the newly launched entertainment agency will operate. Walking into the corporate space, Jiang Cheng praises the modern, classy decor, calling it perfect to kick off the business. His partner nods excitedly, ensuring that with just a few minor tweaks they can sign the transfer docs. With ulterior motives, the MC sits in the director's chair and calls the blonde over to get clothes and take a break. The girl walks slowly toward him, showing major chemistry in the new workspace. Suddenly, she leans over super seductively, totally dropping the professional vibe of the office. A bright light hits the room, signaling the romantic mood and uncontrollable attraction sparking between them right then. But the kid jokes around, saying he only asked her to sit normally, making his partner embarrassed. Blushing hard, she fakes being mad and warns she'll start ignoring him if he doesn't stop playing with her feelings. Then, the blonde turns on the bold charm and asks if he wouldn't prefer she just sit on his lap. Jiang Cheng answers super chill then for absolute, he's down for anything that makes her happy and comfortable. Overwhelmed by her lover's affection, the girl lets herself experience the passionate vibe taking over the high-end office. A while later in the hotel room, manager Wang Yuan greets him at the door, asking if he'd rather eat or rest in the water first. Showing a lot of shyness, the dedicated employee offers to draw an exclusive bath paired with a relaxing back massage for the kid. However, the MC chooses to prioritize food, leaving the woman very surprised and frustrated by the bath rejection. Waiting in the hallway, the manager feels bad internally for not getting the chance to use the modern massage techniques she looked up online. Setting up the plates carefully, she hears the young master joke that she picked the wrong time, but promises to give it a shot later. The next day, the MC arrives at the packed luxury auto expo and spots his millionaire buddy waiting. While walking through the exhibits, a gorgeous model wearing a gold outfit passes by, stealing the attention of everyone at the fair. The rich kid glazes the girl's standout presence at the booth, swearing her beauty and class match a celebrity's level. Right then, Jiang Cheng instantly recognizes his old school friend Zhou Ying, but notices from her face that she's super annoyed. Near them, a creepy photographer starts snapping invasive pics from a disrespectful, low angle, focusing under the model's dress. Seeing the blatant harassment, the girl holds her outfit and tells the man to stop recording her in that offensive way. The creep talks back rudely, saying he photographs whoever he wants and that she shouldn't wear that if she doesn't want to be on camera. Unable to stand the disrespect toward his friend, Jiang Cheng rushes over and lands a precision kick, shattering the creep's phone instantly. The harasser drops to his knees on the expo floor, whining over the destruction of the device that held all his sick, stalking material from the last few days. Being totally sarcastic, the MC says his foot just slipped and ironically asks if he's obligated to pay for the phone repair. Consumed by rage from the public embarrassment, the guy jumps up screaming insults and winds up to punch the millionaire kid. Thanks to his super fast reflexes, the rich kid dodges the offender's sloppy punch with massive ease in the middle of the event. He calmly announces the attacker threw the first punch and his response is strictly for self-protection, landing a knockout blow. With the faker on the ground, the manager runs over panicking, asking why security is just standing there instead of calling the cops and pulling the tapes. Sweating from nerves, the employee begs for 1,000,000 apologies over the unacceptable issue, swearing it was pure negligence from the team to let something this serious happen at the fair. Without wasting time, the guy turns his head and screams for security to deploy immediately and handle the mess. Amazed by what went down, the rich buddy walks up praising the MC's precision strike, but admits the existence of sick people like that lowered his opinion of the city. The young master just fixes his hair calmly, saying decent people don't entertain that kind of gross behavior. Just then, Zhou Ying walks up asking if he got hurt, absolutely amazed by his protective stance and thanking him for the unexpected rescue. Catching the vibe instantly, the rich friend figures they already knew each other, finding the kid's anger totally justified for protecting such a stunning girl. Introducing the girl straight up, the MC points out she's his ex-classmate from high school. He points to the guys next to him, introducing them as his business partners, while she greets them super politely. Totally interested, the pro asks if the millionaire came to check out more cars at the expo today. Casually confirming, he mentions he plans to buy a car for his dad, taking the chance to cash in the meal they owe each other before they head back. Hyped about the idea, the girl says she hasn't made plans yet and agrees to meet up right after her shift ends at the venue. Next to display car, the manager sucks up to the client, asking if the young master liked that 4-seater supercar. The employee starts rattling off all the car's heavy specs, but gets cut off by the kid who tells him to just get to the final price. Giving a price over $2 million, the salesman tries to throw in some extra perks, but the millionaire cuts him off, saying he only cares that the machine gets delivered to his hometown. Rubbing his hands in pure hype, The store manager swears they ship nationwide and even handle the local registration at the destination. Happy with the smooth service, the MC just hands over his black card, telling them to run the charge without any extra red tape. To make the gift epic, he asks them to set up a super flashy delivery event to pull off an unforgettable surprise for his dad. Watching the massive flex, his buddies say the kid's mom won't even have a reason to complain, since the chosen car is actually pretty low-key for his usual spending habits. Shook by the wealth drop, the rich friend thinks about how the MC casually burned through over 50 million in a single week. Regretting his own lack of funds on that level, the frat bro remembers how hard he had to beg to get his first car, dying of jealousy over his friend's credit limit. After all the paperwork wraps, the model's shift finally ends and the kid invites her to leave the event. Settled in the passenger seat of his sports car, he breaks the ice by asking if she'll need to head back to university once vacation is over. Focused on the road, the girl mentions she grinds hard to pay her own bills ever since her family went bankrupt back in the day. Showing major growth, she admits she cut off a lot of fake friends during the struggle, but now realizes that money earned through her own hustle holds way more value. Letting out a genuine laugh, the MC finds it admirable how the untouchable school goddess turned into such a grounded, hardworking woman. A bit embarrassed by the comment, the model admits she never cared about those beauty labels the students made up. The super machine speeds through the busy city streets toward the restaurant booked for their meal. Arriving at a classy, traditional-style spot, the old classmates welcome the duo at the door with a lot of hype. But one of the rich guys in the group glares with pure hate when he spots a certain unwanted guest roll up. Pulling the MC aside, the frat bro explains the host has old beef with the guy who just arrived, complaining about whoever was clueless enough to invite him. Hiding the awkwardness, the whole squad walks up to the blondie kid who randomly showed up at the restaurant entrance. Faking friendship, the intruder greets the host calling him bro, which makes the vibe in the room incredibly heavy and tense. Trying hard to keep up appearances, everyone sits around the packed table, while one of the guys suggests ordering some drinks to lighten the mood. 30 minutes later, the annoying guy starts flexing, claiming he got some premium stock market tips with guaranteed returns. Oozing arrogance, he throws it in the host's face that he recently made millions, advising everyone there to stop hanging with losers if they want to level up in life. Pressing his lips in anger, the MC's buddy whispers, pissed off by the toxic shade the guy is throwing at the group. Shamelessly, the preppy kid demands immediate payment of an old 2 million debt in front of everyone, claiming he wouldn't even charge interest. Losing his patience with the disrespect, the host slams the table hard and insults the debt collector for acting with a superiority complex. Panicking over the rage outburst, one of the guys tries to hold his friend back, begging him not to ruin the fun vibe of the hangout. Taken over by sudden rage, the blonde guy violently throws a glass full of liquor straight at the table. The liquid flies aggressively, splashing right onto the model's outfit, leaving the girl totally speechless at the cowardly attack. The MC rushes over to his friend to check if she got cut by any of the shattered glass covering the room. Jumping up, the rich buddy screams furiously, demanding answers about what is wrong with this psycho causing a scene like this. With a furious glare, the host stares the attacker down and angrily asks if he only came here to start drama with everyone. Watching the mess from afar, the other guests notice the host crew is ready to throw down to protect the rich newcomer at all costs. Slipping back into his smug act, the cowardly guy cynically claims he didn't come to the restaurant to cause any problems. Punching the table hard, the frat bro points a finger, calling the MC a hick, pissed off that everyone is glazing someone from out of town. Keeping an intimidating icy chill, the millionaire steps forward in the middle of the room and orders the coward to apologize for staining his date's clothes. Terrified of a disaster, the model grabs the kid's arm, swearing everything is fine and there's no need to fight over it. Ignoring her plea to chill, he repeats the demand with a threatening tone, while the rich kid laughs right in his face. In a fast, violent move, the MC backhands the smug guy right across the face. Thanks to the heavy impact, the coward's head snaps to the side, leaving a red mark stamped on his cheek. With a dark look, the rich guy asks if the idiot actually thought he could keep insulting people without catching any consequences. Holding his throbbing face, the frat bro stutters, absolutely shook by the audacity of getting hit in front of everyone. Dripping with sarcasm, the kid advises the loser to go see a doctor to get his head checked, offering to pay the hospital bill if he's broke. Blinded by rage, the attacker grabs a heavy wooden chair and charges the MC, screaming that he's begging to get destroyed. Taking advantage of the sloppy rush, the young master lands a high, power front kick, launching the coward into the air. The guy lands sprawled out on the floor, defeated, while the host announces he's only letting today's trespass slide because of the humiliation, telling the trash to get lost. Supported by a girl, the embarrassed rich kid limps away, but doesn't waste the chance to swear revenge on the bold hick. Fixing his posture after the chaos, the rich friend explains that the loser's family controls the local food industry, which explains his massive ego. Flashing an ironic smile, the MC says he'd love to see just how far this financial power the loser brags about actually goes. Turning back to the spook model, he apologizes for dragging her into another fight, but the girl promises it wasn't a big deal. Noticing the restaurant vibe is dead, the rich guy tells his friends he's taking the girl home early, since she lost her appetite. The host begs a million apologies for the disaster during the meal, but the MC chills him out, saying it's irrelevant, and says a friendly goodbye. Out in the parking lot, the kid tosses the sports car keys to the girl, joking that she must have total mastery to pilot the machine. Taking the wheel like a pro, the girl plays along, reminding him she used to be the richest, most popular girl in town. Speeding down the streets, she admits she really missed driving a car with this much power and wishes they were on a highway to actually floor it. The silver supercar slices through the city night, pulling eyes everywhere it goes. Flashing a soft smile, the driver explains her parents were never strict back in the day, but things changed and she doesn't have those perks anymore. Admiring her face lit up by the dash, he promises to take her on a long road trip next time they get a chance to hang out. Reaching the drop-off, the model gets out and grabs the kid's hand, super embarrassed, showing her gratitude for all the time he gave her. Blushing even harder as he gets closer, she says quickly that it's getting late and rushes inside her house. Watching the girl disappear through the door, the millionaire rubs his chin, finding her cute reaction funny, and figures she just got super shy from the romantic vibes. But the cute moment gets killed by his phone ringing in his pocket, forcing the MC to refocus on his major $1 million business moves. Jiang Cheng checks the data on his device and tracks the progress of his plot against the Wang family. Online, news about the rotten products and terrible food storage at their company is trending everywhere. Someone calls the MC to check if he saw the fallout from the leak about the improperly stored veggies and bamboo. The informant says it's total chaos and that even the raw materials used for flour are completely spoiled. On another call, it's confirmed that massive chains are pulling everything off the shelves and authorities launched strict investigations, completely tanking the Wang's credibility. The guy on the line asks if Jiang Cheng remembers a comment he made yesterday about how this would end. With a serious look, the MC processes the news while a worried face pops up on screen. Thinking about the scale of his payback, he's curious to see just how far the destruction of his rivals will go. The informant admits he didn't expect Jiang Cheng's power to be so overwhelming that it would make the Wang family lose almost everything overnight. On the other end, the ally repeats that the MC is not a normal guy and that he knew it from day one. Meanwhile, at the Wang house, the family patriarch is desperately trying to find a way out of the disaster. Losing his patience, the head of the family complains he hasn't had time to fix anything and asks why everyone around him is panicking so hard. The son, clearly shaken and rocking bruises on his face, vents about the real reason behind the whole mess. Confused, asks what happened and why the kid's face is so busted. The guy explains he got jumped by a guy from out of town yesterday, calling him super arrogant and dangerous. Wang's dad interrogates his son harshly about why he's covered in bruises and demands to know who started the chaos. The heir, still dazed and visibly marked, struggles to process what happened, while his dad demands exact details about yesterday. The dad gets in his son's face, grabbing him tight by the shoulders, demanding a quick answer on who caused this embarrassment. Wang's mom walks in, watching the tense scene anxiously, while her husband keeps pressuring the kid to talk about the fight. Furious, the heir says there's no way he's following his dad's order to beg for forgiveness, claiming it's way too humiliating for his status. The matriarch, shocked by the kid's refusal, asks why he's so against fixing the problem. The family leader points a finger in his son's face, calling him an idiot for not getting how serious the crisis tanking their business is. Wang snaps back, saying if his dad is so mad about it, the solution is just to split up, refusing to bow down to anyone. The mom, clearly exhausted by the two of them, screams she can't stand watching their home fall apart over internal family beef. Putting a hand to his forehead, the heir cries over his own fate, admitting he wasn't even that close to the guy who ruined his life. The woman suggests that if his dad wants him to apologize so badly, the man himself should go to the guy and fix this financial mess. Meanwhile, the MC sips his morning coffee peacefully in a luxury setting, listening to the report that the Wang family just lost $400 million. The employee next to him asks if he wants anything swapped out or made differently for breakfast. Jiang Cheng replies the breakfast is perfect and praises the service. The server mentions the kid brought a new partner she hadn't seen before, advising him to pay more attention to his professional duties. Wanixin spots the MC and offers a special soup to help cure his hangover. Jiang Cheng mumbles something while seemingly deep asleep, not noticing the woman getting close. The employee decides it's a bad idea to leave him sleeping on the sofa like that and decides to help him get comfortable in bed. Moving carefully, she takes the kids' clothes off, noticing they reek of alcohol. The manager thinks to herself that all her knowledge about caretaking comes from movies, watching the MC sleep. She sighs while settling in, clearly happy with the intimacy and the task she just did. Jiang Cheng wakes up, not really getting what's going on, while the woman explains she just swapped his clothes as a precaution. He mentions having a weird dream about the manager, calling it a confusing and surreal trip. The woman, keeping her chill vibe, suggests he try some massage techniques she learned recently to cut stress. Jiang Cheng agrees, intrigued and ready to enjoy the girl's specialized care. He asks if, given the weird situation, it wouldn't be better to just move to the bed to finish relaxing. The manager agrees instantly, showing she's ready to make sure the guest is as comfortable as possible. She starts the massage, noticing the kid seems to tense up from the direct, expert touch. Jiang Cheng is surprised to see the woman is wearing spicy lingerie, which makes the whole thing way more complicated. He takes a breath, trying hard to keep his emotions and discipline in check while the manager stays totally focused on her job. The woman asks the MC how he feels about this specific type of massage. Jiang Cheng praises the service, pointing out she's acting super professional with every move. She keeps going, slightly shifting her angle and position to ensure deeper relief. The MC ends up shocked again by the woman's bold look, asking himself if this is real or if he's still dreaming. The manager gives him a provocative look, staying quiet while waiting for the kid to respond to the unspoken invite. He mentions the current vibe feels a lot like the dream he had earlier, turning up the heat between them. The girl, keeping up the pro act, asks if he'd be down to take things a step further. The MC nods yes, agreeing to the intimacy and proving he has no plans to back down from the offer. They get closer, locking in the moment in a room full of mutual attraction, while Jiang Cheng acknowledges her crazy skills in these games. The woman lets out a sigh, proving the service went way past the guest's initial expectations. Across town, a guy walks into a high-end store, asking for a private room to get VIP service. He hands a card to the clerk, waiting for them to finish ringing him up without any issues. The guy mutters to himself that staying home is boring AF, deciding to hit up a fancy spot where he can blow cash with no limits. The clerk, however, hands the card back, saying the machine declined it. The guy, pissed off, asks if the store's reader is broken, demanding they swipe it again. The receptionist apologizes again, stating the card doesn't have enough limit to cover the booking. The guy stares at his yellow sports car, wondering how it got to this point if he literally just went shopping. Standing next to a girl, he tries hard to save face, swearing the transaction will go through in a sec and telling the clerk to chill. His date starts losing her patience, asking if he actually has the funds to back up his lifestyle, or if he's just a liar. The guy shuts up, unable to find the words to clap back after his temporary financial L got exposed in public. The clerk asks again if he wants to keep trying or if he'd rather cancel the room. The +1 gives up waiting, asking if he wants her to go alone, or if they're just gonna leave right now. In a panic, the kid tries calling his dad, begging him to unlock his card ASAP since he's currently getting humiliated. On the other end, the patriarch snaps back aggressively, saying he won't bail him out and the kid has to deal with the results of his own failures. The kid hangs up, completely embarrassed, and walks away from the desk while everyone else watches his downfall. Pool, two guys are talking about the drama, trying hard to hit up mutuals for help. The guy, still crushed, begs his friends to put in a good word for him with the MC, Jiang Cheng. The dude on the phone, annoyed, says he can try asking for a favor but makes it clear he can't promise anything. The other guy in the pool hears the desperate plea, showing zero interest in getting mixed up in Wang's mess. The guy drops some desperate thanks, trying to save his reputation at all costs, even if it means begging for forgiveness from someone he used to look down on. In the lounge area, Jiang Cheng's friends debate if they should actually help fix the situation, seeing as the enemy is folding so easily. One of the guys finds it hilarious and mentions the rival's family is already bankrupt and getting replaced in the industry. Right then, the MC gets a call setting up a meetup at the club tonight to watch the rival get humiliated. Chilling in the water, Jiang Cheng agrees with Zhou Ying's idea to hit up the same spot and texts back, instantly confirming the plans. The second they roll into the club, the guys greet him with massive glaze and immediately start calling his date sister-in-law. The girl decides not to correct the dating mix-up, figuring she probably won't ever see these people again anyway. Soon, the hares crowd around him, super anxious to see what the VIP attraction of the night is going to be. Cutting to the chase, Jiang Cheng orders luxury bottle service and milk to fuel the party. The club manager takes the $1 million order obediently and asks if he wants some girls sent over to the table. Annoyed by the out-of-line suggestion, the here's buddy scolds the employee for disrespecting the girl sitting right there. Begging a million apologies for overstepping, the manager dips, promising to fast-track the group's order. Right then, a bunch of costumed girls walk up carrying the bottles while the crew hypes up the kid for dropping $1 million. Zhou Ying whispers that she's always wanted to try that pricey champagne, but complains she has to be the designated driver tonight. Being thoughtful, he warns that girls shouldn't drink in public and swears he'll send plenty of bottles to her house later. Hearing that, she's amazed he doesn't use alcohol to force anything, realizing he's built different from other guys. Suddenly, a mutual rushes into the VIP section and announces the hater from last night just showed up at the club. Seeing his date get nervous, the MC asks her to be patient and promises she'll understand what's up in a sec. Bowing with deep respect, the rival in athletic wear desperately begs for Jiang Cheng's forgiveness to save his family from bankruptcy. Showing zero pity, the young master coldly warns him that the apology shouldn't be aimed at him. The intruder is totally confused by the comment, getting pushed to jog his memory and remember his screw-ups. Getting straight to it, the MC demands an apology because the guy stained his old high school friend's clothes during the fight. Remembering the incident, the guy drops to his knees in front of the girl, begging the so-called sister-in-law for forgiveness. Zhou tries to downplay it, saying shyly that he didn't need to stress over something so small. Right then, she realizes he set up this whole meetup just to protect her, feeling incredibly honored by all the attention. The humiliated guy keeps begging the duo to show some mercy and not hold a grudge against someone as useless as him. Being sarcastic, Jiang Cheng rejects physical violence and suggests the guy use his bottle smashing skills on his own head. At that moment, the hero starts handing out the premium bottles he saved exclusively for the enemy's punishment. Wang Qiang burns with silent rage, realizing he's being manipulated by the kid he used to look down on. Staring the enemy down with a threatening look, the MC demands an answer to the challenge. With zero other options to get his dad to unfreeze his cards, the coward takes the humiliating penalty and grabs the bottle. Without hesitating, the kid smashes the heavy liquor bottle against his own head right in the middle of the VIP section. After the force of the second hit, he repeats the painful move, proving he's absolutely desperate to earn that forgiveness. The guy ends up dropping to his knees in front of the crowd, who watch the horrifying scene in dead silence. Jiang Cheng starts clapping ironically, dropping a sarcastic thanks for the epic performance he just watched. The rich friends whisper in shock about the enemy's cruelty, amazed he's so ruthless to himself. Blacking out on the club floor, the defeated guy hopes he passed the test to save his family's business. Right then, the hare orders the staff to just mop up the mess and keep the guy from suffering anything worse in the club. Watching it all up close, the model worries about the cops getting involved, but he chills her out, swearing nobody there has the guts to snitch on them. Raising his glass hyped up, the MC invites everyone for a group toast, thanking his crew for hanging out. Looking at the kid, the costumed model gets a chill of terror, realizing the scary authority hiding behind that pretty face. Across the club, the red-haired guy figures out that the city's unseen boss is actually ruthless. Leaving the party, the model shyly suggests they hang out solo next time they get a chance. She affectionately admits she felt super grateful that he demanded that public apology just to defend her. Flashing a warm smile, he swears their next dates will be chill and totally drama-free. Saying a sweet goodbye, the girl tells him to sleep well after drinking so much and promises to see him soon. On the phone, the assistant reports that the defeated rival is gathering hidden evidence to launch a lawsuit against the MC. A flashback shows the angry enemy holding files, focused on finding any legal loophole to get payback. The assistant says the guy keeps ruining Yu Xiaoxiao's peace with non-stop annoying calls every day. Pissed off by the guy's persistence, Jiang Cheng orders an instant trap to deport him out of the country before sunrise. Heading back to the luxury hotel, the young master is greeted by the attentive manager, who welcomes him back super politely. Pulling the girl into a tight hug, the kid jokes about her being way too formal after they spent so much time apart. A bit embarrassed, the employee asks him to stop, terrified that other guests might catch them together in the hallway. With ulterior motives, the MC suggests they hurry into the room, swearing nobody will be able to ruin their private time. He leads her straight to the sofa, boldly suggesting they try out a different spot to vibe together. Totally surrendering to the here's magnetism, the manager enjoys every second of their unique moment under the covers. A bit later, at a different bar in the city, the defeated enemy tries to drink away his depression alone, ordering a strong drink at the counter. Holding his glass, the man cries bitterly, feeling like the saddest, most ignored guy on the planet. Listening to a voicemail where his ex dumps him forever, he realizes he was just a temporary side piece. The bartender hands him another drink while a guy in glasses watches the crying dude with a lot of interest from the next stool. Sliding over with a hidden agenda, the stranger shows some sympathy and swears he'll quickly find a real partner who won't leave him. Gripping his glass sadly, the pink-haired guy asks himself if someone like him even deserves real love. Taking control of the convo, the guy introduces himself as Jung Yu and asks what he should call his new bar buddy. Introducing himself as Lee Min-hang, the guy in glasses offers to buy him a drink so he can vent about his heartbreak. Because of that, time flies while the two new friends talk and drink a ton of alcohol at the bar counter. The guy says thanks for the great company tonight, but casually drops that he has an early morning flight to catch. Sharing his itinerary, the guy in glasses reveals he's flying to Thailand to officially get over his past relationship. Saying a friendly goodbye, the guy leaves the bar, making the pink-haired dude reflect hard on their interaction. Right then, Jung Yu panics with regret, realizing he was too naive and forgot to grab that awesome guy's socials. Desperate not to let his target escape, he decides to instantly book a plane ticket to the exact same place. Fantasizing about a perfect romantic reunion during the trip, the guy boards the plane full of hopes and plans. By the afternoon of the next day, the plane lands at the Thai airport where an unplanned ambush is waiting for the traveler. A tough-looking guy in a suit introduces himself as Wang Sheng, showing total loyalty to the young master. Asking where the enemy is, Jiang Chen confirms the guy has already been tracked down and detained by the squad inside the hotel. Arriving at the group's high-end ops center in the area, the MC is greeted with max respect by the whole crew. Followed by his top-tier guards, the kid walks confidently toward the room and orders them to wake the prisoner up immediately. Tossed into a chair, Jung Yu wakes up to a bucket of freezing water thrown by Lim Min-hang, but assumes it's all just a fun game between them. Hyped about the setup, the tied-up captive says he's super excited and suggests they add even more tricks to their playtime. Right then, Jiang Cheng walks into the room clearing his throat and asks why he keeps bothering Yu Xiaoxiao all day long. Looking up completely confused, the intruder asks what his enemy is doing there and what his deal is. Without saying a word, the MC lands a heavy kick, knocking the chair with the coward straight to the floor. Staring at the guy on the ground, he brings up his threat to silence him permanently and asks if the kid already forgot the warning. Taken over by panic, the captive warns that doing anything extreme breaks the law and desperately begs the rich kid to chill. And ice cold, Jiang Cheng replies that fatal accidents in Thailand are super common and easy to fake. Desperate to save his own life, Jung Yu swears he'll never go near Yu Xiaoxiao again and begs them not to unalive him. Turning his back in disgust, the young master orders them to strip the guy of all his cash, his phone, and his ID right now. Then he adds that the enemy will be dumped on the street with zero resources, leaving his fate up to luck. Abandoned and freezing in just his underwear, the defeated guy cries on the street with no one to call for help. Walking down the street, the MC remembers he needs to sign the stock papers he got from the system and decides to head to the Hengqin company. As soon as he hits the lobby, main partner Mario walks up super hyped to finally meet the kid. Greeting the businessman respectfully, he's invited inside casually to sort out the company docs ASAP. Seated in the office, Mario pulls out the stock transfer paperwork and the MC signs the pages, claiming he trusts him blindly. A digital UI pops up showing the new partner stats, confirming the system tagged him as an absolute loyalty partner. After the deal is locked, the businessman suggests they celebrate by exploring the local culture, but the kid politely declines, saying he has other business to handle. Laughing, Mario gets the rejection and tells the kid he's totally free to hit him up if he needs any help in the area. Back in the luxury car, Jiang Cheng asks to drive around, and the driver suggests checking out the area's busy night market. The car cruises through the crowded streets while the kid takes in the energy of the city's nightlife through the windows. Walking through the food stalls, they both hear the panicked crying of a kid looking for her mom in the crowd. Realizing the little girl is in danger with a sketchy guy, the hero gives a subtle nod, ordering his guard to act fast. Without hesitating, Wang Sheng charges in aggressively and hits the criminal with a precision strike, separating him from the girl instantly. Landing another fast attack, the guard pins the guy to the ground, keeping everyone watching the chaos safe. Walking slowly, the kid crouches in front of the crying little girl and asks sweetly what her name is and where her parents are. Crying hard, little Anne thanks him for the help and admits she only wandered away from her mom to buy a local treat. Finding the girl's stubbornness funny, the MC sarcastically figures she's just a little troublemaker who went looking for drama. He asks if she knows her family's phone number by heart, getting a shy nod confirming she does. Pulling his phone out fast, the kid dials the number she gave him and calls the girl's mom to end the panic ASAP. A bit later, a gorgeous businesswoman named Enzin shows up at the spot, expressing deep gratitude for the help they gave her little girl. Grabbing the kid by the arms, the woman scolds the little girl, who cries with regret, swearing she'll never wander off again. Pulling her into a tight hug, she tries to calm her down, promising she won't yell anymore if she stops crying and behaves in public. Then Engsin formally introduces herself to the kid, who politely suggests she keep a much closer eye on the girl in crowded places. Taking the advice, the woman admits she slipped up and swears to stay way more alert to prevent scares like this in the future. Right then, the kid grabs her savior's hand and begs him not to blame her mom, taking the entire blame for not listening. Petting the girl's head, he accepts the excuse and makes the kid promise to always listen to what her guardian says from now on. Feeling grateful, the businesswoman offers them a ride to their hotel and suggests paying for lunch tomorrow to celebrate meeting each other. Politely turning down the invite, the MC says he's flying back to his home country tomorrow, mentioning he lives in wrong city. Amazed by the crazy coincidence that they live in the same area, the woman eagerly asks for his socials so she can hit him up when she gets back. But the system UI shows some weird info about the woman, making the kid wonder how her privacy score can be so high when she's literally a mom. Saying a super sweet goodbye, the kid waves happily while following her mom back to their car. Walking down the sidewalk, a guard asks if he has clearance to run a background check on the kid, but the boss bans the investigation to avoid beefing with someone powerful. The next night at his family's house, the kid gets greeted with suspicion by his parents, who demand explanations for the stuff he bought. Handing a luxury case to his dad, he gets a grumpy response from his old man, who accuses him of trying to flex his new wealth. The MC hands a beautiful foreign bag to his mom, leaving the couple absolutely amazed by the gifts. Admiring the piece, the woman praises her son's great taste and jokes that he has way more charm than her own husband. Taken over by jealousy, the dad swears the kid got his class from him and immediately takes the chance to ask how much that fancy watch actually cost. The kid lies and says he got a discount through a mutual, figuring his dad would have a heart attack if he knew the piece cost over $1 million. Right then, the matriarch complains about the unnecessary spending and suggests setting up some dates with her friend's daughters, but he dodges the topic and leaves for the mall. Watching him walk out, the dad proudly notes that his son finally matured and that getting spoiled by him is awesome. The woman complains about her husband having zero tact for ruining the sweet vibe, feeling relieved the kid didn't inherit that stubbornness. At the fancy mall, people whisper on the street staring at a girl who looks like a legit TV star. In the crowd, Jiang Cheng hears shouts of a proposal and instantly recognizes his old classmate's name. Looking over at the drama, he sees a preppy kid on his knees in front of Zhou Ying, begging her to take the flowers. The bystanders chat about the insane price of the accessory the guy is offering, dying of jealousy over the super romantic scene. Embarrassed by the public spectacle, the girl quietly asks the guy to stand up and repeats that she only sees him as a really good friend. Totally out of patience with the stalking, she firmly states she'll leave right now if he keeps putting on this show. Ignoring her rejection, the guy repeats that he expected her to be shy and warns that he set up an even crazier surprise. With that, the arrogant guy snaps his fingers at the street, ordering his crew to move in and force the girl to say yes. A bunch of helpers show up holding signs yelling for her to accept, while the guy offers a massive cash payout to try and buy her. Though watching the circus, the MC gets a system ping promising rare bonus loot if he decides to help his classmate escape the trap. Trying to farm more rewards, the young master picks some random weeds off the ground and walks up, focused on ruining the hare's show. Sliding in smoothly, he hands the basic branches to the girl, declaring he's going to take her silence as a yes. He shows absolute audacity handing over the worthless weeds and asks if the beautiful model agrees to actually be his girlfriend. The crowd goes into total shock over the fearless interruption, even while mocking the kid's lack of cash and the dead flowers he picked off the street. Being sarcastic, the rejected suitor tells his rival to go back to bed, claiming that stealing a woman's heart takes serious capital. The people on the street laugh at the embarrassment, comparing the luxury gifts to the cheap, priceless weed bouquet the MC picked up off the pavement. Trying to take control again, the intruder grabs the girl's hand and pressures her to buy a super expensive diamond ring at the jewelry store. Shocking everyone, Zhou Ying ignores the pricey accessories and holds the MC's simple bouquet, sweetly swearing she loved his gift. The onlookers panic, unable to process that the school beauty chose the poor kid's modesty over the arrogant preppy guy's wealth. Wrapping his arm around his classmate, the kid jokes that he picked the most beautiful colors on the sidewalk, earning an honest, love-struck look from her. Panicking, the loser follows them, claiming the whole scene is just a joke and begging for one more chance to prove his worth. Ending the chase, the MC pushes the enemy's chest and tells him to take the L and act like a real man. Blinded by the bitterness of the rejection, the suit, wearing hair, points a finger insulting his enemy and orders him to get lost since he can't make the woman happy. The plot continues with an Enzin accidentally bumping into a mutual at the spot and asking if he was there to eat too. The guy explains he only showed up to keep the little girl company while she played. Right then, Jiang Cheng notices the family moving around and turns his head to watch the situation. Unexpectedly, the MC's dad is holding little Anne in his arms. He asks his partner why he's there, hearing the kid showed up to discuss a business plan. Watching the scene from afar, the kid is confused about why those people ran into each other. Showing extreme politeness, and Sin walks up to Jiang Cheng's dad and officially introduces herself. She mentions she hears a lot about the kid and swears she'll bring the girl over to visit them sometime. The older man processes the news, curious about the woman's closeness when she mentions the little girl wants to see their house. Watching the woman leave with the kid, the patriarch suspects that if their romance is real, the other family will do whatever it takes to keep the girl away from the kid. Interrupting his thoughts, the partner shakes his hand enthusiastically, promising the plan will go to his firm since the kid and the businesswoman are close. Absolutely shocked by the info, the older man wonders who this highly influential woman is and if the kid actually has a relationship with her. Back at the house, Jiang Cheng's mom calls the kid over, suggesting they set up a dinner with some attractive girls a friend recommended. Calmly taking off his shoes, he immediately turns down the offer, saying he has zero patience for blind dates set up by other people. Rejecting his excuse, his mom demands the truth, wanting to know if he's already in a relationship, threatening to lecture him if he's playing multiple women. Caught off guard, the kid rubs the back of his neck and tries to change the subject, arguing the situation is a bit hard to explain right now. Suddenly, his dad jumps out of his chair agitated, declaring he spent the entire night thinking about it and decides to just put it all out there. The MC is lost, trying to figure out what his dad's deal is. Cutting to the chase, the older man asks if the woman he was seeing doesn't have a little girl. Not making a big deal out of it, the kid confirms his dad means Ann Zin and asks what the problem is with her having a daughter. Keeping a strict face, the patriarch lectures the kid, stating that getting mixed up in that situation will only cause problems down the road. The older man immediately adds that the woman seems to have a ton of money and hopes the kid isn't with her just for the bag. Putting his hand to his head, the MC finally realizes his dad thinks he turned into a sugar baby for a rich woman. Finding the misunderstanding hilarious, he asks his parents to sit down and starts telling the story of how he saved the girl during his trip to Thailand. Calmly wrapping up the story, he explains it was all just random chance and there is zero romantic involvement going on. The matriarch sighs in relief, claiming she almost had a heart attack thinking she was going to be a grandma, while the patriarch admits he jumped to conclusions too fast. A while later, a gossip alert pops up online accusing actress Suwon of causing delays on set and showing up with a bruised face. Chilling in his room, Jiang Cheng opens the app to figure out what's going down in the celebrity world. The screen shows leaked footage from the set, where veteran actress Lin Ru ruthlessly attacks Suwon, claiming right after that she did it to make the scene look real. Reading the replies, he notices the viewers are backing the attacker, praising her dedication and flaming the rookie for no reason. With sharp intuition, the rich kid instantly figures out the older actress paid a bot army to control the narrative online. Without waiting, he calls his guard, ordering them to completely annihilate the jealous artist's career, no matter what methods they have to use. An hour later, the boss hits the meetup spot and finds Suwon leaning on a sports car. She quickly praises his grand entrance. Once inside the car, the raid head drops a bold flirt, asking why he's staring at her and joking that the temperature in the room just went up. Catching the hint, the kid tells the girl to drop the jokes and focus on driving so they can get food ASAP. The duo rolls up to a classy spot and gets settled in a private room so they can eat with total privacy. Downing her glass of alcohol, the artist cries uncontrollably, complaining about how vulnerable she is since she doesn't have the power to fight back against the bullying. Face flushed from the booze, she vents all her frustration about being unfairly judged by everyone on the internet. Eating his food calmly, the boss advises the girl not to bow down and to return any insult with the exact same energy in the future. Wiping her face, she thanks him for having her back and mentions the manager already mobilized a team to fix her rep on social media. Intrigued, he asks why she's still shooting minor gigs. She explains they're just the final obligations from her old contract. Right then, his phone lights up with a notification that the attacker's dirty past has already been leaked to the gossip blogs. Typing fast, the MC greenlights the move, but orders them to inject a massive bounty to dig up secrets that will ruin her permanently. Putting his phone in his pocket, he tries to take the drink out of the actress's hands, asking her to slow down before she ends up sick. Completely wasted, Soo-won rejects his help, saying she took too much disrespect lately and just wants to forget her problems in peace. 2 hours pass and the kid has to carry his employee, listening to her mumble nonsense about how she can still drink way more. Back in the resort suite, he drops her on the bed and lets out an exhausted sigh, complaining that she took over during the ride and is still trying to blame him. Rubbing his head to ease the mental fatigue, he hears the girl pretend she just woke up, asking what he's planning to do. Playing along with her act, he says with an ironic laugh that he got amnesia after leaving the restaurant and has no clue how they ended up there. Sliding in seductively, the kid moves across the sheets while she drops hints praising her boss's excellent physique. Face red, the girl admits to herself that she went overboard with the drinks and ended up completely losing control of her own actions. Trying to escape the awkward situation, she complains about a headache and suggests they just sleep to get their energy back. The next morning, looking in the mirror, the girl fixes her hair, shocked by the level of intimacy she allowed last night. During breakfast, she scrolls her phone mindlessly until she lets out a sudden scream of shock at the massive news that just dropped. Staring at her boss, the artist asks in disbelief how the whole internet got flooded with scandals about the veteran actress so fast. Flashing a skeptical smile, she quickly connects the dots and asks if he was the real mastermind behind that media miracle. Sipping his morning drink with class, Jiang Cheng claims responsibility, swearing he'd never let his company's talent suffer in silence. Completely won over by his protection, she sighs in relief, remembering any other agency would have dropped her contract at the first sign of drama. Full of gratitude, the pro swears to grind her hardest on her acting to pay back every penny he invested in her career. Showing a merciless look, the rich guy warns that this is just the start and he'll turn up the pressure until the rival has zero options left. Watching her partner's ruthless energy, the girl is fascinated by how scary easy it is for him to destroy famous artists. In her head, she realizes the young master's capital and network are genuinely terrifying in the industry. Noticing she's spacing out, he jokes, asking what's up with the worried look, hearing the girl ask him not to say crazy things so casually. Flashing a smirk, the MC flirtatiously asks why she's so anxious when he hasn't even started making moves on her yet. Blushing even harder at the bold joke, the artist thinks his ability to say wild things with a straight face is impressive. Far away at the rival company, the director punches his desk, completely losing it as he watches thousands of fans unfollow her in seconds. Shaking with anxiety, the attacker's manager tries to excuse the mess, claiming it's all a coordinated hit by a third party. The director demands to know what the hell happened on set yesterday and asks why she'd attack a random extra for no reason. Crying dramatically, Lin-Ru tries to defend herself, swearing the rookie is a nobody who'd never have the resources to cause this much damage. Acting sketchy, the veteran actress claims the drama actually helps promote the project, convincing her boss that bad press still pulls viewers. Easing the tension a bit, the director says he already dropped funds to bury the story, but orders the pro to behave. Just then, an assistant walks into the office and whispers that the attacks were bankrolled by the owner of the city's new talent agency. The director jumps out of his chair instantly, totally shook finding out the rival dropped 20 million in bounties to ruin them. Taken over by terror, the guy points his finger in Lin-Ru's face, demanding to know if she scammed or insulted this mysterious powerhouse in the past. Muttering to herself, the woman admits she used plenty of execs to climb the industry ladder, but has no clue who this new rich guy is. Regaining his balance, the boss orders her to jog her memory and warns that this aggressive payback is definitely tied to the Soo-won incident. The assistant confirms the theory, revealing the actress signed a deal with the new firm and is already booked as the lead in some crazy expensive projects. Panicking over her own stupidity, the attacker cries, trying to explain she just wanted to put the new girl down on set, having no idea who was really backing her. Grabbing her boss's arm, she begs for a bailout, but the exec freaks out remembering the $1 million penalties they'll have to pay if she tanks the company. The Heavenly King director orders them to match the rival's bounty up to 25 million to shield his star Lin-Ru. He then warns Lin-Ru that this is her absolute last chance, since her screw-up blew a massive hole in the company's budget. Finding out the rival firm is throwing heavy cash around, the MC's partner asks if it's too early to hit back. Jiang Cheng decides to raise the payback budget straight to 100 million just to completely wipe out the other company. Eating her food, rookie artist Soo-won almost chokes hearing the unreal amount her boss plans to invest. Right then, the driver anxiously brings up that it's way too much money for an agency that just opened its doors. Jiang Cheng calmly explains this fortune will serve as the perfect flex to show off their power. With the strategy of marking his territory, the kid guarantees everyone in the city will remember his name and the firm's. Agreeing with the bold move, the woman preps to post the official updates using the device. Meanwhile, at the club, the young millionaires are shocked talking about the new firm that just dropped 100 million at once. One of the guys asks in disbelief who this Jiang Cheng is that has everyone talking so much. His buddy jogs his memory, mentioning the kid blew over 50 million at the auction yesterday. Amazed that the new 18-year-old student just proved he's a ruthless player in the local corporate game. Asked if the artist was the millionaire's girl, the guy says no, explaining she's just an innocent new hire. Finding the MC super intriguing, the hair suggests setting up a friendly meetup so they can all kick it together. During the rivals meeting, director Kai announces it's impossible to match the 100 million and they need to cut their losses. He then states Lin Ru will tank the contract penalty and suggests a degrading job if she can't pull the cash together. Screaming at the attacker who's crying in despair, the boss asks why she's putting on a show only now that things are closing in. Hiding her crying face, the artist begs not to be fired and swears she'll apologize to Suwon on her knees. Director Kai agrees the woman needs to beg and orders his team to get Jiang Cheng's number so they can try to negotiate. The next day, the MC's dad celebrates the success of a new real estate project and offers to buy the kid a gift. Rolling up to the luxury car dealership, the family is warmly greeted by a super prepared sales rep. But the patriarch gets a bit confused when he notices all the staff's dedication seems focused entirely on the 18-year-old kid. Jiang Cheng immediately hugs his dad, revealing this trip is actually a massive early birthday gift for him. With that, the employee walks up hyped, calling the patriarch over to pull the cover off and reveal his spectacular new machine. The older man is left totally speechless, eyes wide open as he sees the gorgeous car his son bought for him. Laughing, his mom jokes, calling the kid bold for spoiling her husband with such a high-end luxury gift. The head of the family admits he planned to get the kid a basic car, but accepts the gift and immediately suggests taking it for a spin. Jiang Cheng smiles to himself, knowing his dad would lose his mind even more if he knew he owned way more expensive whips. Capitalizing on the family's joy, the pro adjusts the camera and asks everyone to strike a nice pose for a picture. The picture of the smiling family becomes a perfect memory of that unique moment inside the dealership. Getting an emergency text from Zhou Ying changing their plans, the kid tells his parents he needs to fly to Shanghai tomorrow. Annoyed by the sudden trip, his dad complains about not getting to enjoy the new car with the kid tomorrow. But his mom quickly steps in, arguing the kid is an adult now and ordering her husband to just deal with it without making a scene. Finding it funny, the MC realizes the matriarch still has absolute control over the decisions in the house. The next day, walking through airport security, he's chilling when he spots his classmate's familiar silhouette. Noticing the girl's suitcase looks super heavy, the kid walks up fast and offers to carry her bags. Zhou Ying turns around shocked to see her classmate, asking why he's on this exact last-minute flight. Grabbing her bags easily, Jiang Cheng jokes that he couldn't stand being away from her. The girl blushes and tries to hide it, while her affinity score shoots up on the system UI. Jiang Cheng explains he has some business to handle in the city and plans to use this trip to win her over for real. Asked why he's staring at her so much, he drops a direct flirt, saying she looks absolutely stunning. Embarrassed by the kid's bold flirt, the girl decides to speed up so can get to the boarding gate faster. Settled in their seats, he notices his partner seems nervous about takeoff and asks what's wrong. Zhou Ying admits she's always been terrified of flying, earning some protective support from the guy. Feeling way safer, she thanks the kid for being caring while her face turns beet red. Jiang Cheng takes advantage of the closeness to say her name, leaning in slowly to kiss her without a doubt. They both give into a deep, passionate kiss, totally ignoring the fact that they're surrounded by people on the plane. A flight attendant walks by handing out warm towels and gets super awkward catching the couple making out. Dying of embarrassment, the girl complains that anyone could have seen them, but he laughs it off, saying kissing on a plane isn't illegal. Using the excuse of feeling dizzy to escape his teasing, the girl leans on his arm to fall asleep under his protective watch. In Shanghai, he insists on going with her, but the model turns him down to save him from getting stuck in traffic. The girl quietly thinks their connection is still super fresh, and she needs time to process everything that happened on the flight. Getting into her rental car, the girl suggests setting up a dinner date later and asks him to text her the second he gets to the resort. Watching the car pull away, the MC figures he might have rushed things a bit and decides to give it time to flow naturally. Heading back to his luxury suite, the kid gets a warm welcome from the attentive manager Wang Yoyan at the door. Kid accepts the hot bath she set up and notices the woman is acting super distant today. While massaging his back, she remembers the cash she got and complains about catching feelings for a guy so many other girls want. The bathroom fills with hot steam while she shows off of her flawless body, making it obvious she's super attracted to the kid. Willing to settle for even a short fling, the gorgeous woman decides to fully give in to her feelings for him. Wang Yuan confesses that working here the last few days has been unbearable for her. The manager shows she's completely captivated by Jiang Cheng's traits while they share an intimate moment. Asking why she's in such a rush, Wang Yuan reminds him the night just started and suggests the kid chill. The MC asks if she's acting like this because she's burned out, making the manager panic at his suggestion. Wang Yuan clarifies she didn't mean it like that, begging for forgiveness and recommending the kid just rest. The manager lets out a deep sigh of satisfaction as the romantic vibe takes over the room they're in. At noon the next day, Wang Yuan checks her phone and panics because she overslept so late. She blames herself for slacking on her job, stressing about the excuses she'll have to give her coworkers. Still in bed, she stares at Jiang Cheng sleeping and thinks about how intense last night was. The manager decides she needs to get up fast to prep lunch, trying hard to hide how stressed the situation makes her. She asks herself why she's so nervous and admits her only job is to serve the guest. Seeing Jiang Cheng move in bed, Wang Yuan insists he shouldn't stress about food right now and suggests they keep resting. She admits she's scared someone might catch them together, terrified of the fallout it could cause. The kid fires back, asking what the problem is with sharing a bed since she's his girl. Wang Yuan wonders about their actual relationship status, asking if she's already considered his official girlfriend. Validating the manager's doubts, Jiang Cheng swears she's already his partner and states he wouldn't be holding her like this if she wasn't. The woman admits she knows the kid has other women, asking only that he doesn't throw her away while she serves other people in the future. The intimate moment is suddenly cut short by a text notification saying the guest car just arrived at the resort lobby. Getting out of bed super calm, the MC orders the woman to head to the entrance and handle the delivery of the imported car before anything else. Outside the hotel, the delivery crew greets the boss, asking for his signature to confirm the supercar drop-off. Opening the transport truck, the workers are absolutely mesmerized by the sports car's insane design. The silver whip pulls interested looks from everyone walking by, who start gossiping about the custom plate. Away from the scene, the resort director gets stuck in traffic and asks why there's so much chaos blocking the gate. The driver explains the mess is because of a luxury car delivery for the young master staying with them. Losing his patience with the roadblock, the director orders his employee to make the guest move the car right now. The assistant swallows hard, remembering the director himself ordered them to give this rich client absolute priority and top-tier service. Seeing the employee frozen at the gate, the director asks what the problem is with following a basic order. Sweating from fear, the assistant explains the car belongs to the mystery millionaire who burns crazy cash, leaving his boss absolutely stunned. Flipping his attitude in a split second, the director gives a nervous laugh and swears there's no problem at all blocking the street for the client. Walking up to the VIP guest, the director fakes a polite smile, asking if he needs any help with his new ride. Getting straight to the point, Jiang Cheng says he needs a super flashy local plate and asks if the exec has the connections to make it happen. The guy agrees instantly, remembering a guest won a custom plate in a recent bidding war and promises to try and cut a deal with her. Sitting in the driver's seat of his new sports car, the MC figures a plate from an auction must look pretty boss. An hour later, the director sends the coordinates to a fancy restaurant, confirming the plate owner is already waiting there. Walking through the classy restaurant, the kid meets up with the director, who walks him to the private business room. Entering the VIP room, the kid sees a stunning woman and activates the system UI to scan her stats. The digital screen pops up showing the name Chen Xier and indicating her loyalty score is totally maxed out. Reading the floating data, the rich guy realizes the pro has an unbreakable work ethic dedicated strictly to him. Breaking the silence, the resort director greets the exec politely to kick off the introductions. Jumping out of her chair, the gorgeous manager ignores the other guy and asks in shock why the young master is there. The surprise meetup, the director is completely lost, unable to understand why they're so close. Leaning toward the kid, the woman asks seductively if he somehow forgot about his duties at his own finance company. Connecting the dots instantly, the MC remembers the girl is the admin assigned by the system to run the firm. Pouting, the exec crosses her arms, complaining that her boss totally abandoned her this whole time. Being super bold, he gives his coworker a light pat, excusing himself by saying he just had blind faith in her flawless performance. Watching with his jaw dropped, the director goes into shock seeing the famous, tough, as nails manager accepting that kind of bold touching. The guy remembers the woman as an icon in the finance world, always turning down multi-million-dollar offers from massive global corps. Seeing the girl submit totally to the rookie, the director figures the young master's influence and power are genuinely terrifying. Sitting at the table full of food, the director admits he never imagined introducing his own employee to her literal boss. Raising his glass, the director calls for a toast, praising the kid's skill in building a corporate empire at such a young age. Keeping his usual chill, the MC tells the guest to relax and enjoy the food without being so stiff. Switching the topic to business, the beautiful exec asks if the boss had a chance to review the files on their growing profits. The rich kid swallows hard, remembering he spent the whole night partying and ignored the insane returns she pulled in this week. Faking a super professional vibe, he praises the team's grind and swears he'll look at the paperwork closely as soon as he gets home. Knowing her boss's chill reputation, the admin takes the excuse with confidence and confirms she'll handle all the operations herself. Changing the subject, the MC brings up the exclusive license plate the director mentioned earlier today. Finding the twist of fate funny, the director realizes his role as a middleman was completely useless for this business meeting. The exec admits she didn't want to part with the precious item, but says she'll gladly gift it just to keep her boss happy. Getting super close to him, the girl uses her charm, asking her boss to show up at the office way more often in the future. 2 hours later, at the entrance of a spectacular mansion, the crew of millionaire friends greets the kid, hyping up the car's flashy new plate. Leaning on the silver luxury car, one of the guys points out how perfectly the standout plate matches their friend's vibe. Flexing his charm, the MC jokes that he got the piece as a gift from a gorgeous woman who refused to take his money. Playing along, his buddy dares the rich kid to use that same riz to get a discount from the owner of this private art space. Walking to the mansion door, another guy in the group whispers that the owner is pretty young but already has a kid to take care of. The friend asks if his charm will actually work on a focused single mom, daring the MC to prove his game right there. Being sarcastic, Jiang Cheng tells the guys to drop the jokes, arguing his sensitive stomach prefers the simpler things in life. Letting out a loud laugh, the blonde rich kid claps back, saying the new billionaire on the block should be the one funding the rest of the friend group. Walking up the steps to the luxury showroom, the guys gossip about the jewelry collector's rep and get their hopes up. A dressed-up employee greets the clients politely, saying the owner is on her way and asks them to wait in the main hall. Chilling in the elegant room, a polite maid offers glasses and fancy snacks to the VIP guests. Checking out the glass cases, one of the guys excitedly points at an incredible jewel with blue details shining under the light. Resting in the comfy chair, the MC scans the room, realizing all the gems on display are absolute top-tier quality. Talking about the insane price tags, the rich kids check out the $1 million accessories and complain they don't have the funds to buy them all. Joking around, the buddy says rocking a piece that expensive to a party will pull more gold diggers than they know how to handle. Sitting in his chair looking serious, the blonde kid scolds the group, claiming he only buys accessories to check the time with class. Finding the weak excuse hilarious, the young master says he'll buy the pricey item to enjoy his youth if his buddy backs out of the deal. Dropping the joke, the well-dressed rich guy confides he's eyeing a valuable piece with a perpetual calendar that really caught his attention. Drinking straight from the bottle, the MC is shocked to realize the items his buddy wants cost over 10 million each. Noticing the rich kid's interest, the friend points out Jiang Cheng wants to steal the spotlight by buying the craziest piece in the catalog. Asking the employee if the item is for sale, the kid is bummed to hear the jewel is strictly part of the owner's private collection. Staring at the illuminated display, the MC is absolutely mesmerized by the dark, boss aesthetic of the accessory that isn't for sale. Trying to cheer up the rookie, his buddy promises they can come back another time to try and negotiate for it. Right then, the sound of heels echoes down the long hallway, signaling the arrival of a super classy boss woman. Bowing with total respect, the employee greets the owner and asks if she needs any help handling the guests. Rocking a stunning black outfit, businesswoman and Zin apologizes for being late due to traffic and asks if the clients like the displays. The rich kid starts shamelessly glazing the host, praising her looks and unmatched presence. Staring wide-eyed at the woman who just walked in, the MC goes into shock, recognizing the mom of the little girl he saved earlier. Surprised by the random run-in, the businesswoman says the kid's name and asks why he's inside her art gallery. Watching their intense eye contact, the blonde friend is totally lost, trying to figure out where these two know each other from. Turning on the charm, the young master admits he had no idea this was her business, while she asks how he traveled between cities so fast. Explaining the random coincidence, and Sin says she got bored and caught a flight yesterday, warning him that little Annie won't stop asking about him. The rich buddy is absolutely floored seeing that the exec and the MC already had history. Right then, the gallery owner mentions she heard he liked the standout piece, listening as the kid confirms he was just admiring it since it wasn't for sale. Owing politeness, the woman swears the kid's taste is all that matters and completely waves off the need for any payment. Without hesitating, she orders the employee to go grab the rare watch right now to give it to the young master as a gift. The buddy swallows hard, almost having a heart attack watching an item worth over 10 million being handed out for free like that. Pissed at the favoritism, the hare complains she always sets a million rules to sell them anything, but gives away a valuable piece to the kid for nothing. Stepping closer to the MC, and Sin swears he's special, and that she'd hand over her entire collection to him if he wanted it. The friends go into a total panic, unable to process the level of closeness and surreal generosity they just witnessed. Hustling back, the employee quietly confirms exactly which version caught the VIP client's eye. The owner says she'll grab it herself, but Jiang Cheng rejects the gift, demanding to pay market price if they're going to do business. Confused by the rejection, the woman asks why they're being so formal, hearing the kid repeat that he doesn't take handouts that big. Seeing his point, the businesswoman agrees to the sale and invites him to check out the rest of her private collection in the back. All collector etiquette rules, the nosy buddy desperately asks to tag along for the VIP tour. The owner agrees easily and invites the whole group to follow her down the mansion's halls. Relieved he didn't get chewed out, the hare celebrates in his head how lucky he was to score the invite. Reaching a reinforced door, the owner presses her finger to the biometric scanner to unlock the max security vault. The heavy door opens with a loud clank, revealing the hidden hallway as she leads the guests inside. Fascinated by the setup, the buddy is amazed that the security here easily rivals major banks. Walking down the stairs, and Sin asks about Jiang Cheng's guards, and he apologizes, explaining it's just his standard security protocol. At the back of the secret room full of glowing cases, the businesswoman tells everyone to chill and check out her most expensive pieces. Scanning the cases closely, the buddy is blown away finding dozens of exclusive enameled jewels with priceless tags. Absolutely hyped, the rich kid points out legendary watches worn in massive Hollywood movies, amazed by how rare they are. Asking sweetly, the host wants to know if he liked any other pieces, but the kid decides to stick with his first choice, so he doesn't overstep. In her head, the woman decides not to force the gift in front of everyone and plots to surprise him with it on a special occasion later. 30 minutes later, the buddy thanks her for the learning experience, hearing the MC joke that he should chase girls instead if he wants real-world experience. Embarrassed by the bold joke, the friend looks away fast and gets defensive, claiming he's not into that kind of stuff. Curious about the gossip, the hare whispers asking if there's something going on between the MC and the young mom, getting an instant no from the kid. Annoyed, the rich kid thinks it's crazy they're that close after only 3 meetups and admits he's dying of jealousy seeing such a flawless woman into his friend. Killing his buddy's delusion, Jiang Cheng calmly clarifies they only got close because the businesswoman's kid really liked him. Letting out a loud laugh, the buddy accuses the kid of using a little girl to spit game at her mom, getting immediately shut down by the MC. Coming back with the box, and Sin gives $1 million discount on the accessory, and the kid takes the deal instantly, asking her to help him put it on. Super gently, the businesswoman adjusts the strap on the client's wrist while he praises the perfect fit and her careful touch. The lack of personal space creates an incredibly intimate, tension-filled vibe right in the middle of the showroom. Watching from afar, the rich kids whisper in shock at the host's flirty vibe, hyping up their buddy's insane riz. Confirming the $1 million wire on his phone, the young master thanks her for having them and announces the crew is heading out. Outside the mansion, the nosy hare pulls the group's old rule, demanding the MC pay for the next spot since he spent the most today. Checking the UI for rewards, Jiang Cheng agrees to foot the bill and lets his buddies pick the spot. They quickly suggest a newly opened spa. Full of ulterior motives, the guys complain about muscle fatigue, making it obvious they expect a lot more than just a basic massage. Playing along with the joke, the MC fakes back pain too and tells everyone to stop stalling and head to the new spot. Arriving at the luxury spa, the group is greeted by a classy manager who brings out several gorgeous employees ready to cater to the guests' every wish. Pushing the MC to the front, the buddy demands VIP service, swearing the millionaire rookie gets absolute priority to pick the best girl tonight. The manager asks which beauty caught the young master's eye, while the virtual system quietly scans the girl's stats. Checking the privacy scores on the floating screen, the kid instantly sees that only one of the rookies has a completely spotless history. Without a doubt, he points straight at the girl with short hair, locking in the perfect choice with the AI's help. Clapping her hands, the manager orders the chosen employee to go serve the millionaire client right now with maximum dedication. The buddy calls the MC to the VIP section, suggesting they grab some food before they kick off any other activities. Settled at the packed table, the rich kids get glazed by the girls, while the MC's partner notices he's a bit tense and tries hard to help him relax. The fun gets interrupted by a call from influencer Kiao Mei, who uses a super cute tone admitting she's missing her boss a lot. Apologizing to the driver, the kid lies about a corporate event to push the meetup back, while his buddy next to him jokes, asking if it was his girlfriend demanding attention. Right after, the phone rings again with the actress demanding answers out of jealousy, forcing the millionaire to spin another lie about annoying clients. Keeping the artist happy, he promises to visit her at the office tomorrow, flirtingly ordering her to be extremely ready for him. Catching the change in his voice, the buddy figures out it's a different girl on the line and suggests, betting with the group on how many girls will call tonight. As the phone vibrates for the third time, the MC decides to decline the new call, declaring he won't let his phone ruin the boys' night out. Sipping his drink, the buddy analyzes the partner's bold moves and mentally concludes the young master is a legit, ruthless player. Shook by his crisis management, another guy praises the kid's terrifying ability to juggle so many different women without getting caught. Wrapped up with his girl, the older guy laughs, telling the rookie to pace himself so he doesn't burn out from such a heavy rotation later on. With a bold hand on the employee's thigh, the rich kid complains about getting older, arguing that performance and stamina drop off a cliff as the years go by. Playing along, the MC bounces the joke back, asking the veteran for some pro tips, who then starts flexing his own unbreakable stamina. Absolutely hyped, the veteran swears he'll send a truckload of herbal supplements to make sure the kid's health and energy stay maxed out for a long time. Changing the subject, the nosy buddy asks why the MC ruined artist Lin Ru's career by dropping so many millions, hinting at some cheating drama. Shocked by the baseless gossip, the kid denies any romantic connection, stating he's never been cheated on and hasn't even met that actress in person. Connecting the dots, the buddy figures the attacker must have insulted one of the rich kid's girls to catch a financial hit that massive. Drinking his liquor, the millionaire half confirms the theory while his buddy hypes up the insane romance of burning a fortune over a woman. Teasing the employee, the rich kid tells her she got super blessed tonight and advises her to take really good care of the money god. 20 minutes later in the private room, the MC notices his partner's nerves and suggests they enjoy a chill bath first to break the ice. Taking his clothes off calmly, he watches the employee set the water temp in the shower, looking super unsure of herself. Under the water, the girl turns beet red and gets terrified seeing the guest's insane physique, scared she won't be able to satisfy him. Noticing the girl is zoning out hard, the young master grabs her attention, asking why she's just frozen staring at him. Shaking, the employee admits she only took this job because she desperately needs the bag to pay for her sick grandma's medical bills. Pulling the girl by the waist confidently, the kid praises her honorable hustle, sacrificing herself to keep her family healthy. Swearing he'll treat her like a queen tonight, the MC leans in and lands a passionate kiss under the hot shower water. The next morning, the girl wakes up under the sheets in an empty room, wondering a bit sadly if the nice guest already left the spa. Turning her head to the empty pillow, she's shocked to find a black bank card left on purpose next to a piece of paper. Reading the get well note for her grandma along with the PIN code for 100 grand, the employee covers her mouth, crying from pure emotion and gratitude toward the kid. Meanwhile, the MC waits patiently for the elevator in the hallway of the commercial building. Xiaoxiao walks up turning on the charm and greets him super enthusiastically. Actress Suwon also shows up and jokes that he was scared of getting caught on camera walking the halls. Finding it funny, he asks if he really got that famous lately. The manager promises all this clout is thanks to the boost he gave them, putting them all in the spotlight. Walking side by side, she points out he needs to be more confident and invites him to hit her up if he misses her. In the lobby, the blonde walks up looking flirty and asks how the boss ended up there. Jiang Cheng casually explains he just bumped into the other employee by accident in the elevator. Right then, the manager tells them to make themselves at home and asks them to call her if they need anything. The other employees whisper in the corners, mesmerized by the kid's looks and guessing if he's some new upcoming talent. Walking into the workspace, the MC praises the modern design, noticing how much care management put into the setup. The artist bows, serving a hot drink, and hopes the kid likes the vibe of the place. Sipping the tea, he praises the taste, but points out that young people these days still prefer milk tea. Instantly, Suwon offers to run downstairs and grab his favorite drink right away. Pulling the girl close boldly, he tells her there's no need to go through all that trouble since he's got something way better right here. 30 minutes later, the raidhead leaves the room fixing her clothes, saying she's gonna go grab some important files. Walking through the door, she promises it won't take long to sort out the pending paperwork. Bumping into the manager on the way, Soo-won lies, saying she drank tea with the boss and ended up smudging her makeup on the cup. Super suspicious, Yu Xiaoxiao wipes her partner's face, noticing she seemed pretty spaced out after the closed-door meeting. Faking embarrassment over the mistake, the artist rushes off, claiming she needs to fix her makeup in the restroom. The manager watches her partner leave, getting a gut feeling that something super weird is going on in there. Staring at her own hand, she finds the texture of what she just wiped off the girl's face pretty weird. Catching a distinct smell, the woman asks herself what the heck those two were doing inside the room. Walking into the main room right after, she excuses herself and asks if the boss is annoyed by her being there. Jiang Cheng tells the employee to make herself comfortable, while she checks out how insanely classy the new corporate space looks. Catching her questioning look, he asks mockingly if she's jealous of her coworker. Determined not to take an L, Yu Xiaoxiao steps behind his chair, offering a special message she learned recently. Squeezing the kid's shoulders, she asks if the pressure is good, hearing him ask her to just go a little harder. Doing what he asked, the woman puts in the effort and gets honest praise from the boss, who is completely relaxed. A few minutes later, she lets out a surprised sigh, realizing the young master literally fell asleep from how comfy he was. Coming back to the room with the files, Soo-won asks why the boss is knocked out so hard. Trying to wake him up gently, she shakes the kid's arm, warning him the manager is back in the room. Waking up a bit dazed, he admits he's exhausted, while the blonde reminds him they still have business stuff to handle. Not wanting to ruin the workflow, Yu Xiaoxiao says a polite goodbye and lets the two of them be alone again. Walking down the hall, the woman feels a bit stupid for trying to snoop on their privacy like that. 2 hours pass and the MC finishes signing the paperwork, asking if there's anything else pending. Using a playful tone, the artist gives her man a light pinch, asking if there are other women draining his energy. Flashing a provocative look, she demands to know how many other girls are part of the young master's crazy rotation. Being completely honest, he admits there are 2 more, making the girl curious about who they are. Rich guy explains she already knows the hotel manager and confesses the third is a rookie content creator. Catching a bit of jealousy, Soo-won asks if the third one is hotter, hearing him promise she'll always have a VIP spot, since she was the first. Happy with the sweet answer, the artist uses her charm, asking if he can actually handle that many girls at once. Pulling the girl by the waist intensely, he asks boldly if she needs more proof of his stamina. Challenging her partner, she licks her lips and warns she's gonna drain all his energy, so there's nothing left for the others. 4 hours later, Jiang Cheng speeds down the street in his car, feeling exhausted and starving after the massive hookup. Parking the sports car on a humble street, the MC asks the owner of a small food stall if it's cool to leave his whip nearby. Starving, he orders a massive plate of oyster and kidney skewers to get his energy back. Watching him, the stall's regulars can tell from his luxury fit and the huge amount of food that the kid had a really exhausting day. One of the older guys laughs, remembering his own youth and commenting on how crazy young people's stamina is. Suddenly, a massive crash echoes down the street, and the stall owner panics, warning him his luxury car just got hit. Keeping a scary level of calm, Jiang Cheng just tells the cook not to stress and to finish making his food fast. The customers are shook, totally mind-blown seeing the kid care more about his plate of food than his wrecked car. The stall owner points the millionaire toward the guy who caused the crash, who walks over looking super embarrassed. Looking very classy, the unknown guy puts his hands together and begs for forgiveness, explaining he had to swerve to avoid a dog on the road. Eating his barbecue peacefully, the MC says staying in one piece is what matters and decides to go check the damage. Checking the bent metal plates, he calms the driver down, saying the damage is minor and telling him to just call his insurance. The elegant guy is baffled by the kid's chill vibe, figuring he must belong to a super powerful and influential family. Taking the blame, the guilty guy says he already called his people to handle it and agrees to grab food together. As they sit at the plastic table, a shout calls out the newcomer's name in the middle of the street. A guy with bleached hair walks up laughing at the crash, roasting his buddy for having zero skills behind the wheel. Letting out a frustrated sigh, Ki-yeon regrets wrecking the supercar his sister finally let him borrow. Getting his manners back, the guy who caused the crash introduces his new buddy Jiang Cheng to the blonde guy who just showed up. The bleached guy introduces himself as Wang, greeting the MC with max respect once he realizes how famous the young master is. Downplaying the crash, Wang promises to handle all the boring paperwork in the morning and invites the group to get drinks. Super friendly, the platinum-haired hair asks where the MC is heading and offers him a ride. Jiang Cheng politely declines, saying his personal driver is already on the way and agreeing to link up at the bar later. Right then, manager Wang Yoyan shows up looking gorgeous on the street, letting him know the boss's car is ready to roll. Acting shy and seductive, the beautiful woman walks up apologizing for not wanting to interrupt the young master's street dinner. Catching a toxic scent, he breaks the ice by praising the strong perfume the employee decided to wear tonight. Playing along, she names the spicy brand and asks with ulterior motives if the scent really makes people addicted. Pulling the manager closer, the rich kid uses his charm, asking what he's supposed to do if he ends up completely hooked on her. Face red, Wang Yoyan admits in a cute voice that this was exactly what she was trying to do. The food stall customers watch the whole thing completely floored, amazed by the kid's energy heading straight into another romantic link. Up. Leaning on her partner's chest, the manager demands he keep his promise to face the consequences of seducing her like that. In the backseat of the car, he massages the employee's thigh, creating a spicy vibe that makes the hired driver totally awkward. The MC mentions he's still young, and the system's buffs are his saving grace, since he would have destroyed his own life if he were a normal guy. Just then, his phone pings with a text from Zhou Ying asking if he's free to grab food. Jiang Cheng replies super fast saying he's down, and tells her he'll meet her there. When they meet up, the kid says there's no need to hit up expensive stores, and they can just walk around while they wait for the food. Zhou Ying asks if he wants to buy a bag, but the MC claps back saying he didn't invite her out just to shower her with gifts. Right then, he calms the girl down, telling her she doesn't need to see it as a burden since it's normal for couples, and that rejecting stuff would just make them feel like strangers. The model looks away, clearly thinking hard about what he just said. He suggests they check out a specific store. Jiang Cheng asks the sales rep to bring out 2 pairs of the brand new drops that just came in. The girl insists they don't need to spend that much and warns that if he keeps acting like this, she's just gonna leave. The MC explains the cash back card only activates if the bill hits 500 grand, but figures it's not worth pushing it and making Zhou Ying uncomfortable. So, he respects the girl's boundaries and just finishes buying the bag. Jiang Cheng says they're heading straight to the hot pot spot upstairs, swearing it's the most traditional place in the city, and she'll love the vibe. The model agrees with his pick and follows him. When they get there, the MC sees Qiao Yinyan eating hot pot alone while streaming, surprised by how pretty she looks. The kid walks up to the table and asks if she recognizes him, while the streamer tries hard to keep her cover so she doesn't dox herself to her chat. Qiao Yinyan fakes being shocked by the random meetup, playing it super cool when she notices the MC has a +1. Jiang Cheng steps closer to her, noticing the girl is still focused on her stream. The content creator then tells her chat something came up and she's ending the stream early, promising to be back ASAP. Qiao Yinyan asks who the girl with him is, while the MC sets the stage for introductions. She introduces herself properly, claiming to be Jiang Cheng's classmate, trying hard to keep her cool. The MC watches Zhou Ying respond, noticing she seems a bit unsure about the other girl, but decides to stay quiet to avoid drama. The influencer introduces herself as Qiao Yinyan. He watches them interact, noticing the whole vibe is getting pretty weird. Qiao Yinyan suggests the couple join her, arguing she's alone and there's no problem sharing the table. The MC watches them, thinking the timing is crazy, while the model seems hesitant to say yes, thinking it'd make things super awkward. The influencer insists it's totally fine, saying she rarely meets a girl as pretty as Zhou Ying and would love to be friends. Qiao Yinyan waves the waiter over to order extra food, trying to make the vibe more welcoming for them. Jiang Cheng asks the girl what she thinks, while the model seems to cave because the other girl is being so pushy. She notices the expensive watch on the MC's wrist and says she's never seen that design before, asking if it's from some luxury brand. The MC thinks to himself that wherever there are women, some kind of drama or random event is bound to pop off. Zhou Ying seems to be processing what was said, still looking a bit suspicious about the whole thing. Jiang Cheng dodges the watch topic, claiming it's just a basic kid's watch worth a little over $1,000, trying hard to downplay the real price. The streamer highly doubts his story, noticing from the flawless finish that it's definitely a high-end piece, not a kid's toy. She's mesmerized by the details, realizing the jewel is actually a luxury piece from Richard Lale, making her even more curious about the kid. Zhou Ying mentions she's eaten there before and the flavor is super authentic, suggesting the MC try it too. The girl says it's no hassle and she can serve herself, keeping up her polite act. Qiao Yinyan takes the chance to ask how they met. Zhou Ying gives a quick rundown, saying they were in the same class in high school. She listens closely while the MC just keeps eating. The kid notices something happening under the table, feeling an accidental touch. The girls keep talking while he tries to process what's going on between them right now. Qiao Yinyan decides to make a game out of it, teasing the MC with her toes under the table. He feels her getting closer and tries hard to keep a straight face so he doesn't look sus. The streamer keeps up the bold move, loving the challenge of the MC not reacting at all. She notices the kid is staying chill, which just makes the lunch even more fun for her. The guy leans into the flirt, deciding to press back harder under the table. He matches her energy, proving he's not intimidated by her games. Qiao Yinyan lets out a laugh, finding the deadpan face he's holding while teasing her hilarious. She says the kid seems like a super responsible, polite guy, making the model smile without suspecting a thing. The MC warns that if the meat boils too long, it'll lose its flavor, trying to change the subject. She smiles, happy to meeting new people in such a chill vibe. The MC decides it's time to end the games, shooting a hard look at the influencer. She gets the silent memo, but keeps smiling, clearly enjoying the little cat and mouse game they just started. The MC stands up, saying he's going to the restroom to get some space and drop the tension. He looks at the two girls, who seem to be getting along perfectly, making sure his strategy is working. Jiang Cheng watches the scene, thinking he needs more time to analyze everything carefully. He decides it's the perfect time to run a deep scan on their stats and make sure everything is good. The kid walks away while Zhou Ying and Qiao Yinyan keep chatting about random stuff. He thinks it's crazy how fast the two women became friends, considering they literally just met. Jiang Cheng wonders how they swapped numbers so fast, thinking the whole situation is hilariously ironic. The MC decides it's time to be way more careful so he doesn't ruin the dynamic they just built. He watches from a distance, realizing things could go south fast if he doesn't handle this right. The kid notices the vibe is getting weirder and decides it's best to head back ASAP. He walks back, ready to take control of the situation before Zhou Ying starts getting suspicious about her chat with the streamer. The kid walks up, noticing the club vibe is getting crazier as the night goes on. He gets a super hype welcome from some friends, who offer him a spot in a prime VIP section. The MC realizes the people waiting for him are heavy hitters, and decides he deserves to be treated like royalty by all of them. The club owner walks up to him, asking how he can help the young master enjoy the party. He hears people gossiping around him, wondering who this unknown VIP is that never showed up here before. Jiang Cheng notices the clout chasing and keeps a super confident aura, knowing his entrance is making waves. The MC orders them to bring out the absolute best stuff the club has, wanting to make an epic statement. He watches the girls flocking around him, completely seduced by his status and boss energy. The staff serves the drinks and snacks, while the crowd claps for the kid's massive wealth flex. Jiang Cheng keeps a low-key smirk, knowing this is just the first of many nights where he'll be the main event. Back to the party, the blonde buddy suggests raising their glasses, telling the MC to enjoy the night, and Jiang Cheng agrees instantly, raising his drink. Right then, a drop. Dead gorgeous woman introduces herself as Jenny and offers to pour him a drink. The millionaire quickly praises her flawless language skills, joking that you can barely tell she wasn't born here. The blonde woman explains she has Chinese roots on her mom's side and complains about having to grind for a decade just to get her residency papers. Intrigued, the kid asks what she does for a living. Flashing a charming smile, Jenny says she currently pays her bills by modeling. Checking out her looks, the MC points out she has massive potential to blow up as a content creator online. Doubting it, Jenny asks if locals would even vibe with her aesthetic. Oozing confidence, the rich kid swears the virtual space is different, stating she just needs to say what people want to hear, and the views and money will roll in fast. The model admits she posts casual vlogs but has zero audience and can't make a living off it, figuring her daily life isn't interesting enough. Sipping his grape drink, Jiang Cheng is brutally honest, saying her daily routine is completely irrelevant to making it big. He explains she just needs to make videos hyping up the country, and the fans and cash will flood her bank account, regardless of her background or skin color. Completely mind blown by how easy and foolproof the strat is, the blonde girl covers her mouth asking if that's actually true. Listening in, the bleached hair buddy butts in, asking if the MC is planning to step into the influencer management game too. Jiang Cheng shoots down wanting to actually do the job, but admits the insane amount of money flowing through that industry has his attention. The millionaire buddy raises his glass hyped up and asks the young master to drop more of his business knowledge. Breaking down his vision, the kid points out the industry needs direction, guessing a dedicated app would print ungodly amounts of money. The blonde guy assumes his buddy wants to build a massive corporation, but Jiang Cheng tosses the idea, saying a year's profit is way too small for his level of greed. Holding his drink, Jiang Cheng smirks because he knows the cheat code for the future, how short-form content is going to absolutely dominate in the next 4 years. A super detailed memory flashes in his head, showing the astronomical cash injections that are about to hit the market. Remembering the virtual mega corp hit a 400 billion valuation, the MC swears to himself he won't let a bag like that slip away. Further away, chilling with a girl, a buddy complains that the two older guys are just whispering about business, killing the vibe for the women there. The blonde buddy agrees with the complaint and tells the rich guy he wouldn't even understand what they're plotting anyway. Ignoring the shade, the young master just tells his friend to keep the chat light and chill. Changing the vibe, the blonde guy suggests killing the boring corporate talk and focusing entirely on finishing all the alcohol. The crew raises their glasses for a hype toast, swearing nobody is going home until they're all completely wasted. 2 hours pass, and the platinum-haired buddy invites Jiang Cheng to head to the beach and rent a luxury suite to party with the girls. The panel drops model Jenny's stats, and the rich guy checks her scores, silently comparing the girls there to the ones he's already linked with. One of the girls declines the invite to keep partying and says she already called an Uber to get home safe. Followed by the MC, the blonde girl thanks him for the advice and uses her charm, asking him to chat more next time. Saying a polite goodbye, Jiang Cheng waves at his platinum-haired buddy, locking in plans for a future party. Watching the kid on the street, one of the millionaires drops a jealous comment about the insane number of girls always crowding him. Suddenly, streamer Kyo Yin slides up Loki, grabbing the MC's arm and acting like his wife in front of everyone. Saying bye to the girls, the MC thanks Jenny for hanging out and promises he'll hit her up for advice again later. Settled in the passenger seat, he hears the driver ask where they're going, and fires back with heavy ulterior motives. They're heading to her place. Kiao Yin teases the millionaire, saying she assumed he'd end the night at the other blonde girl's house. The young master claps back, asking why she's backing out now, reminding her she started the spicy game under the table at lunch. Laughing, the content creator tells him not to get mad, and says since she took the job, he has to hold up his end of the deal, or quit the game whenever he wants. The girl admits she has no regrets, confessing she got greedy the second she fell for him, and begs the kid to show a little more affection. Being real, she's scared he'll get bored of the relationship, but the millionaire rubs her cheek, promising he won't dump her as long as she stays loyal. Flashing a sweet look, the girl asks if he'll actually have real feelings for her. Being firm, he flips the question, asking why he wouldn't love his own girl. Petting her hair, the kid says her flirty vibe got him super hyped and tells her to step on the gas so they get home fast. Pulling up to the tiny apartment, the girl tells her man to make himself at home and begs him not to judge how basic her place is. Without wasting time, the girl throws herself face up on the sheets, pulling the rich kid with her, and orders them to start the fun immediately. The temp rises in the small room, and the creator lets out a shock gasp as the passion hits hard. Completely taken over by desire, the couple enjoys an incredibly romantic and wild night under the warm blankets. The next morning, Jiang Cheng wakes up full of energy and asks how she's already up if she was moaning about being exhausted all night. Hugging her man affectionately, she refuses to go out for food and explains she's used to just surviving on instant ramen in her apartment. Putting his clothes on slowly, the MC looks at the cramped walls and asks out of curiosity how much rent is for this tiny space. Lying on her stomach, the girl confirms she pays $1,600, arguing she had to hunt for a long time to find something cheap in the area. Jiang Cheng asks why she doesn't just use the college dorms, hearing that her old roommates were jealous and bullied her constantly. Checking out his girl's flawless features, the kid thinks to himself that it makes sense other women would be furious dealing with someone that's stunning. Flexing his wealth, the kid orders her to find a luxury apartment near campus without looking at the price, leaving the girl absolutely floored. Touched by the financial security, the creator thanks him sweetly and promises to start house hunting tomorrow. Looking at the furniture, the rich kid says it's unacceptable her closet is so empty and decides to take her to upgrade her wardrobe right now. Rejecting the luxury gift, the girl swears he's already helped enough and admits her only real wish is to keep him in her life. Being blunt, the kid says he has the bag to buy houses and cars, but confesses his goal is to conquer the planet and wants her to understand his greed. Swept up by the young master's bold claims, she agrees to wear what she has to go with him to the high-end Plaza 66 mall. The store employees welcome the couple, whispering about how rich guys always burn fortunes whenever they score new girls. Skipping straight to checkout, the cashier drops the scary price of $480,000, while Jiang Cheng just tells her to run the card. The digital UI pings, confirming the successful payment and dropping a bonus, instantly crediting $48 million back to the guy's account. Walking through the halls holding designer bags, the MC asks super carefully if his girl wants to grab a milk tea. The couple gets distracted by a kid on his knees in the street holding a heartbreaking sign, begging for donations for his mom's urgent surgery. Looking at the kid in dirty clothes begging on the freezing pavement, Qiao Yinyan squeezes her partner's arm, feeling horrible about the boy's tragic situation. Moved by the scene, the pink-haired girl empties her wallet, donating all her cash and wishing him a better future to ease his pain a bit. The nosy crowd calls the girl an idiot, assuming it's all a scam and accusing her of faking charity just to impress the rich guy. Ignoring the toxic haters, Jiang Cheng checks the kid's face and figures that kind of despair can't be faked. Hit by a sudden urge, the rich kid throws a massive stack of cash into the boy's arms and even hands over all the luxury shopping bags to help out. Crying uncontrollably, the kid rests his head on the pavement, bowing to his saviors and wishing them a long life. The system tracks the act of generosity and rewards the guy with a skill that lets him detect lies, leaving the kid amazed by his new power. In the crowd, a random pedestrian points in shock, recognizing the young master from a viral video where he was flexing at the club with the director. Testing his brand new instant read skill, the MC confirms that the pain and gratitude in the kid's heart are 100% real. Helping the kid stand up, he asks how much money is still missing for the surgery, hearing the child cry that he still needs 28,000. With an icy look, the millionaire realizes the cowardly scammers on the street completely destroyed people's trust in actually helping those in need. Petting little A, Hao's hair, Jiang Cheng swears he trusts him and tells the kid not to be scared, leading him away from the crowd. Once they reach a safe spot, the young master hands an envelope with 100 grand straight into the struggling kid's worn-out hands. The boy drops tears of shock, gripping the massive amount of cash, saying it's way too much since he needed a lot less. Watching quietly, the content creator crosses her arms, super curious, trying to figure out the hidden logic in her partner's head. Guiding the boy, Jiang Cheng explains the 100 grand will fix his family's problems and tells him to use the rest to level up in life. The kid thanks him emotionally, swearing to pay him back one day, but the kid just demands he study hard and offers to drive him to the hospital. Right then, the tech platform confirms the guy saved a kid's future and rewards him with a threat detection skill plus a corporate share ticket. An hour later, leaving the hospital, the creator admits she feels shallow for buying so much luxury stuff right after seeing that family's struggle. The MC asks his girl not to overthink it and answers a call from the hotel manager inviting him to a car racing event. Hitting the track 30 minutes later, a platinum-haired guy hypes up the millionaire's arrival, who admits he's not a huge fan of supercars IRL. The buddy tells another friend that the young master has a whole fleet of imported cars at his house, even though he doesn't drive them much. A bit confused, the dark-haired guy asks if designer clothes and high-performance cars can really be compared like that. The platinum guy snaps back instantly, asking if there's actually any real difference between the two types of flexing. Out of patience for useless talk, Jiang Cheng tells his buddies to stop trying to act cool all the time and just focus on enjoying the party. Looking at the packed venue, Qiao Yinyan says she's amazed because she's never seen this many sports cars in one place. Calling the girl's sister-in-law, the platinum-haired buddy announces they rented the whole area out, and she can test drive any car she wants on the track. The rich kid asks what his girl thinks of the idea, and suggests she do a few laps on the asphalt later if she wants to take the wheel. Hyped about the epic chance, the influencer jumps for joy, eyes glued to the crazy machines parked around the track. Seeing this, the frat buddy orders one of the local instructors to follow his sister-in-law to help her test the cars safely. Instantly, the driving pro agrees to help the girl and walks her over to where the high-performance cars are parked. Staring at the million-dollar car collection, the dark-haired guy complains about his own reality, dreaming of the day he can buy one of those models. The MC finds it weird, since the guy doesn't seem broke, and hears him explain his dad cut off his credit after he totaled 2 cars. Jiang Cheng asks how he plans to get cash, and the kid admits he tried investing in the stock market but found it way too volatile. The platinum-haired buddy joins the chat and roasts his friend's careless management of his own family's money. Right then, the young master remembers the economic data item he just got as a bonus from the tech platform. Sneaking into the files, he sees a massive growth projection for a specific, promising stock on the New York exchange. Keeping the details low-key, the rich kid agrees the stock market brings fast money, and the dark-haired guy quickly asks if he trades. A brand new window pops up showing that inviting partners to co-invest will drop a reward of 5 precious cash-back tickets. Assessing the situation, the MC figures helping these rich kids get a bag will build an unbeatable network for the future. So he drops a secret, saying he has insider info on a fast return play with guaranteed profits over 25%. The platinum buddy's eyes go wide in shock, saying a return like that in such a short time sounds like pure fantasy in normal finance. To calm them down, Jiang Cheng swears the tip is 100% legit and offers it as payback for the parties over the last few days. Absolutely hooked by the chance to print easy money, the Platinum Buddy anxiously asks for the name of the mystery stock. The rich kid says he can't leak the exact details, but suggests they hand over the funds for his corp to manage, promising zero losses. Right after, the MC promises the dark-haired guy that even though his capital is low, it'll be enough to buy the luxury car he wants. Hyped by the promise, the guy asks in awe how much Jiang Cheng himself plans to dump into this crazy risky play. Checking his banking app, the young master casually says he's going all in with his entire balance, making his buddy scream in shock, seeing the 600 million. The platinum guy crosses his arms and admits the newcomer's wealth is way out of his league, even though he's supposedly the heir to the richest man. Staying chill, the MC tells them to think carefully and only send the money if they want to, asking that their decision never ruin the friendship they built. Believing blindly in his buddy's play, the platinum hair makes his call instantly and announces he's dropping 100 million into the trade. The dark-haired kid panics watching his friends move unreal amounts of money and begs for some time to scrape together more cash ASAP. Nearby, the creator hears the conversation and is completely mind-blown by how coldly her partner talks about investing 600 million all at once. Watching the rich guy's flawless posture, the girl wonders what a terrifying shadow family backs an endless fortune like this. Seeing his buddy stress, Jiang Cheng tries to chill him out, offering to front some of his own cash so the kid can make the initial buy-in. The kid turns it down purely out of embarrassment, while the platinum guy quickly offers to cover the rest so his friend isn't left out of the play. Stepping in, the millionaire tells his buddy he's free to try and raise the funds himself and promises to show the trade details later. The platinum hair flashes a happy smile at the deal thanks him in advance for the priceless opportunity they got from this meetup. Suddenly, Qiao Yinyan runs back wearing a tight racing suit, overflowing with hype after test, driving the imported cars on the track. The young master just watches her energy, while mentally celebrating unlocking the exact 5 cash-back tickets worth millions. The creator promises she doesn't need to buy a car, reasoning the cash he already gave her is more than enough to cover Ubers. Remembering her basic apartment, the MC figures forcing a crazy expensive gift on her right now would just make her uncomfy and decides to wait. An announcement echoes through the speakers saying the track is ready for warm-ups, making the girl stare at the course with determination. The dark-haired guy suggests setting a prize for the race, but the platinum guy says no, claiming he just wants to vibe with the event tonight. Looking for a different take, the buddy asks Jiang Cheng, who casually asks how they normally bet at these races. The kid explains the tradition is every racer drops 10 grand to enter, and whoever crosses the finish line last pays for everyone's dinner. Thinking the penalty is weak, the young master suggests they donate the whole pot to a charity under the winner's name. The platinum buddy loves the idea, saying the charity angle makes the raceway classier and gets him hyped to compete. Excited about the $1 million stakes, the dark-haired buddy says he's texting the new rules to the rest of the crew right now. One of the racers in gear hears the change and says the high-stakes bet just hyped him up to go all out on the track. Right after, the luxury cars line up flawlessly at the starting line, looking like a legit pro tournament. The race ref holds up the flag and announces over the PA that the first heat is about to pop off. With the green light, the engines roar, and the cars launch down the track, leaving a trail of insane speed behind. Inside the cockpit, one of the racers decides not to push too hard on lap 1 so he doesn't steal the spotlight from the veteran drivers. The cars cut through the straightaways, fighting for every inch of asphalt under the night lights on the closed, high-adrenaline track. The announcer gets hyped on the mic, declaring the lead for the first heat was just claimed beautifully by the winner. Flexing a total victory pose, the girl named Han Anning stands tall next to her orange sports car. Hands on her hips, the girl points at the dark-haired buddy and mocks his trash driving skills after his embarrassing L. Trying to find an excuse, the kid argues he didn't have enough experience with that specific car and challenges her to an immediate rematch. Full of herself, the girl accepts the 1v1, demanding the loser do a handstand and call her Big Sister in front of everyone. Wasting no time, the announcer calls the start and the machines blast off, tearing up the starting line again. Taking the lead easily, the champ checks her mirror and gets confused seeing an unidentified racer closing in fast. The mystery driver floors the pedal mercilessly, draining every ounce of power from the machine's turbo engine. A stunning white supercar moves super aggressively, threatening to steal first place at any second. The pro driver notices her opponent's insane push and decides to speed up, swearing to show her real talent on the asphalt. Hitting a flawless line, the white car passes her orange whip, leaving the former champ eating dust on the straightaway. Tires screech as the cars pull risky drifts, fighting for the lead on the tight corner at crazy speeds. Taking advantage of a perfect recovery, the white sports car gets back online, launching with an explosive acceleration the others can't possibly catch. The crowd goes wild against the barricades, shook by the driver's insane skill, handling the car like a legit pro athlete. The unbeatable car crosses the finish line, locking in a flawless DU, while the PA announcer screams Jiang Cheng's name at the top of his lungs. Amazed by the insane track performance, the rich kids crowd Jiang Cheng, confirming he's a real master for hiding his power level on lap 1. Taking his helmet off calmly, the MC explains he just didn't want to steal the host's spotlight right off the bat. Right then, ex-champ Hananning walks up with a welcoming smile and praises the kid's epic driving to try and spark a connection. The young master returns the greeting politely, while Qiao Yinyan is surprised by how soft the racer's hands are. Annoyed by the stare, the racer gets confused, thinking it's the MC who has a weird hand fetish. Taking advantage of the vibe, Hananning drops a bold flirt and suggests swapping numbers to talk advanced racing strats sometime. Watching from afar, the other buddies are in absolute shock, seeing the untouchable girl shamelessly hitting on the rookie. Curious about the woman's real agenda, the rich kid takes the chance to trigger his psychological read skill through the system panel. Sensing danger, the creator steps in front of her man, getting defensive to mark her territory. Sizing up her rival, Qiao Yinyan thinks to herself that this veteran racer probably just plays with guys' hearts for fun. Shutting down the flirt instantly, Jiang Cheng refuses to drop his number, saying he came with his girlfriend, and it'd be a bad look to add other women's contacts right now. Ego bruised, Hananning switches targets and calls out the creator directly, daring her to see if she has the guts to race in the women's bracket. Completely caught off guard by the random challenge, the girl points at herself, looking super hesitant. Trading nervous looks with her partner, she admits her opponent is top tier and thinks she'll embarrass herself if she races. The MC swears taking an L doesn't matter and pushes her to try it, forcing the girl to beg him to ride shotgun. Accepting the request, the kid sets a cryptic condition, which the girl agrees to instantly, swearing she'll make it up to him later. Watching the couple get super close, the racer glares in anger at them, whispering non-stop to each other. Right after, the sports cars line up at the starting mark, waiting for the women's race to kick off under the track's bright lights. Inside the car, the creator figures her rival's ego got hurt by the rejection and she just wants to get back at the rich kid by beating her. Trying to focus on the race, the young master promises to coach her on the launch, but his partner drops a spicy double-meaning joke, complaining about her own body lacking that equipment for it. Giving the girl a light tap, the kid warns her he was talking about the car's gears and tells her to get those silly thoughts out of her head. Keeping the vibe chill, she asks him not to do that here. Scared people outside might see them messing around. Kicks off at high RPMs with Hananning taking a solo lead while Qiao Yinyan tails her, keeping a heavy, constant speed. The foreign machines tear up the asphalt hitting top speed, leaving a beam of light down the dark track. With zero plot twists, the orange car crosses the final line securing the W, and the PA system hypes up Hananning's first-place finish. Jumping into her partner's arms, the creator celebrates the thrill, getting praised by the kid for the impressive skills she showed on the track. The winner walks up acting sarcastic, congratulating her on second place, but Qiao Yinyan claps back with humility, reminding her it was literally her first time driving a race car. Realizing the truth, the rival notices she almost got passed by a complete rookie. Trying to protect her ego, Hananning makes an excuse that she slowed down on purpose and drops an intimidating comment, swearing she always gets what she wants. Checking the virtual display, Jiang Cheng sees the woman's messy past and concludes she only wants to pull him to boost her own ego. Seeing his partner so hyped, the millionaire offers to buy the car, but she turns down the bag, arguing she'd rather just keep the memory of the race. Joking about his buddy's wealth, Q Yuan offers to be his next girlfriend if the rich guy isn't too strict about gender. Hair Wong kills the joke instantly, swearing the young master's tastes are exactly the same as his when it comes to women. Letting out a laugh, Jiang Cheng ends the joke and announces he's done with the party, calling the crew to go grab some drinks. Saying goodbye to her man, the creator explains she has a scheduled stream and tells him to go enjoy the hangout with his friends. 30 minutes later, inside the restaurant, a preppy-looking guy named Wang Hao shows up and starts bothering Chi Yon aggressively. Oozing arrogance, the intruder mocks the kid, asking if his bravery vanished after getting chewed out by his own dad. Ignoring the hostility, the hare claps back, throwing it in his face that the broke loser only showed up to score free food. Offended, the troublemaker insults the table and demands to know who the cocky rookie is that had the nerve to tell him to shut up. Zero tolerance for the yelling, Jiang Cheng grabs a clear glass and throws his drink straight into the show-off's face. Feeling completely humiliated, the guy charges forward, screaming in rage about the disrespect. Grabbing a piece of tableware, the MC lands a fast, heavy strike, sweeping the enemy's legs out instantly. Taking advantage of the opening, the young master lands a violent kick to the chest, launching the preppy guy backward. Holding his throbbing face, the coward glares at the kid with pure hate, trying to process the fact that he just got beat up in the middle of a restaurant. Showing absolutely zero signs of backing down, the millionaire steps forward ruthlessly, ready to hand out another lesson. Moving crazy fast, the kid plants his foot, throwing the attacker flat on his back on the hard floor. Groaning in pain with a busted face, the loser struggles to catch his breath after the brutal slam. Pulling a cowardly move, the guy grabs a sharp table knife nearby and gets ready to backstab the MC. Screaming about his powerful dad, the troublemaker charges with the blade, swearing he's going to end the rookie's life. Jiang Cheng dodges the threat with a super smooth sidestep, proving he has absolute control of the fight. Grabbing the enemy's armed arm, the MC twists his joint, disarming the coward with impressive ease. Ayuan steps between them, begging the young master to stay chill and not dirty his hands on someone as pathetic as him. Watching the tension, Wang explains the guy's family has a ton of clout in the city, and they usually put up with these provocations to avoid even worse revenge. He warns that the attacker's family background is messy and escalating it would cause problems that can't be fixed peacefully. Thinking he's untouchable, the coward stands up swearing total revenge on the rookie, ordering him to get out. Trying to calm things down, the rich kid asks to keep families out of it, but the arrogant guy demands the MC drop to his knees and beg for forgiveness. Worried about his millionaire buddy, Wang suggests Jiang Cheng escape first so the rest of them can figure out a way to smooth things over. Absolutely unhinged, the guy screams he's gonna lock the rich kid up and make sure he suffers endlessly inside, while his buddy tries to blame the initial provocation. Pointing violently, the troublemaker insults the kid's parents, demanding total submission to his last name. Swearing to fix that dirty mouth, the MC blitzes him and backhands the attacker right across the face. The heavy impact snaps the preppy guy's head to the side, completely destroying his balance. Giving him zero time to react, the rich guy unleashes a ruthless combo of angry slaps, destroying any tough guy act the enemy tried to put on. Buddy Wong's jaw drops, remembering the guy's dad is one of the most powerful people in the country, mesmerized by the newcomer's fearless attitude. Grabbing the troublemaker by the collar, Jiang Cheng tells him to think hard before throwing insults, claiming he went pretty easy on the punishment. Absolutely ruined, the attacker stays quiet, trying to process the insanity of this guy who completely ignored his power. Trip blackmail. Analyzing the scene, the buddy realizes that no matter how rich the MC is, his family is just a bunch of construction bosses compared to the heavy weight of the loser's name. Instantly, the platform's UI pops up praising his boss energy, dropping an exclusive perks document as an instant reward. Blinded by his bruised ego, the preppy kid touches his face demanding payback for the beatdown and repeating that his bloodline is untouchable. Trying to officially end the drama, Kyoan suggests a truce, offering to forget the whole thing if the guy just leaves. Screaming in rage, the loser rejects the offer, claiming he got humiliated, and this ruined his reputation in the whole city. Doubling down on the blackmail, the guy swears he'll pull all his government strings to crush the newcomer and prove who really runs the block. Panicking, the buddy begs the young master to run, but the millionaire refuses the help, saying he wants to see whose family actually carries more weight today. The kid tries to call his own dad begging him to step in, but the MC pushes his phone down, swearing he has the whole situation under control. Flashing a calm, confident smile, the kid mentally activates his newest perk card from the platform and waits for the instant results. A few seconds later, his phone rings and a mature voice clears its throat on the line, making the kid wonder who this random contact is. Answering the call, the MC hears an old man introduce himself as his second grandpa, scolding him for trying to solve problems solo without telling the family. Holding the phone, he processes the words, confused about when he got a second grandpa in his life. Leaning back, the older man says he expected the kid's dad to hide this, while Jiang Cheng realizes he has a double grandpa bloodline. The old man explains the main patriarch grinded his whole life exactly so the heirs could live in total comfort and peace. Stating the main patriarch holds a super exclusive rank, the guy swears to send an envoy to settle the beef and teach the punks some manners. Before hanging up, the second grandpa asks the kid to visit them in Kyoto whenever he's free, emphasizing the clan always has his back. Accepting the invite, Jiang Cheng ends the call calmly, while Chiyuan asks, full of curiosity, who he was just talking to. Right then, a squad of officers led by Agent Chen Qun bursts into the restaurant demanding to know who's fighting. Staying chill, the MC says it was just a misunderstanding and asks the cops to leave, making Wang Hao furious. Pissed off, Wang Hao points at his own busted face and demands the cop lock his opponent up immediately for the assault. Getting straight to the point, Chen Qun asks if the young master there was actually the one who beat the guy up. Without hesitation, Jiang Cheng admits it, making the officer pull out his cuffs to arrest him for premeditated assault. Staring the cop down with ice in his veins, the rich kid asks what would happen if he just refused to go to the station. Sweating in terror under the kid's threatening vibe, the cop freezes completely, unable to figure out how to handle the rejection. Scanning the room, the authority finally spots Herr Chui one hanging out, with the MC in the middle of the mess. Suddenly, Wang Hao's mom storms in alongside Police Chief Tai, yelling at the officers for being so slow to help. Backing the lady up instantly, Chief K orders the agent to hurry up and check the security footage. Checking her kid's face, Lin Lan gets furious over the injuries and decides to send him to the hospital before doing anything else. Driven crazy by the grudge, Wang Hao swears he won't let this slide and promises to make his enemy pay big time in jail, demanding the harshest sentence possible. The rich woman tells Chief K she'll replace him if he doesn't handle this with the severity she expects. Wang Hao refuses to leave, wanting to flex his family's name before going, but Chu Yuan warns that his buddy's old patriarch already took over. At that moment, a fleet of million-dollar cars slams the brakes outside the restaurant, grabbing everyone's attention. Watching the crazy convoy, Q Yuan is dying to know what VIP just randomly pulled up. Recognizing the cars, Wang realizes in shock that it's the exact fleet used by Jiang Cheng's relatives' power network. Suits step out of the cars fast, led by an incredibly classy-looking guy in glasses. Flashing his corporate ID to Chief K, the newcomer introduces himself as Shen Chong, the confidential advisor working for the MC's second grandpa. Sweating with anxiety, the police chief stutters, trying to figure out why an advisor of that level would show up for a basic brawl. Bowing to Jiang Cheng with massive respect, Shen Chong explains he was sent by the second grandpa solely to fix the kid's problems here. Adjusting his glasses, the advisor declares the kid is the guaranteed heir of the family bloodline and has permission to give him direct orders whenever he wants. Watching the flex, Chuyun and Wang's jaws drop as they realize how terrifying the MC's ancestors' real influence is. Oozing disrespect, Lin Lan screams that the city belongs to her family and threatens to call her husband if the cop drops the case. Staying totally chill, Jiang Cheng just watches the lady's meltdown with an ironic look at her threat. The millionaire woman argues that dealing with some out-of-town hick is a piece of cake for her family. Focusing on the advisor, the young master warns he actually wants to see exactly how they plan to punish him today. Cutting the lady off cold, Shen Chong asks since when she got the power to dictate the rules in the city with that much audacity. Revealing he's the advisor to the top boss of the Mingxin conglomerate, the guy announces the boss unlocked unlimited funds to protect his grandson's safety. The second she hears the Mingxin conglomerate dropped, Lin Lan freezes completely, totally shook by the scale of her opponent's power. Wang figures out Jiang Cheng is the sole heir to a billionaire tycoon, finally getting why he moves with that insane level of confidence. Yuan thinks about how, besides the ridiculous wealth, the kid's great-uncle stacks monstrous wins and has direct influence over the country's government structures. Staring the lady down, Shen Chong demands a quick excuse for the hostile behavior aimed at the main heir of the Jiang clan. Going into panic mode, Wang Hao's mom desperately wonders how the script flipped on her so fast. The secretary clarifies that the cameras prove Wang Hao pulled a weapon first, totally justifying the MC's self-defense. Furious about the accusation, Wang Hao screams he was the victim of the beatdown and refuses to accept that excuse. Sensing the danger, Lin Lan slaps her son, telling him to shut his mouth because they absolutely cannot offend that family. Forcing a friendly vibe, the woman tries to smooth things over, claiming it was all just a misunderstanding between kids. Trying to save face, Lin Lan sucks up to Chief K and apologizes for dragging him into such minor drama. Sweating bullets, the chief claims he has massive respect for Mr. Jiang and hopes to get the honor of an invite to his events. Using a firm tone, Shen Chong warns that the kid's grandpa would be pretty upset if he found out about the cop's initial attitude. Looking for one last lifeline, the woman steps away to call her strongest contacts in the local leadership. Answering the call, Secretary Du hears Lin Lan ask if the city is really under the Jiang family's control. With zero patience, Du warns that the Jiang clan's power is terrifying and orders the woman not to cause any trouble that could splash onto him. Holding her phone, she realizes in terror that not even top government officials have the guts to cross the MC. Dropping her ego, Lin Lan takes all the blame for her kid's actions and officially begs the young master for forgiveness. The authorities watch the scene tense, amazed seeing the arrogant lady bow down that fast. Feeling relieved, Chief K tells Jiang Cheng he won't cause any more trouble and politely invites him to grab tea at the station sometime. Wang Hao is furious, unable to accept that his own mom is getting humiliated in front of the whole crowd. The kid forward, Lin Lan begs Jiang Cheng for forgiveness for failing to raise her son right. Showing zero mercy, the MC warns that having connections doesn't make anyone superior, refusing to cut the offender any slack. Consumed by rage, Wang Ha demands to know what else his enemy wants, since his family has already completely surrendered. Shutting the conversation down instantly, Shen Chong reminds them the kid pulled a blade on the sole hair of the Jiang family, and that action won't slide. Panicking, Lin Lan grabs the boy, warning him the cops already washed their hands of it, and he's going to get their family completely destroyed. Forcing the kid to his knees, the woman orders him to beg for forgiveness for what he did and stop making things worse. Clenching his jaw, Wang Hao asks straight up what it's going to take to end this beef. Taken over by desperation, the coward screams he already begged for forgiveness and demands his opponent stop flexing his higher status. Watching his buddy's moves, Kua Yuan realizes Jiang Cheng's method for punishing haters is terrifyingly ruthless. Keeping an icy face, the MC warns that giving up comes with penalties and asks if his opponent can handle the weight of it. The rich kid points out that normal people would have met tragic ends if they had to deal with this attacker's arrogance. Quietly, Wang agrees that a regular guy would have been crushed by Wang Hao's family's cruelty without any chance to defend himself. Acting like a total boss, Jiang Cheng announces he has endless time and capital to stop the bullying caused by arrogant people. Right then, Wang Hao answers his phone in a panic, hearing his own dad screaming desperately on the other end. His dad tells him the Jiang clan is unbeatable and cries about watching the empire he built with blood, sweat, and tears get wiped out. Completely destroyed, the offender drops his head, realizing his dad's business went totally bankrupt just because of his own ego. Overcome by panic, the kid reaches out his shaking arm to grab a sharp utensil left on the table. A knife in hand, Wang Hao asks if taking a hit to himself will be enough to erase the bad blood between them. Showing a merciless look, Jiang Cheng tells him to do what he promised. Watching his enemy point the blade at his own body. Keeping his unyielding stance, Jiang Cheng calmly warns that he keeps his word and waits for the deal to be executed exactly. No other way out, Wang Hao slashes his own arm violently, letting out a muffled groan of pain in front of everyone in the restaurant. Freaking out over the injury, Lin Lan grabs her phone shaking and screams, ordering an emergency medical rescue to help the kid fast. Out of breath and holding his bleeding arm, the loser stares at his opponent, making sure their beef is finally squashed. Showing zero signs of pity, the MC confirms the issue is closed and gives the attacker the green light to get lost. Waiting outside for the ambulance, the mom screams at the panicking medics to hurry up so the kid's arm doesn't lose function. Breathing a sigh of relief that the chaos is over, Wang expresses his gratitude for the backup and swears to properly repay him later. Rejecting the extra formality, Jiang Cheng just tells his buddies to hop in the car so he can drop them off at home. Chilling in the back seat, Wang is amazed by the comfort of the custom-built machine made specially for the MC's grandpa. Right then, the advisor hands over an exclusive credit card, announcing the patriarch set aside those funds for the heir to use with zero limits. Holding the valuable item, the young master thinks about the advice to flex his wealth hard and asks himself exactly how much cash is loaded on the account. Saying goodbye at the resort entrance, the driver leaves the car for the kid to use for whatever comes up while he's in the city. Resting in the suite, the kid takes a call from his dad, who demands updates right after all the chaos wrapped up. Cutting straight to the chase, Jiang Cheng asks why they hid the fact that he has a second grandpa with this much power in the family. Getting petted by manager Wang Yoyan under the sheets, he hears his dad dodge the question, complaining about the lectures he caught from the elders. On the call, the patriarch warns the kid to watch his mouth from now on, since he knows the true power of their family. Agreeing with the warning, the MC ends the call to focus completely on his exclusive late-night companion. Working her charm, the manager says the hot bath and food are waiting, asking what the guest wants to enjoy first. Leaning over the kid seductively, Wang Yoyan hears him say he's not in the mood for traditional meals today. Totally swept up by the rich kid's boldness, the employee lets herself enjoy the passionate vibe in the comfort of the luxury suite. Early afternoon the next day, students are swarming the halls and campus grounds of the local university. Bumping into his buddy, Kua Yuan complains about being exhausted, admitting he barely slept thinking about the kid's terrifying power. Eating a bowl of pasta, Jiang Cheng finds the panic funny and asks if his friend gets spooked that easily. Breathing easy now that the beef is settled, Kua Yuan points out his own dad would skin him alive if anything went wrong yesterday. Interrupting the dramatic speech, the rich guy hears his buddy argue that an early heads up about his family would have saved them a lot of panic attacks. Thinking about the whole setup, the blonde guy compares the MC to a literal boss monster hiding in the city's shadows. Shrugging it off, Jiang Cheng says he doesn't care about other people's net worth, since no one can touch his bank account anyway. Changing the topic, Chuyuan brings up their goal of buying physical office space to set up the company's HQ. Finishing his plate fast, the blonde buddy jumps up hyped, calling his friend to go tour some corporate buildings. Arriving at the luxury real estate agency, the two rich kids are welcomed with extreme submissiveness by the staff. The head broker, Zhu, shows them a miniature model of the city, explaining the top-tier properties in the East District are fully sold out. Looking at the small models, Jiang Cheng points at one specific building to see if it's still on the market. Confirming that tower hasn't been sold yet, the employee invites the buyers to go up and check out the actual view themselves. Standing in front of the massive window, the employee hypes up the building's global standard, while the MC asks for the final price. Zero patience for beating around the bush, Kiyuan demands the salesman drop the act and give them the purchase price immediately. Keeping it professional, Zhu explains the base price is steep, but he can negotiate it down to 18,000 per square meter. Grabbing the salesman by the collar, the blonde kid bullies the employee into dropping the price to 16,000 for his buddy. Doing the math on the construction company's crazy profit margins, Jiang Cheng admits his friend's offer is a massive steal. Unsure about company policy, Su mentions needing approval from upper management, but Chuyuan threatens to tell his own dad about it. Sweating from terror at the millionaire kid's untouchable reputation, the salesman swallows hard and accepts the price cut super fast. Throwing an arm around his buddy, Chuyuan asks out of curiosity which floor of the fancy building caught the MC's eye. Leaving everyone in the room speechless, Jiang Cheng asks, totally casually, how much it would cost to buy the entire building. The salesman and the blonde buddy's eyes pop out, completely paralyzed by the audacity of buying the whole tower. Punching numbers rapidly on his device, Zhu announces the full deal would end up around 6.5 billion. Focused on closing the deal with cash up front, the MC agrees to the number while Chuyuan suggests speeding up the paperwork. Moving fast, Chuyuan orders the salesman to call the branch manager right now to sort out the purchase docs. Shaking with happiness in the hallway, Shu calls his boss, knowing the commission on this astronomical deal is about to change his life. Seconds later, the top boss comes sprinting down to greet the exclusive buyers in the agency's main room. Introducing the kid, Chuyuan warns the ex that his partner has a financial backing way more massive than his own. Seeing how much respect the wild rich kid is showing him, the manager realizes young Master Jiang is definitely built different. Bowing with deep respect to the rich guy, the boss shows his gratitude for their choice and swears to deliver fast, flawless service. Inviting the guests into the VIP room, the exec sets up the space to make the $1 billion deal official. Chilling in the high-end chair, Jiang Cheng casually says he wants to wire the cash to buy out the Wang family's property. Turning on the card reader, the employee asks for the bank card and wants to know the exact amount to process right now. Handing over his luxury black card, the rich kid asks them to charge 5.5 billion as the down payment for the real estate deal. The boss almost drops the machine on the floor, thinking he misheard the ridiculous amount requested for a single swipe. Staying chill, the MC asks if there's any system block stopping them from running this instant payment. Sweating from the stress, the exec explains the branch's operating limit can't handle a 5 billion transfer in one shot. Unable to grasp the system block, Kiyuan asks furiously why a giant bank has a cap like that. Feeling embarrassed, the manager explains that numbers this big need a heads up because of the instant cash availability. Looking for an easy out, Jiang Cheng suggests opening a new account at that branch and making an upfront deposit of 10 billion. The exec goes into total paralysis hearing an offer to deposit 10 billion on the spot, acting like it's just pocket change. Sitting on the side, Chuyuan watches the scene fascinated by how insanely easy his friend makes financial hurdles disappear. Gripping his briefcase, the finance agent loses his mind trying to figure out where this kid gets that much cash so easily. Trying hard not to lose his cool, the employee stammers, promising that 10 billion would wipe out any technical issues at the branch. Mentally, the MC figures his skill reward will double that amount effortlessly as soon as the transaction clears. Meanwhile, the boss is still in disbelief at the audacity of someone throwing around colossal amounts of money without breaking a sweat. Restarting the business talk, Jiang Cheng greenlights paying the full price if the machine can handle it to avoid slow admin work. Jumping into the chat, Kiyuan agrees that split payments are a headache and demands the finance guys speed it up. Letting out a soft breath, the rich guy says splitting up the purchase would just waste valuable time out of his day. Asking for permission super fast, the exec sprints for the door because he urgently needs to call the bank's higher ups. Waiting in the chair, the MC gives him the go ahead while watching the employees in the room stress out way too much. Right after the door locks, Kiyuan asks, in all, where these endless funds come from, admitting it makes even him jealous. Flashing a subtle smile, Jiang Cheng warns that this is just the first step on his grind to the top of the finance world. The narrator notes that true wealth shows when the bag moves freely, untied by regular banking red tape. Sitting in his chair, Chuyuan complains that he treats his buddy like family, but his own dad treats him like he's an old man, completely messing up the family respect dynamics. Keeping his peace, Jiang Cheng shoots back that his buddy took the first step to bond, joking that he doesn't mind if he wants to be recognized as his direct descendant from now on. Right then, a director walks up forcing a nervous laugh, announcing the colossal transfer got the green light from HQ, but they'll have to wait about 60 minutes for the funds to unlock. Overflowing with hype, the finance pro glazes the ridiculous net worth of someone so young, thanking HQ and swearing to provide private assistance for any needs. Using the downtime, the guy offers to upgrade the kid's high-end card, promising exclusive perks to make his daily life way easier. A super classy lady walks into the room, and the boss introduces her as Ju Yan, a highly skilled relative, announcing she'll be acting as the rich kid's private secretary. Greeting the girl, Jiang Cheng checks out her amazing physical stats and wonders to himself if the digital platform has some hidden code to only throw flawless girls his way. Watching the scene with envy, Chiyuan complains in his head, demanding to know why the boss never gave him an exclusive secretary before, feeling super disrespected. Catching the vibe, the boss tries to calm the kid's anger by promising to find him a dedicated employee instantly if he's unhappy with the current service. Rejecting the offer, the kid announces the tables will turn and tells the bank pro to wait until he makes his own bag to witness his real influence later on. Leaning carefully over the desk, Juyan presents the financial registration papers and asks the client to review the details before signing off. While signing the papers, the MC catches a sweet scent coming from the woman, noticing her intense perfume is seriously messing with his focus. Right after, she hands over a small box holding the luxury bank card, explaining the credit limit starts at 20 million and dynamically adjusts based on his daily spending. Putting the valuable item in his pocket, Jiang Cheng thanks the girl for her hard work, hearing the secretary reply modestly that she's just doing her basic job for the boss. Moments before they leave the room, the boss pulls his relative aside in the hallway and demands she win the millionaire's loyalty at all costs, to secure their family's future and well-being. Thinking quietly, the manager figures the 36-month age gap between the girl and the kid is perfect, betting all his chips on this match to score his promotion to vice director. The two chat, the guy confirms his economic plan, fully convinced this connection will provide colossal support for his own family's rise. 60 minutes later, the boss tells the guys the funds are unlocked in the network, bringing the papers to finalize the real estate purchase and the cash transfer. A platform UI pops up suddenly, announcing the essential spending skill was triggered, multiplying the amount by 5 and generating a balance over 27 billion. Staring at the text screen, the kid complains in his head about getting the weakest bonus multiplier in the catalog, feeling a bit unlucky about the balance. Confirming the financial op was a success, the bank agent congratulates the rich guy on becoming the new owner of the business tower, finding his unenthusiastic face kinda weird. Anxious about his reaction, the boss asks if there was a mix-up with the numbers or if the kid backed out of depositing the promised 10 billion to help them hit their monthly quota. Thinking silently, Jiang Cheng concludes he doesn't need to stress over small multiplier rates, since he has the virtual platform to print fortunes totally on autopilot. The text screen confirms his promotion to level 12, severely boosting his auto, gains every second and unlocking a bunch of unused life protection skills. Snapping out of his thoughts, the MC flashes a super confident look and assures the stressed employee he'll make the promised deposit right now. Suddenly, a clerk bursts into the corporate room screaming in shock that a monumental cash transfer just hit the branch's vault. Absolutely mind blown, the employee announces the exact amount deposited was 27 billion and 500 million, making everyone in the room freeze. The manager's eyes bug out, overwhelmed with intense joy and tension, realizing the client just shattered every single economic goal set for the branch. Clasping his hands in quiet celebration, the finance pro almost cries tears of joy over the epic W, while the rich guy just casually checks the notifications on his phone. Watching closely, the blonde buddy swallows hard, trying to process how his friend burned billions in seconds and still dropped an unreal amount into the bank. Absolutely shook by the flex of power, the bleached hair buddy asks straight up if the kid's family actually owns the country's public treasury. Resting his face in his hand, Jiang Cheng calmly claps back that if his relatives owned banks, they would never have handed him such a pathetic amount of funds. Hearing his unreal take on the amount, the finance exec and his secretary relative freeze in shock, completely unable to form a single word in response. Outraged by the lack of reality, Chu Yuan demands to know what kind of twisted view considers 27 billion a low amount. Hearing his buddy argue, he expected a much bigger bag. Giving a nervous laugh, the blonde kid remembers his dad's advice to stay humble, realizing there's always going to be some absurdly superior economic force out there. Turning to the finance agent, the MC orders him to take the extra 10 billion from the total and wire it immediately to the investment account they opened earlier. Bowing in deep respect, the boss takes the order instantly and swears he'll process the wire transfer without any lag in the system. Thinking quietly, Jiang Cheng celebrates fixing the funds issue, planning to use this $1 million bag to make massive, fast profits on the US stock exchange. His buddy asks not to be left out of the investment scheme, revealing he managed to scrape together 400 million to invest alongside the young master in this epic play. Hyped about the deal, Chi Yuan praises his buddy's confidence and calls the crew to hit the streets right now to celebrate at a top-tier restaurant, since the deals are done. Saying goodbye at the office door, the pair announces they're heading out, listening to the manager express his gratitude for choosing their bank and offering help for any future emergencies. The second the rich clients disappear, the boss collapses exhausted into his chair, letting out a heavy breath of relief after surviving that insanely tense vibe. Using her laptop, Juyan finds her relative's lack of energy weird and asks why he's sighing so much right after crushing a legendary funding goal for the branch. Standing up to grab an energy drink, the guy vents, saying that seeing kids so young controlling unreal fortunes makes him feel like he took an L in life, even with his 4 decades of experience. Sipping her tea, the secretary scolds her relative for complaining in the middle of such a massive EU and asks if the security check on the international records went smoothly. Confirming the process was clean, the finance expert promises the cash came in spotless from the US stock market and already passed all the mandatory checks required by national law. The boss warns that a kid with that kind of power breaks the mold completely, demanding his young relative deliver a flawless performance as a secretary to cater to whatever he wants. Agreeing with the advice, Juyan swears to do her best, while her relative boldly suggests the girl use their constant proximity to try and spark a romance with the crazy rich kid. Resting her laptop on her legs, the girl turns bright red at her relative's shameless comment, complaining about the wild ideas he's trying to plant in her head. Laughing while holding his drink, the guy claims that if the girl manages to bag a client like that, she'll be able to take over the branch in no time. A while later in a private room at the Peace Hotel, the brunette buddy celebrates the crew linking up and points out, amazed, that the MC is also tight with the preppy blonde kid. Flashing a happy look, the blonde guy agrees the circle of high net worth people is pretty small, joking about how their car crash made the local news. Eating peacefully, Jiang Cheng mentions the car is already fixed with no major headaches, while the brunette buddy asks if the blonde kid was the one who caused the crash in the middle of the road. Defending his rep as a good driver, the blonde rich kid explains he only used the car to help a friend out and shows some gratitude to the crash for being the reason he met the MC. Sipping his tea without saying a word, the blonde guy thinks it's crazy how people with massive clout in the upper class show so much insane respect to the newly arrived young master. Oozing friendliness, the MC jokes that he never imagined sharing a meal with the most prestigious heirs, who are the city's most wanted bachelors. Laughing out loud, the blonde kid warns that if girls found out his buddy burned over 6 billion buying a commercial tower, the title of the nation's ultimate heartthrob would go straight to him. The brunette buddy's eyes pop out. Sweating and totally frozen the second he hears the terrifying amount the kid wasted just buying a single business building. Turning to his friend, the brunette buddy asks in disbelief if the millionaire actually bought out the entire building in one shot, and if there's a master plan for some colossal investment operation. Enjoying his glass, the blonde rich kid laughs at his buddy's shock and confirms that the duo went to the bank earlier today to pay off the entire transaction in cash on the spot. Hyped about profit margins, the blonde rich kid begs to get in on his friend's future projects to stack wealth together, while the other crew member also demands to be part of the money-making scheme. Flashing a confident smile, Jiang Chen confides he has insider info on foreign market shares for fast profits, suggesting the squad put their capital in play to secure an extra profit margin. The brunette buddy leans over the table, incredibly curious, asking who leaked such classified data and wanting to confirm if the source is actually legit enough to guarantee a return. Drink in hand, the MC warns that he can't expose the mystery market supplier, stating firmly that nobody is forced to join the scheme if they're scared about how the investments will play out. In his head, the rich kid figures he can't hoard all the world's wealth alone, realizing that splitting profits with the elite's kids will cement his network. Matching his buddy's chill vibe, the blonde kid asks how much cash the young master plans to drop on this high-risk stock market play. Blonde rich kid shares that his millionaire dad thought his starting investment was weak and handed him an extra 300 million, making the brunette buddy panic over that level of confidence. Sweating in despair, the brunette guy figures that if even the richest man in the country dropped funds just to follow the MC, the risks in this trade must be practically zero in the real world. Throwing a friendly arm around his buddy's neck, Jiang Cheng jokes, guaranteeing that hitting a small goal, where the profit sits in the hundreds of millions, will be a super easy mission for their crew. Amazed by the high profit projection, the brunette buddy asks if the payout will actually hit that level, hearing the billionaire promise the base return will easily hit 25% pure profit. Tapping on his phone fast, the blonde preppy kid announces he's calling his dad right now to demand even more funds so they don't miss out on this epic chance to get rich. Crunching numbers on his device, the brunette kid complains about not having billions to play with, but swears to pool his relatives' cash to hit the target for the US stock market play. Standing up straight, the blonde kid warns that any doubts are dead since the whole group agreed to the investment deal, running out of the room to make his emergency call in private. The brunette buddy repeats his unbreakable loyalty, claiming he believes blindly in Jiang Cheng's promise, warning he's putting all his chips on the table without hesitating when it's time to confirm the deposits in their new joint account. Eating the spot's hot food with total peace of mind, the MC smiles in satisfaction, knowing he just locked in a terrifyingly unbeatable financial syndicate in the middle of the Asian metropolis today. Peeking sneakily through the door, little Anne suddenly pops into the room and overflows with joy the second she spots the rich guy she already knows from before. Instantly, the girl skips happily toward the MC, shouting his name affectionately, leaving the kid shocked and wondering why she's hanging around this place.